13 years ago, Ning Bei's family was framed by members of their own clan. He was the sole survivor of the assassination attempt, fleeing alone to the northern border. 13 years later, Ning Bei returns to Long City and faces the battle once more. But now his identity has completely changed. He is no longer the boy who fled years ago. What will Ning Bei's future path be like? Let's follow this fascinating story together. Rain, wind, and thunder poured down on the city with increasing intensity. A car trying to cross a muddy road was blocked by another truck. The woman in the car screamed, "It's the Ning family's car." The driver immediately replied, "Why? I've already given up competing for assets. I'm no longer a threat to their family." No sooner had he finished speaking than a group of strangers suddenly opened fire on the car. Stepping on the gas, the man yelled, "It's broken. They tampered with the car. The brakes aren't working." He continued in a panicked voice, "The car doors won't open either." The woman suddenly threw the child out of the car window. The man shouted loudly, "Xiao Hei, you must survive." After that, the car plunged into the river. 13 years later. At this moment, only Ning Bei stood on the deck, enjoying the breeze. He said to himself, "Long City, the debt from 13 years ago needs to be settled." There was still a voice calling him, "Ning Bei, I have returned." A woman's voice sharply scolded, "Are you blind?" She continuously whined to Liang Yu, "Young Master Liang, these are the latest limited edition shoes you bought for me. I've only worn them once, and these two blind dogs have already stepped on them and made them dirty. What should I do?" An old man pleaded, "I'm sorry, truly sorry. The child doesn't understand. I'll pay for it." She loudly yelled, "Ah, ugly ghost, don't come over here." Liang Yu spoke, his voice threatening, "Pay? Do you know how much these shoes cost? Even if you're sliced thin and sold, you couldn't afford them." He immediately ordered his subordinates, "Men, throw this old scoundrel into the sea for the fish to eat." The subordinate immediately replied, "Yes, sir." Seeing this, Ning Bei clicked his tongue, "TSK." He loudly shouted at the group, "With me here? Who dares to touch a single finger of their family?" Liang Yu growled, "Who are you? How dare you come and cause trouble for me, Liang Yu? Do you know whose territory Long City is?" Ning Bei slowly said, "Do you know who he is?" Liang Yu chuckled lightly, his voice contemptuous, "This old scoundrel? I don't care who he is." Ning Bei immediately replied to him, "He is a firefighter in Long City. All those scars on his face are glory. Amidst roaring fires, he protected Long City and saved countless lives. Yet now he is humiliated by you people." He growled, "People like you deserve to die." Liang Yu confidently replied, "In Long City, no one can touch me, because I am from the Liang family. You cannot afford to offend me." No sooner had he finished speaking than Ning Bei immediately approached him with his imposing presence. He growled, "The Liang family, very powerful, aren't they?" As he spoke, he grabbed him by the collar and lifted him high, leaving him flailing. Then he slammed him hard onto the ship's deck. Ning Bei cursed Liang Yu, "Long City, indeed, social morality is declining. I will show you what true power is." After that, the atmosphere around the yacht grew increasingly somber. Liang Yu, covered in injuries, clung to his subordinate and cursed, "Just you wait. My people have arrived. Once we're off the ship, I'll show you." Ning Bei watched him with sharp, cold eyes. Later, Liang Yu returned with a group of bodyguards. He challenged Ning Bei, "You bastard, come down here." The butler intervened, "Young master." But he continued to yell, "I'll make you understand the Liang family's ways." Suddenly, another group of people approached them. Seeing this, Ning Bei smiled faintly. This group was fully equipped with military gear and weapons for combat. Leading the newly arrived group was Mu Qin. The young master wondered, "What's happening? Who are they?" His butler quickly reminded him, "Young master, lower your voice. If you look closely at that emblem, it seems to be the Beilong Dao, North Dragon Blade." The group stood solemnly before the stairs leading up to the yacht. Mu Qin drew his sword and pointed it skyward, "Tianbei General Organization." The others also pointed their swords skyward and shouted in unison, "Welcome back, Commander." As he stepped down, Ning Bei said, "I am just a commoner, without power or influence. You can just call me by my name." Mu Qin respectfully bowed his head, "We wouldn't dare. We cannot overstep the rules. In this world, no one dares to call a commoner directly by name." He immediately replied, "Xiao Mu Chen, I didn't expect you all to come to greet me today. I'm afraid that's overstepping." Mu Qin respectfully replied, "Overstepping or not, Commander has returned. Have you encountered any trouble?" Looking towards Liang Yu, Ning Bei continued, "He said that in Long City, no one can touch him." Hearing this, Liang Yu panicked and said, "Sir, this might just be a misunderstanding." Mu Qin frowned and replied, "Then let this misunderstanding continue." Ning Bei spoke, "Liang Yu is guilty, his people are innocent." No sooner had he finished speaking than the Liang family trembled, "Spare us." After that, the Tianbei people arrested him and left. Witnessing the scene, Qin he said to her grandmother, "Grandma, we've been waiting for him for half an hour now. Why isn't he out yet? He's too arrogant." Qin he angrily walked away, "What kind of fiancé? He even wants elders and ladies to wait for him. I'm leaving first. Madame Su Lao Tai lowered her voice. If you dare to leave, I'll break your legs. Madame Su's assistant ran over, shouting loudly, He's here! He's here! No sooner had he finished speaking than Ning Bei arrived at their location with the Tianbei organization's contingent. Madame Su urged her granddaughter, Quick, Qin He, he's here! Qin He supported her grandmother's arm. Grandma, walk a little slower. Suddenly, Zhang Zhongyuan appeared. He spoke, Mu Qin, you've overstepped the line. The 5 great commanders of the world each have their own duties. It is strictly forbidden to overstep. Anyone who violates this will be reported and severely punished. Madame Su whispered to Qin He, Tianbei Tiger Mu Qin, Central Battle Blade Zhang Zhongyuan, they've all come. Ning Bei spoke, It's been years, Xiao Zhongyuan. Who do you want to report and punish? Zhongyuan knelt in greeting. Zhang Zhongyuan, commander of Tianzhong, respectfully welcomes back the Jinbei king. He calmly replied, You and I are both commanders. There's no need for such humility and respect. Zhongyuan immediately explained, The 5 great commanders of the world are all under the command of Bai Commoner. Ning Bei briefly replied, All right. As he spoke, he looked towards the 2 grandmother and granddaughter of the Su family. As soon as she saw him kneel, Madame Su stroked her grandson. Oh my bear, you've grown thinner, and taller too. Ning Bei said emotionally, Grandma. The old woman took his arm. Come on, get in the car. Come home with me. He hastily said, Grandma, take your time. Then Ning Bei ordered the group, Mu Chen, return to the Huabei, North China, organization. Zhongyuan, you come with me. The group replied in unison, yes. At this moment, Ning Bei was traveling by car with the 2 grandmother and granddaughter of the Su family and Zhongyuan. Madame Su said to him, In a blink of an eye, 13 years have passed. Xiao Bei has also grown up. Ning Bei gently replied, If it weren't for Grandma's protection that year, Xiao Bei would have long gone to the underworld. The old woman quickly introduced, Oh, that's right, this is Qin He. She calmly greeted, Hello, my name is Su Qin He. Ning Bei frankly proposed to her, Our marriage, if you don't agree, can be called off. Qin He was surprised, Really? Madame Su frowned, How dare you? She pouted and said to her grandmother, Grandma, it's the 21st century now, how can there still be arranged marriages? My classmates will all laugh at me. The old woman sternly explained, This marriage was arranged by your grandpa Ning and our Su family. Unless I die, no one can change it. Ning Bei interjected. Grandma, don't be angry. Qin He also has her own thoughts. Then Madame Su asked him, Are you familiar with the Central Battle Blade Zhang Zhongyuan and the Tianbei Tiger Mu Qin? Ning Bei immediately replied, Yes, very familiar. Zhongyuan used to be by my side, and often cleaned my battle blade for me. Zhongyuan added, The Jinbei King's battle blade. Not just anyone can clean it. Seeing this, Qin He was surprised. The dignified commander Zhang Zhongyuan of Tianzhong, whose title is Central Battle Blade, just cleaned his blade. Is that true or false? He assured Madame Su, Qin He is someone my grandmother loves, so she is also someone Xiao Bei will protect for life. In the future, anyone who dares to touch her, I will wipe out their entire lineage for 3 generations. Ning Bei said to Zhongyuan, in my name, announce to the whole world, Su Qin He is the person I want to protect. The day she is harmed even a little, that is when the Jinbei King's blade will fall. He obeyed, Yes, sir. Madame Su was apprehensive, this child. And Qin He secretly sighed, announced to the whole world? That's quite a boast. Madame Su's bodyguard shouted loudly, The old madam has returned. Welcome back the esteemed guest. Ning Bei gently helped her out of the car. The man standing in front of the door loudly said, Esteemed guest? Isn't this Ning Bei? Why did you bring him back? He raised his voice. The car accident that year, we all know it wasn't an accidental accident. Grandma protecting Ning Bei is offending the 3 top leaders of the Ning family. Then he suggested to Madame Su, You should cancel the engagement and send this Ning Bei away. That's the best course of action. The people in the house immediately echoed, That's right, send him away. Don't bring more trouble. Seeing this, Qin He couldn't help but feel indignant, these sycophants. No matter what, he's a guest who came from a long way. How can you bully him like this? Zhongyuan was about to draw his sword, You all. Ning Bei immediately stopped him, Stand down. At this moment, Madame Su finally spoke, Xiao Bei is my Su family's son-in-law, Qin He's future husband. As long as this old woman is not dead, no one is allowed to bully him. Qin He replied stubbornly, Grandma, I already said I don't agree to this marriage. Ning Bei interjected for her, Grandma, if Qin He doesn't agree, then just let it go. I'll treat her like a younger sister, it's the same. Madame Su immediately reminded Xiao Bei. He suggested to her, if the male side breaks the engagement, it will affect Qin He's reputation. Tomorrow, let the Su family write the annulment, and I will sign it. Seeing this, Qin He cautiously replied, Then, will it affect your reputation too? Ning Bei casually said, It's fine. Madame Su's relative loudly said, Humph, at least you're sensible. It's time for us to break off the engagement with you. Zhongyuan angrily shouted, You people try to break off the engagement. If you dare, tonight someone will flatten your entire Su family home. Ning Bei immediately intervened, Zhong Yuan. And the other man arrogantly replied, Who are you? You want to destroy my Su family? Who gave you the guts? Zhong Yuan growled, Who am I? I am Commander Zhang Zhongyuan of Tianzhong. Is that enough to destroy your Su family? At this moment, Mu Chen also spoke, Commander Mu Chen of Tianbei. Is that enough to destroy your Su family? Bai Feng loudly said, Commander Gui Bai Feng of Tianxi. Is that enough to destroy your Su family, sir? Gui Yi also chimed in, Commander Lu Gui Yi of Tianan. Is that enough to destroy your Su family? Tianbei Tiger Mu Chen, Central Battle Blade Zhang Yuan. West Wolf Marquis Gui Bai Feng, Spirit Sword Lu Gui Yi. Ning Bei secretly rejoiced. 4 of the 5 great commanders of the world have arrived. Bai Feng respectfully greeted. Gui Bai Feng respectfully welcomes back the Jinbei King. Gui Yi bowed with clasped hands. Lu Gui Yi respectfully welcomes back the Jinbei King. Seeing this, the crowd couldn't help but be astonished. Who are these people? Where did such a large display come from? Mu Chen challenged him. Is your Su family so powerful? Today, 4 of us will destroy your Su family. Is that enough? Another Su family member interjected. Anyone can boast, right? Madame Su was so angry. Nonsense. Ning Bei immediately reassured her. Grandma, don't worry. The old woman sighed to him. With you here, of course, Grandma isn't worried. It's just that I'm disappointed in the Su family's sons. Ning Bei said to Zhong Yuan, Show him. Zhong Yuan shouted loudly, Activate A1 alert. The building announced, Activating A1 alert. Other apartment buildings also announced, Activating A1 alert. The alert system, Activating A1 alert. A female staff member of the system stated, Once the A1 alert is activated, all 72 locations will enter a severe state. She reported to Zhong Yuan via her watch, This command will not be transmitted among ordinary people. The Kalalong guards are all entering a standby state. Do you really want to send it? Ning Bei immediately replied, 72 locations might be a bit excessive. Just block 1 location. Zhong Yuan obeyed, understood. He then ordered the female staff member, Did you hear that? Retract the previous command. Change it to 1 location only. She acknowledged immediately, understood. Another male staff member asked her, Who was that just now? Why did I see the commander salute him? The female staff member briefly replied, That was Bai. He was astonished. Bai? The overlord of the northern frontier who was deified? She continued, the Jinbei King, Ning Bei. His file is on the 9th floor of the building, a place even I am not allowed to enter. At this moment, the Su family members silently looked around. The young man from earlier loudly challenged, You talk big, I thought you were going to do something. Nothing happened, did it? He raised his phone and continued, It's just 200 yuan a day to hire actors to put on a show. Shall I invite more people over for you? The man looked at the screen and was stunned. He yelled, Why is there no signal? Several people around also exclaimed, My phone lost signal too. Mine too. Seeing this, the Su family relatives secretly trembled. It's only been a few minutes, and all phone signals are cut off. Could it be? Is it really this person's doing? Mu Chen's group rushed forward. Long guard at work. Those not involved, please step back. The leader ordered, What happened at the Su family? Take them all away. Seeing this, the arrogant Su family members couldn't help but panic. Ning Bei reassured Madame Su, Don't worry, Grandma. It's just me teaching them a lesson on your behalf. Nothing will happen. He whispered, Grandma, today I have to return to the Ning family. Madame Su lowered her voice, Xiao Bei, 13 years have passed. Ning Bei growled, Even if another 13 years pass, I can never forget that rainy night. Then he said to the 2 grandmother and granddaughter, Grandma, Xiao Qinhe, I'll be going now. Madame Su Lao Tai loudly said, Xiao Bei, your mother isn't dead. Hearing this, Ning Bei couldn't help but be astonished. The old woman continued, She's a professor at the Biandawan Academy. You'll know when you get there. He didn't reply to the old woman but left in silence. Ning Bei walked alone on the road back home. At Long City University, Professor Wei Lan was teaching in class, seated upright in her wheelchair at the lectern. Ning Bei quietly entered the classroom. As soon as he saw her, he secretly sighed, Mother, is it really Mother? She's still alive. Then he temporarily sat at a desk. At the desk in front, a female student said to her boyfriend, It's so boring, I want to go out and play. Her boyfriend replied, You can go, your dad is the vice principal. But I don't dare to go anywhere. She complained, It's true, she's always stricter than other teachers. Even skipping class secretly gets noticed. Her boyfriend replied, It's because of her reputation for being serious and responsible. Anyway, she has to rely on this to get a raise. He added, I'm telling you, why does she bother working so hard? With such a beautiful face, she might as well use her body to make money. Who knows, someone might even like this disabled type. Ning Bei shouted at the boyfriend, Show some respect to the teacher. He cursed at Ning Bei, Who are you? You think you can control me? The boyfriend immediately scoffed, I'm helping that old lady get rich, how does that affect you? Is she your mother? No sooner had he finished speaking than Ning Bei immediately leaped onto the desk in front. Seeing him restrain the boyfriend, the female student shrieked, "He's killing someone." Professor Huilan spoke, "Stop." Ning Bei's voice trembled. "Mother." Huilan asked emotionally, "Is that Bear?" She hastily said, "Bear, my bear." He immediately knelt to help her. "Mother, it's me." At this moment, Mr. Ning was sweeping leaves in the yard. The professor called out loudly, "Old Ning, look up and see who's here." Hearing the call, he looked up. "Huh?" Ning Bei softly called, "Dad." Mr. Ning immediately recognized him. "Bear." No sooner had he finished speaking than the father and son immediately embraced each other. He urgently asked Ning Bei, "Bear, who allowed you to come back?" "It's still not safe now." Ning Bei immediately reassured his father, "Don't worry, Dad. For the 30 years of injustice that you and mother have endured, Bear will use the Jinbei King's blade to avenge this humiliation." Ning Bei said to his parents, "Dad, Mom, let's go home." The female student from earlier looked towards them and told her father, "Dad, look, it's him. He injured my boyfriend." The vice principal shouted at Ning Bei, "Who are you? Were you the one who injured another student in the classroom just now?" "Ning Changlan, what is your relationship with him?" Mr. Ning immediately explained, "Vice principal, he's my son." The vice principal scolded him, "Your son? I don't care what your son did. You teach him a good lesson for me." He loudly yelled, "Don't forget you knelt and begged me for this job in the first place. I can fire you anytime." Ning Bei asked doubtfully, "Neil? What's going on?" Mr. Ning reassured his son, "Let it go. He's from the Ning family." As he pushed the wheelchair, he said, "So he's a dog of the Ning family?" The vice principal shouted loudly, "Who are you calling a dog?" Ning Bei turned back and glared at him, "Neil." Then he raised his hand and cast a spell towards the group. Ning Bei's magic quickly spread to the vice principal's legs. Seeing her father fall to the ground, the female student screamed in panic, "Dad, what are you doing?" As he pushed the wheelchair, Ning Bei respectfully said to his parents, "The humiliation you've endured all these years, I will reclaim justice for each and every one of them." The vice principal cried out, "My leg. It seems to be crippled." The entire Ning Bei family returned to the apartment where his parents lived. This apartment belonged to an old, dilapidated residential complex. His mother instructed, "Old Ning, go buy some food later. I'll cook for our son." As soon as he opened the door, Mr. Ning reminded his son, "Bear, you carry the wheelchair. I'll carry your mother downstairs." Looking inside, Ning Bei couldn't help but feel a pang of sadness. Have Mom and Dad been living here all these years? Mr. Ning explained, his voice soft. "Aside from being a bit damp, it's quite good to live here." He sternly called, "Zhong Yuan." "Yes." Ning Bei ordered, "Call people to tidy up a bit. Move out of the Ning family." Zhong Yuan obeyed. "Understood." His mother immediately intervened, "Bear, so many years have passed. Let it go." He replied to his mother, his voice filled with resentment, "How can I let it go? On that rainy night 13 years ago, we were hunted down to a dead end, and Grandpa was also tragically killed by them." Ning Bei stated firmly, "This time I'm returning to the capital to kill 3 people. He lowered his voice. The first person is from the Ning family, Ning Fuguang. Suddenly, Gui Lai appeared, Commander Yan Gui Lai of Huadong. He boldly declared, bringing the Jinbei King's blade to report for duty. After that, Gui Lai happily said to Ning Bei, "Brother, let me play with this blade for a few days." Ning Bei replied, "Stop messing around. Give it to me quickly." As he spoke, he took the blade from Gui Lai's hand. Ning Bei slowly tied a small string around the blade's body. He instructed his subordinates, "You don't need to follow too closely. I want to spend some time with my parents." Gui Lai said to Zhong Yuan, "The Jinbei King's blade is unsheathed. No one in the world can stop it." What kind of character forced the boss to personally hang the blade? Zhong Yuan unexpectedly asked back, "Why did you call this troublesome devil from your family here?" Hearing this, he immediately said sternly, "If you don't tell me, I'll dig up your ancestors' graves." Zhong Yuan continued, "Now we have to go to the Ning family? The opponent isn't that strong, but this matter cannot just be overlooked." At the Ning family, someone shouted loudly, "The CEO of Vincian Group presents a golden Buddha statue, wishing the old master a boundless life and prosperity." Others also spoke, "Young Master Liang presents a 100-year-old ginseng, 16 pairs of jade bracelets." The chairman of Dongfeng Textile Company arrives, presenting a pair of Ming Dynasty orchid porcelain vases, wishing old Master Ning boundless blessings and longevity. Suddenly, a strange sound made them involuntarily look up. As soon as they saw the group of people carrying a wooden coffin, several bodyguards complained, "What's this? Whose funeral is this? They have to pass through here? How unlucky!" Gui Lai loudly said, "An old friend presents one iron bell, 100-year-old iron coffin." As he spoke, he had someone lower the iron bell, cracking a large section of the courtyard. Gui Lai ordered the group carrying the items, "Cry for me quickly." The Ning family bodyguard spoke, presenting a bell? Such an unlucky thing. Someone wants to cause trouble. Ning Chahai stepped forward and loudly said, "My friend, may I ask if my Ning family has offended you in any way on a normal day?" Gui Lai calmly replied, "No, this is my first time in Long City. How could there be any offense? He continued, but Long City truly lives up to its reputation as the ancient capital of 8 dynasties. Such a large iron bell is not easy to find in the northern frontier. Hearing this, Cha-hai felt a little uneasy. Suddenly, he saw the groups slowly approaching. Ning Changlan and Qin Huilan. So that young lad is their son. Cha-hai was stunned. Ning Bei. Ning Bei shouted, the third-generation eldest son of the Ning family, Ning Bei, respectfully wishes second grandfather a long and prosperous life. No sooner had he finished speaking than all the guests of the Ning family immediately whispered, Ning Bei? Isn't that the child who fled the Ning family 3 years ago? I heard they were hunted down by the Ning family that year. Don't say it here. Cha-hai loudly said, feigning kindness, so the whole family is back. Huilan, your wheelchair seems a bit old. Tomorrow, I'll give my sister-in-law a new one. Mr. Ning briefly replied, no need. A young man mocked Ning Bei's family. Do you people still have the face to come back? Get out. Cha-hai shouted back, impudent. Step down. He calmly invited, let's go inside and talk. As he spoke, Cha-hai secretly thought, don't air dirty laundry in public. I'll wait until we're inside to close the door and beat the dog. Then Ning Bei slowly pushed the wheelchair with his family inside. A Ning family member intentionally tripped Mr. Ning. Ning Bei quickly helped his father avoid falling. The person who tripped Mr. Ning raised his voice, what's this about? If you want to wish longevity, it's not too late to kneel inside the main hall. Mr. Ning hesitated. Ning Bei immediately interjected, Dad, let's go inside. Today's play, the 3 of us are the main characters. You can't be absent. Gui Lai spoke from behind, go ahead. I'll take care of the cleanup behind. As he spoke, he drew 2 blades and assumed an attacking stance. The 2 blades quickly pierced straight into the knees of the person who had just tripped Mr. Ning. Witnessing the scene, 2 guests suddenly exclaimed, Northern Liang Blade. That's the Northern Liang Blade that only the northern frontier has. Cha-hai saw this and immediately shouted, Xiao Bei, you've gone too far. Ning Bei casually replied, gone too far? Sorry, even more excessive things are yet to come. He asked him again, his voice doubtful. What do you want to do? He stated directly, I want to wipe out your entire Ning family. What about it? At the main tower. Ning Guofu happily raised his glass and invited the guests, thank you all for coming to my birthday feast. No sooner had he finished speaking than Gui Lai and Zhong Yuan flung open the large doors. Ning Bei walked in with his parents. As he approached, he offered his congratulations. Ning family's Ning Bei respectfully wishes second grandfather boundless blessings and longevity. Seeing this, both Ning Guofu and the guests in the room focused their attention on him. Ning Guofu immediately praised Ning Bei, a fine young man. A fine wish for boundless blessings and longevity. You've got guts. I accept this wish. No sooner had he finished speaking than Xiaolong spoke, are you Ning Bei? You don't know proper etiquette. How can a junior wish longevity without kneeling? Gui Lai asked him, who are you? He immediately replied, his voice proud, are you asking me, young master? My name is Liang Xiaolong. In Long City, when my name is mentioned, people around here usually give me some face. Gui Lai casually replied, sorry, never heard of you. A bold guest scoffed at him, young master Liang, this little worm came from who knows where, and doesn't know your name. No sooner had he finished speaking than Gui Lai loudly called out, Xiao Yuan Shan, come in. Seeing this, Ning Guofu was surprised. Section Chief Xiao. Gui Lai said to Yuan Shan, this guy cursed at me. What should we do? Yuan Shan considered this. Then Yuan Shan decided, chop him into pieces and feed him to the dogs. No sooner had he finished speaking than Zhong Yuan immediately shouted, don't mess around. Then he ordered, seal all the assets under his control, as a punishment. Yuan Shan obeyed, understood. The bold guest cried out in panic, THTH this, how can it be? Gui Lai slapped Xiaolong hard, and you're the main culprit, aren't you? Don't think you can escape. Seeing this, Ning Bei's mother said to him, Xiao Bei, what did you promise me? Ning Bei immediately stopped Gui Lai. Gui Lai, that's enough. He obeyed, understood. Ning Guofu secretly thought, I don't know what background these guys have. He must have bribed Section Chief Xiao to come here and support this kid. Then he said to Yuan Shan, Section Chief Xiao, my Ning family and your organization have always kept to ourselves. Today's matter is a family affair of the Ning family. Does Section Chief Xiao intend to interfere? Ning Bei immediately replied, if it's a family matter, then let the Ning family solve it themselves. Those not involved, please leave first. No sooner had he finished speaking than the guests at the birthday banquet immediately left the room. At this moment, only Ning Bei's family and Ning Guofu's group of guards remained in the room. Guofu mocked him, Ning Bei, inviting Section Chief Xiao of the Long City organization here must have cost a fortune, didn't it? Unfortunately, he's gone. Who can protect you now? Gui Lai loudly said, so this old man thought we were borrowing Xiao Yuanshan's authority, like a fox borrowing a tiger's might? Guofu ordered his subordinates, what foolishness! Shanggu, send those 3 on their way. Handle it cleanly. Shanggu obeyed, understood, old master. He mocked Ning Bei, didn't expect it, did you? The Ning family also has its own primary martial artist. Seeing him step forward, Ning Bei's mother reminded him, Xiao Bei. Shang-gu loudly challenged, I'll send the three of you on your way. As Ning Bei approached, his body suddenly became immobile. What? Why can't I move? Ning Bei growled, kneel. No sooner had he finished speaking than Shang-gu immediately knelt on the ground. Seeing this, Guofu cried out in astonishment, what's going on? Shang-gu mumbled, his voice trembling, W War God level. No sooner had he finished speaking than the people behind immediately started to whisper, what happened? I didn't see him make a move. What did he say? War God level? Ning Bei shouted loudly, kneel. No sooner had he finished speaking than both Ning Guofu and the people behind him all knelt down. Gui Lai immediately recounted, my brother was in the northern frontier at 7 years old, and in less than a month, he reached the warrior level. How can a primary martial artist like you compare? Guofu was surprised, how can that be? Gui Lai continued, my brother reached the king level at 17 and was conferred the title of Junbei King, but he calls himself a commoner. Otherwise, you would have to call him King Ning Bei. At this point, Ning Bei's mother asked him, Bayer, how much hardship did you endure in the northern frontier all these years? He immediately turned back to reassure his mother, Mother, aren't I still fine? Ning Bei boldly said, on that rainy night 13 years ago, Grandpa was forced to his death in this very hall by you people. He recalled that day, fourth uncle, in order to help me escape, chose to stay behind. At the main gate of this hall, he was pierced through the heart by Ning Chahai with a single blade. He affirmed, on that day, I, Ning Bei, saw it very clearly. Finally, Ning Bei growled, Grandpa loved me dearly, and fourth uncle treated me like his own son. If this revenge is not taken, this hatred will be hard to dissipate. Guofu hastily said I was wrong. Please spare me. He continued to recount, on that rainy night, Ning Shanggu pursued my mother and me. Truly worthy of the second Ning family, your actions are vicious. As he drew his blade, Ning Bei said, if it weren't for my grandma Su family rushing through the rain, I, Ning Bei, would probably have truly died by your hands that night. He shouted loudly, no one in your entire Ning family is innocent. No sooner had he finished speaking than the blade in Ning Bei's hand was firmly plunged into the ground. Guofu screamed, retribution. It's retribution. Then he ran towards the blade. As Guofu tried to pull out the blade, he sighed, I can't pull it out. Why is this blade like it's rooted in the ground? Ning Bei sneered at him. The Jinbei King's blade weighs 360 kilograms. Is that something you can pull out? Then he pulled out the blade. Ning Bei decisively slashed Guofu's neck. Seeing this, his son screamed, Dad. Chahai immediately rushed forward. Ning Bei, I'll fight you. No sooner had he finished speaking than Ning Bei used the blade to pierce his heart. He lowered his voice, fourth uncle, please rest in peace. Witnessing the scene, the remaining people in the room were all stunned. Ning Bei threatened Shanggu, Ning Shanggu, you will remain kneeling here for the rest of your life. My father's humiliation, my mother's pain, I will make you feel it all. Then he advised his father, Dad, you should stay. Everything in the Ning family originally belonged to you. The position of family head should have been yours. Mr. Ning hesitated this. Ning Bei said to his mother, Mom, I want to go visit second uncle's and fourth uncle's graves. Mom and Dad, wait for me to come back. Finally, he left with everyone from the organization. As soon as he exited the Ning family gate, a car suddenly appeared before Ning Bei. Gui shouted loudly, who is it? No sooner had he finished speaking than another old man immediately got out of the car with his son. He loudly said, I have to see just how formidable this abandoned child of the Ning family, who disappeared for 3 years, has become, daring to injure even my Liang family's eldest grandson. As he spoke, both sides silently looked at each other in the rain. Gui volunteered, let me clear the way. Bai Feng immediately stopped him, this is Long City, not our northern frontier. There are no foreign armies invading the border. Old Lu, don't draw your sword anymore. The old man's son spoke, that's the Su family's car. Everyone was surprised, why is she here? The son whispered, Dad, the Su family has long been in decline. Our Liang family has nothing to fear from this old woman. Hearing this, the old man firmly said, although the Su family is weak, their foundation is strong. As long as this old woman doesn't die, the Su family won't fall. Madame Su loudly called out, I wondered who it was, it's brother Liang. Are you here tonight to wish Ning Lao Er a happy birthday? The other old man immediately replied, Bah. What is he? A person who kills his brother to usurp power. Telling me to wish him a happy birthday. I'm here to settle scores with him. He pointed at Ning Bei. His Ning family injured my Liang family's eldest grandson. I want Ning Lao Er to come out personally and atone to me. Xiao Long in the car screamed, he's the one who hit me. Gui Lai suddenly spoke, want Ning Fuguang to come out? That's difficult now. He's already cold and stiff. To get him to come out, I'm afraid we'll have to find someone to clean up the body. Hearing this, the old man was stunned. Ning Lao Er is dead? Today is his 80th birthday, and he's dead? Gui Lai scoffed, do people get to choose when they die? Madame Su stood up to calm him. Brother Liang, about Xiaolong's matter, in my opinion, let it go. The rain is so heavy, everyone should just go home. The old man secretly doubted. Ning Fuguang suddenly died, and Madame Su is advising me like this. Has some terrible change occurred? He looked at Ning Bei and thought to himself, furthermore, the background of this Ning family kid is still a mystery. In this matter there's a bit of danger. He lowered his voice, if Sister Su has already said so. At this point, Xiaolong screamed, Grandpa, are we just going to let it go? His son further explained, Dad, although Xiaolong was hit, this is no different from slapping our Liang family in the face. Madame Su calmly said, Brother Liang, please think carefully. The Liang family's century-old foundation was not easily accumulated. Don't let Long City's 7 great clans become 6. The old man shouted loudly, Sister Su's kindness, I, Brother Liang, accept. But the perpetrator who injured my eldest grandson must be handed over. Gui Lai casually replied, You want me, huh? Then I. Ning Bei immediately interjected for him, Yan Gui Lai is my brother, Ning Bei. Telling me to hand him over is impossible. Hearing this, the old man silently thought for a while. Then he called out, Fei Dao. A muscular man immediately stepped forward and announced, Liang family, Liang Fei Dao. Seeing this, Qin He quickly advised, Brother Ning, be careful. He's one of the top 4 experts in Long City. Madame Su immediately comforted her granddaughter, Qin He, don't worry. Your brother Ning said he would protect you for life, so he will definitely protect you for life. Ning Bei gently said to her, Qin He, today I will teach you how to differentiate the strengths of ancient martial artists. He slowly said, first, there's the martial apprentice level. This level isn't much different from ordinary people. After that is the martial artist. A primary martial artist. To ordinary people, is already an expert, like him. Ning Bei further explained, above martial artists are the warrior level, battle commander level, and war god level. He affirmed, the symbol of a war god is the ability to suppress all creation and overpower all people. Ning Bei firmly stated, your brother Ning once said he could protect you for life, so he wouldn't lie to you. Hearing this, Qin He's face immediately turned crimson. He confidently said, and in the northern frontier, I, Ning Bei, have over 100 war gods under my command. Seeing this, Fei Dao immediately shivered, his face unable to hide his bewilderment. A gigantic snake immediately appeared behind Ning Bei. The war god level becomes distinctive, that is my brother, the contemporary Jinbei king of the northern frontier. Ning Bei frowned slightly, decisively extending his hand forward. Immediately after, a surge of power erupted from his hand, striking Fei Dao directly. He stumbled and slammed heavily to the ground, then slid towards Second Master Liang. Fei Dao bent slightly, his trembling hand clutching his chest, a mouthful of hot blood spewing from his mouth. Immediately after, Chanlan rushed out to the gate, his voice deep and apologetic. I didn't know Second Uncle Liang was coming. Chanlan couldn't greet you from afar. Second Master Liang frowned slightly, his gaze sharpening, you've returned to the Ning family. Immediately after, Chanlan gently extended his hand to one side, his expression becoming gentle and slightly respectful. Second Uncle Liang, Bayer doesn't understand etiquette. Since you came yourself, I should have gone out to greet you. No sooner had he finished speaking, he solemnly uttered, please. The old man in front held a string of beads in his hand, his voice clearly low, consider yourself sensible. As soon as Chanlan finished speaking, the bodyguards around Second Master Liang slowly covered him with an umbrella and led him inside. One by one, they followed, and the entire group slowly entered the main hall. The atmosphere instantly became suffocatingly quiet. A bodyguard beside the old man glanced around, a hint of surprise in his heart. I didn't expect there to be so many people inside. What exactly is the Ning family up to? Second Master Liang slightly looked up at the figure in the distance, a trace of doubt in his mind, Ning Shanggu. He still pretended to walk past him, only glancing briefly, a look of confusion appearing in his eyes. Isn't he one of the 3 top leaders of the Ning family? And he's a powerful ancient martial artist, yet he's kneeling here like a ghost. In front of Second Master Liang, Chanlan slowly stepped forward, his demeanor calm yet full of respect. Beside him, Madame Su also followed closely. Second Master Liang glanced at her, his face pensive. I should have listened to Madame Su's advice. Today, the Ning family clearly has a major incident. Why did I even come here? As Madame Su stepped forward, Ning Bei quickly helped her, his voice becoming tender, please sit down, Grandma. On the other side, Second Master Liang also slowly sat down in a chair with a serious expression. Madame Su gently bowed her head, her voice softly rising, Qin He, go see Aunt Qin. Immediately, she nodded obediently yes. Second Master Liang was casually sitting comfortably in his chair, his face suddenly breaking into a smile as he turned. Chanlan has returned to the Ning family this time. Madame Su showed no concern, happily replying in a friendly manner. Not only has he returned, but Chanlan is now the new head of the Ning family. As soon as he heard that, Second Master Liang's expression suddenly changed. He just frowned and remained silent. Chanlan, sitting nearby, gave a faint smile. He blamed himself. Chanlan is incompetent. In the future, I will still need the help of both seniors to manage the Ning family. No sooner had he finished speaking, he began to change the subject. Let me introduce you. Xiao Bei, this is the third-generation eldest legitimate son of the Ning family. Second Master Liang chuckled softly in praise. A tiger father begets a tiger cub. The Ning family is truly blessed to have this grandson. Madame Su also happily added, Brother Liang, the younger generation of the Liang family also has quite a few new talents emerging, like those Xiaolong kids. Her words made Second Master Liang cough softly, a hint of embarrassment on his face. He hastily covered his mouth. Don't joke around. Compared to Xiao Bei, it's really embarrassing. After a moment, the old man immediately stood up, his voice resolute. All right, the tea has been drunk, the old stories have been told. So, I'll take my leave today. Then the entire Ning family stood up in unison, each showing a respectful demeanor. As they left the Ning family, footsteps gradually echoed in the rain. Second Master Liang's face became serious. He put one hand in his pocket and tightly clenched the other, speculating, the abandoned child of the Ning family has returned. The sky over Long City is about to change. Once Second Master Liang had left, Changlong slowly stepped out to the gate, calling out in a low voice, Bear, are you still going out so late? Ning Bei softly replied, I have to go see second uncle and fourth uncle. I'll be back soon. The scene shifted to a gloomy cemetery, where the rain was growing heavier. Inside, 2 graves had been excavated, and the coffin lids were scattered everywhere. A tombstone had also fallen out, rainwater slowly dripping down, wetting the blurred carvings on the stone's surface. Seeing that scene, Ning Bei's face suddenly darkened. He cast sharp eyes forward, and immediately a bolt of lightning streaked across the sky. He stood stunned amidst the graves, his voice cold as he ordered, investigate. Outside, the rain was still drizzling. A foot suddenly kicked open the door. The security guard immediately panicked, frowning slightly in confusion. Who are you? What do you want to do? Zhong Yuan tilted his head slightly, his serious voice ringing out. Who took the ashes from the graves of Ning Shangnan and Ning Shangshang in the northwest of the cemetery? The security guard's face became awkward, his mouth stuttering. I don't know. Zhong Yuan gently drew the sword in his hand, his voice growling threateningly. You don't know? Immediately after, the security guard knelt before him, his voice pleading urgently, don't kill me. It was a young man who secretly stole it. It happened 7 years ago. Hearing this, Zhong Yuan couldn't help but be suspicious. He bent down and loudly said, You still remember something from 7 years ago? The security guard suddenly burst into tears, his voice trembling slightly. That couple gave me 100,000, telling me not to tell anyone. Zhong Yuan casually threw a bank card on the ground, his voice coldly stating, Tell me the specifics, and I'll give you another 100,000. The scene shifted to the cemetery. Ning Bei stood silently before the grave, his eyes reflecting an undisguised sadness. He gently placed his hand on the tombstone. His head slightly bowed in contemplation. After a long while, faint footsteps echoed from behind. Ning Bei didn't turn around, his voice low but clear. Have you found out? Zhong Yuan slightly raised his head, resolutely speaking, found out. 7 years ago, a couple came here and took the urn. This is the appearance of the 2 of them as described by the security guard. No sooner had he finished speaking, he slowly presented the drawing to Ning Bei. Ning Bei slightly turned his head, his tone unchanged. He calmly uttered each word, clear and chilling, find the painter. Once found, kill them. Zhong Yuan immediately nodded. His eyes unwavering, understood. He cast a pensive gaze in one direction and then commanded, Mu Qin, in charge of the Huabei ambassador, block all martial artists in the 5 Huabei provinces. Use the authority of the ambassador commander, general commander of all special operations organizations. Having said that, Ning Bei coldly turned and walked away. After walking for a while, he continued in a low voice, Everyone else, go back on your own. Hearing that, the people behind Ning Bei immediately raised their hands respectfully. Shouting loudly, understood. A large building emerged in the night, its interior lights already on, casting light from the glass windows. Chamlon looked at the stack of papers and then suddenly slapped his forehead, sighing heavily. Immediately after, Ning Bei entered from outside, gently reminding, Dad, it's time to rest. Hearing this, he quickly looked up and gently asked, Bei, you're back? He slowly walked over. Is there a problem with the Ning family's ledgers? Chamlon raised his head slightly, his voice heavy, a big problem. He suddenly frowned, his expression becoming serious. The Ning family's business is not doing well. All the company's shares have been mortgaged to the bank, and now they owe 8 billion. Hearing this, the corner of Ning Bei's lips suddenly curled. He calmly said, Let me handle it. No sooner had he finished speaking than Qin He pushed Hui Lan over. Her voice became stern. Old Ning, you handle the Ning family's affairs yourself. Don't make it difficult for the child. Ning Bei quickly replied, I'm not. Then he slightly turned his head. Qin He, aren't you going back? She paused for a moment before replying, her voice soft but clear. Grandma told me to stay here and talk with Aunt Qin. Hui Lan immediately intervened. Bear, don't get involved in this matter. Let your father figure it out himself. He slightly raised his eyebrows, holding the ringing phone, his expression still calm. It's alright. This isn't troublesome at all. Having said that, Ning Bei's voice became serious. He calmly said, hello, the chairman is resting. If there's anything, please make an appointment for 9 a.m. tomorrow. When the other end of the line finished speaking, Ning Bei's face tightened. He growled loudly, wake him up. Tell him Beijiang Bai is looking for him. Call me back in a moment. Huilan, standing nearby, forced a smile. Bear, does anyone ask for help like you do? Chanlan slightly raised his head, wondering, who's on the other end of the phone? Ning Bei lowered his voice and replied, just an ordinary person. No sooner had he finished speaking than he slightly turned around, his hand extending out of habit. I'll go to the kitchen and tell them to prepare some late-night snacks. Qin, standing behind, immediately scolded, with such a temper, who could get along with him? It would be a miracle if anyone helped him with that attitude. Suddenly, the phone on the table vibrated. She glanced over, wondering, who's calling? The phone stopped ringing, then immediately rang again. Qin He's eyes widened in surprise. He actually called back. Chanlan also couldn't help but exclaim in astonishment. And it's a video call. Then he slowly moved his finger to lightly press the answer button on the screen. When the man's image appeared on the screen, Qin He gasped. He's Xiao Si, the richest man in the world. Hearing this, Changlan's face suddenly turned serious, a suspicion arising in his heart. The richest man in the world? Is this the ordinary person Bayer was talking about? On the other end of the line, Xiao Si was a bit hesitant. He lowered his voice respectfully. May I ask who this is? Changlan frowned slightly, his tone gentle but distant. My son, Ning Bei, called earlier. He just went out. If Mr. Qiao is busy, I'll have him call you back later. No sooner had he finished speaking, Xiao Si quickly gestured with his hand, his expression awkward. No, I'm off today. I have plenty of time. A few seconds later, Ning Bei calmly walked in carrying a fruit plate. Changlan quickly called him. Quick! Mr. Qiao is looking for you. As soon as he picked up the phone, Xiao Si's voice immediately became solemn, each word spoken with respect. Lord Junbei King. Ning Bei maintained his usual calm demeanor, his steady voice resonating. Just call me by my name. I'm at home. He nodded gently, calmly replying, all right then, Commander Ning. I didn't have my phone with me earlier, otherwise I would have definitely answered immediately. The corner of Ning Bei's lips suddenly curled. He slowly spoke, his tone gentle. It's all right. I called you to remind you that it's time to repay the favor. Xiao Si's voice resonated, deep and sincere, with a hint of hidden emotion. 3 years ago, you saved the lives of our family of 4. Now, if Xiao Si can help Commander Ning, I am willing to give all my assets. Hearing this, Qin He's eyes widened in awe. So he's a lifesaver. No wonder he's so respectful. Ning Bei slightly turned his head to look at Chanlan, and then lowered his voice. My father needs some money now, Dad. How much is enough? He looked up awkwardly. Huh? As he spoke, his face darkened. The amount might be a bit large. We need to repay an 8 billion loan and a high-interest loan. I don't know, sir. Xiao Si didn't hesitate, his voice resolute. I'll transfer 10 billion to you. This amount cannot repay the life-saving grace Commander Ning showed my family. Ning Bei slightly tilted his head and quietly asked, is 10 billion enough? He continued calmly, if not, I'll add another 10 billion US dollars. Qin He, standing beside him, was stunned. US dollars? Chanlan, as if unable to believe his ears, frowned slightly and shouted, did you just say 10 billion US dollars? After saying that, Chanlan tried to maintain his composure. He bowed slightly in embarrassment. Mr. Qiao, that's too much money. If it's US dollars, 2 billion at most would be enough. Xiao Si was a bit doubtful. 2 billion is enough? Chanlan's voice remained gentle, slow, and firm. Enough. This is a loan. When the Ning family has capital, we will definitely repay both principal and interest. He spoke in a gentle, resolute voice. Brother Ning, this money is a gift, no need to repay it. Ning Bei slightly shook his head, his eyes firm. Old brother Qiao. The Ning family must repay this money, otherwise we will not accept it. No sooner had he finished speaking, the corner of Changlan's lips curved into a slight smile. Old brother Qiao is truly an honest person. Ning Bei, behind him, forced a slight smile. Honest? He's a cunning businessman trying to use money to cling to my powerful leg. Ending his train of thought, he slowly waved his hand and calmly said, never mind, it's good that everyone is happy. Everything is settled, let's go to sleep. As Ning Bei was about to push Huilan away, he suddenly paused and turned back to question, Qin He, you have a test tomorrow, right? She was startled, her voice trembling slightly. You know? Ning Bei glanced over and reminded, go to bed early. I'll take you tomorrow. Time flew by like a dog running in the field. In the blink of an eye, it was morning, and the scene shifted to a school. A luxurious car suddenly stopped right in front of the school gate. The driver immediately got out of the car, his movements calm and respectful. He slowly opened the door, extending a hand to invite Miss Su. You've arrived. Tang Yusin slowly approached, Unable to hide her curiosity, Chin-hee, you actually came to school in a Ning family car today. Who brought you? As she spoke, she gently glanced towards Ning Bei, who was sitting in the car. Tang Yusin then approached Chin-hee, wondering, so handsome. Who is this? Chin-hee suddenly froze. She slightly tilted her head awkwardly. He is. Yusin still casually teased, I know. He's Ning Bei, your childhood fiancé, right? Chin-hee slightly lowered her head in embarrassment, stammering, You, what nonsense are you talking about? As she spoke, Yusin calmly looked towards the window curiously. Ning Bei, where do you study? Before he could answer, Chin-hee quickly interjected, her voice tinged with worry. Don't ask anymore. He didn't go to university. Ning Bei, sitting in the car, glanced out the window. He gently said, I've never studied at a normal university, but I did study at the Bailiang Military Academy. I don't know if that counts as a university. Du Yang had heard the conversation from afar. He gasped in surprise, Bailiang Military Academy? You studied at Bailiang Military Academy? Hearing this, Yusin slightly turned to ask. Du Yang, have you heard of this academy? Xing Xian also slowly approached, coldly scoffing, a third-rate fake school, just using a misleading name, right? Du Yang immediately turned and shouted loudly at him. Don't talk nonsense. My brother studied at Bailiang Military Academy. He's very good. Xing Xian still didn't care in the slightest. He casually put his hands in his pockets, turned and walked away, calmly calling back, All right, your brother is the hope of your village. Go light incense for your ancestors' graves so you can get into a fake university. Is that enough? Du Yang clenched his fists, suppressing his anger, and glared at Xing Xian. You! Immediately after, the car doors slowly opened. A foot with branded shoes slowly and gently touched the ground. Ning Bei coldly stepped out with a calm expression, walking forward. In Chin-hee's heart, there was a slight unease. Oh no, if he acts violently here, it'll ruin everything. Ending that thought, she rushed forward with a smile. Chin-hee raised her hand and gently pushed Ning Bei, intentionally trying to subtly dismiss him. What are you doing here? Go home quickly. He turned to look at her in confusion. Why are you in such a hurry to send me away? On the other side, Xing Xian frowned slightly. He gritted his teeth, his heart filled with anger. I'm pursuing Chin-hee, and now this childhood fiancé appears out of nowhere. Annoying. After that, he tried to maintain a friendly demeanor and approached to greet him. You are Ning Bei, right? I am sure, Xing Xian. You said you studied at Bailiang Military Academy? But I honestly have never heard of it. Although he heard him speak, Ning Bei remained silent, slowly observing Xing Xian. Seeing this, Xing Xian couldn't contain his anger. His whole body trembled slightly. He bowed slightly and cursed silently in his heart, that damned guy. After a while, Ning Bei finally frowned, his face becoming serious. Ning Bei boldly stated, the existence of Bailiang Military Academy is not necessary for an idiot to know about. Tang Yusin, standing nearby, seemed to feel a bit offended. She clenched her fists and glared forward, growling, Is he cursing me too? Chin-hee quickly waved her hand to reassure her. Don't mind him. He's not talking about you. Du Yang immediately adjusted his glasses, his voice sounding very knowledgeable about the matter. Bailiang Military Academy, a 5-year program. Students enroll at 16. And everyone must become an officer upon graduation. It's known as the cradle of generals. Hearing this, Xing Xian calmly extended both hands curiously, a hint of mockery in his eyes. So, what rank are you at Bailiang Military Academy now? Ning Bei slightly bowed. His voice becoming gentle, I am just a commoner. I don't have a degree. Xing Xian slightly raised his eyebrows, a half-smile appearing. I sympathize with you for not daring to impersonate an officer, a liar, deceiving us Kaifeng University students. Du Yang, from behind, loudly said in confusion, Commoner? Immediately after, Chin-hee turned, her face becoming serious as she shouted loudly, Ning Bei would not lie, and he wouldn't bother to deceive you all, sure Xing Xian. Don't make it difficult for others here anymore. No sooner had she finished speaking than Ning Bei put his arm around her waist, his voice softly echoing, saying he's making it difficult for me, you underestimate me a bit. Go to class. I'll pick you up in the afternoon after I'm done with my business. Chin-hee slightly looked up and quietly asked, What business do you have this afternoon? Ning Bei showed no hesitation, he calmly said, to kill someone. Hearing this, Xing Xian chuckled mockingly, delusional neurotic? Are you a result of inbreeding? Your mind isn't normal. Ning Bei's face, which had been calm moments ago, suddenly darkened. He frowned, his eyes blazing with murderous intent. Seeing this, Chin-hee quickly tugged lightly on Ning Bei's sleeve, advising him, You promised Aunt Chin you wouldn't fight with others anymore. A few seconds later, Ning Bei managed to compose himself. He calmly lowered his voice, I know. Then, Ning Bei looked forward and asked, Are you from the Shi family? Xi Xian smirked smugly, If you already know, then stay away from Chin-hee. I'm someone you can't afford to offend. When he finished speaking, Ning Bei slowly opened the car door. He subtly turned his head and reminded, Tell Shi Chuanxia that I, Ning Bei, will respectfully await his arrival at 8 p.m. tonight. Hearing this, Jing Xuan's expression immediately changed. His voice suddenly became loud and full of indignation. Who do you think you are? Tell my uncle to humble himself and come find you. Go check your head. His every word seemed to push Ning Bei's anger to its breaking point. Without hesitation, he swung his arm and punched Jing Xian, sending him tumbling to the ground. His face turned pale. Jing Xian clutched one shoulder in pain. Jing He, standing nearby, slapped her forehead, silently feeling helpless. He still resorted to violence. Without another word, Ning Bei decisively got into the car and drove away, leaving the two stunned. The scene shifts to a luxurious villa. Ning Bei slowly approached Huilan, calling out loudly, "Mom, I'm home." Her face lit up with joy as she replied, "Bear." Then she slightly turned her head back, her voice tinged with worry. "Bear, after all, he's your uncle. He's been kneeling all night. Let it go. Let him stand up." Ning Bei remained resolute in his decision. He spoke seriously, "Mom, don't worry about this. He is the one who chased and killed us all night in that rainy night. I cannot just let it go." He paused for a moment and continued, looking directly at her with unwavering determination, "And the second person I want to kill is Qin Fengge of the Qin family." Having said that, Ning Bei took a slight step forward, standing in front of Huilan. His voice was low but clear, like a plea mixed with determination. "Mom, you won't stop me, will you?" The scene shifted back to the past. A car immediately sped through the streets, accompanied by an urgent voice, "Open the door. Please open the door." That night, the sky poured rain. Huilan frantically pounded on the door, screaming in vain, "Please take in Ning Bei. I can die, but please let my son live." Ning Bei frowned slightly, unable to bear watching the scene any longer. He quickly stepped forward and took her hand, his voice choked with emotion. "Mother." Shang, inside the car, wide-eyed and urgent, exclaimed, "It's not good. Hurry and go. Those people are almost here." Shangnan got out of the car and slowly approached, advising, "Sister-in-law, don't beg them anymore. Let's go." Huilan still wouldn't leave. She clenched her hands tightly, her voice choked. "After all, I am from the Qin family. Can't you help me? Please, I beg you." Unable to wait any longer, Shangnan pulled the two away, his voice urgently resonating, "Go. Let's go." The scene shifted to in front of a house gate. At this moment, the red gate slowly opened. Immediately after, a blade flashed past. Seeing this scene, Huilan couldn't help but freeze, tears streaming down her face. Ning Bei, beside her, also cried out in panic, "Second uncle." Shang, in the car, also widened his eyes and screamed, "Shangnan." Qin Fengge's figure gradually appeared, along with the sharp sword in his hand. The train of thought closed, pulling the mind back to reality. The sky was now clear and vast. Ning Bei was sitting in the car, his expression unusually calm. After a while, the car stopped in front of the red gate of yesteryear. Seeing this, the servant immediately spoke, "It's the Ning family's car." "Which Ning family member is it?" "No matter who it is, open the door quickly. Open the main door." The person beside him immediately ordered, "Inform the butler that someone from the Ning family has arrived." The gate gradually opened wide, and the car slowly drove in. Ning Bei subtly glanced out the window, his gaze thoughtful. "I still remember that night clearly. The rain was heavy, and the red-painted gate of my grandfather's house was tightly shut." Huilan gently lowered her head and sighed. Shangnan. Immediately after, a group of people appeared in front of Ning Bei's car. The Qin family head immediately approached, gently extending his hand and speaking softly, "Look, why haven't you gotten out of the car yet when you're at my house?" Ning Bei subtly glanced to the side and said sarcastically, "I thought the Qin family head would humble himself and personally open the car door for me." Hearing this, he suddenly froze, his throat tight, momentarily unable to speak. "This?" The crowd behind began to stir, murmuring voices continuously echoing. "Who is this person?" A voice rang out from among the crowd, carrying a hint of dissatisfaction. "I heard he's a junior. Isn't this a bit too much?" Not wanting to lose face, the Qin family head forced a smile and lowered his voice. "No problem. Let me open it." As the door opened, what greeted him was the angry faces of Shang and Huilan staring intently at him. Deng Shan, behind, suddenly froze, unable to believe his eyes. How could it be her? Huilan slightly frowned, looking at the two of them, then calmly spoke, "Second brother." Hearing this, Deng Shan's face immediately darkened. He spoke with anger, "I am not your second brother. You have long ceased to be a member of the Qin family." Immediately, the Qin family head turned and coldly ordered, "Drive them away." His face suddenly darkened, his eyes blazing with fury, his voice contemptuously spitting out, "I thought it was Ning Chahai coming. How unlucky." Just then, the car door opened, and Ning Bei calmly stepped out, his voice clear, tinged with a hint of teasing mixed with coldness. Ning Bei got out of the car. "Are you in such a hurry to drive people away? Are you feeling guilty?" The Qin family head's face frowned slightly, full of doubt. "Who are you?" The Qin family is one of the 7 richest families. playing an important role in Long City. We don't need to feel guilty facing anyone. Just then, Chanlan slowly opened the car door and stepped out, holding a stack of files in his hand. His voice calmly said, "Is that so?" Deng Shan angrily approached to question, "What is this mess?" Chanlan didn't say much, coldly pushing the documents into his chest, his gaze calm but full of pressure. "Read it first, then speak. Don't panic." As he spoke, he slowly pushed Hui Lan's wheelchair, his steady voice echoing from behind, "Let's go inside." Deng Shan, holding the stack of documents, suddenly widened his eyes. He involuntarily froze for a moment. A woman behind him looked up, her eyes full of confusion. "Deng Shan, what's wrong?" Cold sweat streamed down his cheeks. He clutched the documents tightly in his hand. Stammering, "Sister-in-law, this contract. This is our group's contract with Ning Corporation." Hearing this, the Qin family head suddenly screamed in surprise. "What? Our group's contract with Ning Corporation, why is it in his hands?" Chanlan didn't bother to care. He strode decisively inside and coldly uttered, "Once you've read it, come inside and sign the contract cancellation." Deng Shan couldn't contain his anger. He frowned and growled in protest, "What did you say? Do you know how much money my Qin family invested in these projects?" Having said that, he clenched the paper in his hand, muttering helplessly, "These 18 projects have exhausted all of the Qin family's capital flow." Immediately after, Deng Shan furiously walked in, shouting loudly to question, "Ning Chanlan, on what basis do you demand to cancel the contract? On what basis do your Ning family demand to cancel the contract?" Chanlan slowly tilted his head and calmly replied, "On what basis? On the basis that I am now the chairman of the board of Ning Corporation." "Is that reason enough?" As if unable to believe his ears, Deng Shan still adamantly insisted, "Impossible. The chairman of Ning Corporation is Ning Changhai. How could he yield this position to you?" He didn't hesitate for a moment, immediately picking up his phone. "I need to ask Ning Changhai what's going on with this matter." Ning Bei stood opposite him, saying nothing. He frowned slightly, his expression becoming serious. The Qin family head's face suddenly changed, full of worry. He quickly rushed to Deng Shan. "What's going on?" He frowned, his voice urgent. "No answer." "Let me call Ning Fuguang." Still no one answered. Deng Shan's face suddenly tensed up to the extreme. Why is no one answering? The Qin family head's face turned pale beside him, his voice urging. "And Ning Shangdu. Call him quickly." A moment later, a voice from the other end of the line suddenly rang out. "Hello?" Deng Shan immediately spoke with a bewildered and angry expression. "Ning Shangdu, what exactly is this matter?" Before he could finish his sentence, the other end of the line coldly interrupted. "He went to find you all." No sooner had he finished speaking than Deng Shan's face suddenly darkened. He frowned in suspicion. "Who?" Shangdu calmly replied, each word clear as a bell. "Ning Bei." "Ning Bei, he's the one from 23 years ago." He was silent for a few seconds, then continued to remind, "If you don't want to die, don't provoke him." Hearing this, Deng Shan suddenly froze, his whole body trembling slightly. He couldn't help but wonder, what exactly happened that made Ning Shangdu, one of Long City's top 10 martial artists, so terrified? Chanlan, standing nearby, then coldly said, "Chairman Qin, sign it." The Qin family head bowed his head in contemplation, his face heavy as if considering something. Beside him, Deng Shan glanced over, his face contorted, his hands clenched, clearly trying to suppress the rising anger. Deng Shan's sister-in-law slowly approached, her demeanor gentle, her voice sweet as honey. "Hui Lan, after all, we're family. Please persuade Chanlan not to force our family to a dead end anymore." Hui Lan remained resolute, her sharp voice rising, unwavering. "Isn't it already too late to regret it now?" Chanlan stood tall, his gaze cold as ice, his voice deep but powerful, resonating in the tense atmosphere. "That year, when I married Hui Lan, I used all of the Ning family's human resources to elevate your Qin family from a small, third-rate company to one of the 7 richest families." As he spoke, he swept his gaze across the people in front of him, then lowered his voice and continued, "That year I could raise you up, and now I can also bring you down." Having said that, he turned to look at the Qin family head, his voice devoid of emotion. "Big brother, sign it." Immediately after, Feng Ha's figure slowly entered, his expression unusually serious. The Qin family head saw this and hastily spoke, "Third brother." Ning Bei's face suddenly darkened, his eyes instantly blazing with murderous intent. Ning Bei was silent for a moment, then coldly called out, "Qin Fenga." Hearing this, the Qin family head leaned over, his face filled with confusion. "Feng Ha, what do you mean?" Feng Ha frowned slightly, his face becoming calm. "Big brother, you must have heard. The Ning family's life isn't much better than ours. They invested over 10 billion in the new area and quickly encountered many difficulties." As he spoke, he subtly glanced at Ning Bei and continued gently, "The Ning family is under great pressure to recover funds, not just us. Their Ning family is like a tree that can't support a house." For an hour, Feng Ha calmly presented the stack of documents in his hand, his gaze sharp but his voice remaining gentle and resolute. This area is like a beast that swallows gold. Fortunately, we withdrew in time, but those projects belong to us and must be returned to us. Chanlan maintained his composure, unfazed by Feng Ha's words. He slowly presented the documents and boldly said, I already anticipated your intentions. Everything that belongs to you has already been arranged. See for yourselves. Immediately after, Feng Ha quickly snatched the documents, his expression suddenly freezing, his mouth gaping in astonishment. A moment later, Feng Ha angrily threw the papers to the ground, his face darkened, his eyes wide, glaring directly at Chanlan and snapping, Your Ning family is bullying people too much. But Chanlan stood still, his expression calm and cold. He nonchalantly said, Today, I am indeed bullying you all. The Qin family head frowned, his eyes darkening, his voice tinged with dissatisfaction. The profit from these 3 small projects will not exceed 2 billion. But our Qin family invested 6 billion for you. Just then, Feng Ha coldly extended his hand towards him, his voice without hesitation, Big brother, sign it. The Qin family head spun around and angrily shouted, Feng Ha, are you crazy too? His face remained unusually calm. Feng Ha stared intently forward, his gaze sharp and calculating. The Liang family is ready to invest in shares. Once this project is completed, all bank debts will be repaid, and then the Qin family can recover. The Qin family head didn't hesitate. He clenched his hand and agreed, All right, I'll sign. He slowly approached the table nearby and decisively signed his name. Chanlan, behind him, paused slightly, his eyes wide with astonishment. Then the phone suddenly rang. He immediately turned awkwardly, Bear, it's Xiao Si. Ningbei calmly said, Dad, answer it. No sooner had he finished speaking than the Qin family head suddenly froze, his eyes widening when he heard the name. Xiao Si? Could it be the richest man in the world? Impossible. How could he know someone like this? At this moment, Xiao Si was sitting in the conference room. He gave a friendly smile, Mr. Ning, I hope I'm not disturbing your lunch. Chanlan quickly replied, his tone polite, No, not at all. Is brother Ning busy with something? On the other end of the line, Xiao Si chuckled softly. He clasped his hands together and spoke gently, To tell you the truth, this matter concerns you. All members of the PG Group's board of directors have just unanimously approved the decision to invest capital in the Ning family. Hearing this, Chanlan suddenly froze. He widened his eyes as if he couldn't believe what he had just heard, his lips slightly moving this. Across from him, Xiao Si maintained a calm smile on his face, his demeanor relaxed and confident. He raised a finger, slowly and clearly speaking each word, Our PG Group is willing to use $10 billion to acquire 10% of Ning Corporation's shares. What do you think? As soon as he heard that, Feng Ha blurted out, his voice full of surprise, almost unable to control his emotions. What? Chanlan trembled slightly, his eyes seeming to show doubt, investing 10 billion for 10% of the shares? Is this a good thing falling from the sky? But can it really be like this? Immediately after, Ningbei walked over and called out, 10% of the shares, that's too much. The entire group in the conference room immediately stood up. Xiao Si solemnly spoke, Lord Jinbei King. The atmosphere in the room immediately froze. Feng Ha clenched his hands, veins bulging on the back of his hands, his voice dropping significantly, almost growling each word. What's going on? The Qin family head, beside him, also turned, his eyes full of confusion and doubt. Jinbei King? Deng Shan stood restlessly, his face pale, and quickly spoke, his voice trembling slightly. Who are they calling? Xiao Si quickly extended his hand, his voice urgent yet still polite. What do you think about 5%? The assistant standing beside him also chuckled, his face cheerful. Even 1% is fine. We all approve. Chanlan nodded slightly in agreement. All right. So, that's the decision. Deal. Ningbei looked at him, the corner of his lips curving. As long as you're happy, Dad. Xiao Si immediately slammed his hand on the table. He burst into laughter as if he had struck gold. Success. The assistant beside him also clenched his hands firmly. Money is not a problem. We are now on the same boat as the Jinbei King. No sooner had he finished speaking than the Qin family head frowned slightly, his eyes clearly showing disdain and indignation. His voice deepened, tinged with vexation mixed with arrogance. Do you think this is enough to bring down the Qin family? Do you think that in this era, simply having money can accomplish everything? Do you know that there are ancient martial artists in this world? Hearing this, Ningbei slightly raised his eyebrows, then slowly turned around, his gaze calm but full of hidden meaning. Is that your Qin family's martial artist? Intermediate martial master Qin Fenga? No sooner had he finished speaking, he turned around and gently said, Dad, take Mom out for a walk. Chanlan said nothing, his face suddenly darkened, then he sighed. When both had left, Ningbei coldly walked into the middle of the room. A surge of air immediately swirled around his feet. That surge of energy wasn't violent, but it spread with immense pressure, gradually expanding throughout the room, making the space feel suffocating. Everyone around involuntarily fell silent. Immediately after, Feng Hao suddenly knelt before him. The two people behind him also couldn't help but instinctively kneel. The Qin family head gritted his teeth, his whole body stiff. He growled, "Ancient martial artist." Hearing this, Ning Bei leaned over to look down and then calmly said, "I don't understand what an ancient martial artist is." Deng Shan, standing nearby, finally realized. He glanced at Ning Bei, a hint of worry in his heart. So Ning Shanggu said not to provoke him if you don't want to die. Ning Bei didn't say another word, only lightly flicked the hem of his cloak and let out a contemptuous scoff. Suddenly, Qin Fengge slowly took a sword from inside his coat. Taking advantage of Ning Bei's inattention, he immediately lunged towards him. The sword in his hand swung decisively, aiming straight for Ning Bei's back without holding back in the slightest. As soon as the sword touched his back, Feng Hao suddenly froze, his whole body suddenly still. He angrily gritted his teeth and let out a grunt. Ning Bei remained motionless, showing no intention of dodging. He subtly turned his head, his voice slow and chilling. "That year, you were the one who killed my second uncle." No sooner had he finished speaking than he immediately spun around, his eyes as sharp as knives, staring directly at Qin Fengge without blinking. His voice was filled with resentment and contempt. "Want to claim credit with the Ning family? Yet you so cowardly stabbed my second uncle Ning Shangnan in the back." Without waiting for the other party's reaction, Ning Bei slowly raised his hand, each movement decisive and cold, like delivering a judgment. "Die." Immediately after, an invisible but terrifying surge of power erupted from Ning Bei's hand, striking Qin Fengge directly in the chest. He was immediately thrown far away, his whole body trembling slightly. In just a few seconds he lay motionless on the ground, his chest heaving heavily, blood slowly oozing from the wound, his eyes still wide with shock and fear. When everything was done, Ning Bei coldly turned and walked away. The Qin family head, still kneeling on the ground, suddenly burst into tears and panic. "War God. It's the Northern Frontier War God." As the Ning Bei family was about to drive away from the villa, a person rushed over, respectfully reporting, "Old Master, Madam, Young Master Su Qinghui has arrived." The whole family immediately got out of the car. Chanlan slowly pushed Hui Lan forward, his demeanor serious but not lacking in solemnity. He slowly spoke, "Qinghui is here?" He stepped forward, his face radiant with a polite smile, "And Qin, I brought some high-quality bird's nest for you." Hearing this, Chanlan slightly frowned, his voice deep and warm. "Why bring gifts? Why is this child so polite?" Qinghui maintained his respectful demeanor, gently bowing as he replied, "It's just what I should do." Hui Lan gave a faint smile, her eyes full of affection as she lowered her voice and asked, "Are you here to find Bayer today?" Qinghui said nothing. He stood tall, looking directly at Ning Bei. Seeing this, Hui Lan nodded and gently said, "Then you children talk. We'll go to our room first." Qinghui waved his hand in greeting, his voice gentle, "Aunt, uncle, take your time." At this moment, both of them were in the villa. Ning Bei slowly extended his hand towards the chair beside him, his voice calm, "Sit down. Is the Su family facing some difficulties?" Qinghui slowly sat down in the chair, his voice filled with worry. "Although the Su family is not as good as before, it's not to the point where we need outside help. I can handle it myself. Moreover, your Ning family isn't much better off than our Su family." Hearing this, Ning Bei held the teacup in his hand, lost in thought. This Su Qinghui still has some backbone. He's much stronger than those other Su family members. Suddenly, Qinghui unexpectedly pulled out a credit card from his pocket and slammed it onto the table. His voice became serious, devoid of the previous politeness. "This is 300 million. You can use it immediately to save your Ning family. The condition is to cancel the engagement between you and Qin He." Ning Bei subtly glanced at the credit card neatly placed on the table. His face suddenly darkened. He slammed his hand on the table and coldly said, "Show the guest out." As Ning Bei turned to leave, Qinghui immediately stood up, his eyes flashing with anger mixed with worry. "Ning Bei, I know you are an ancient martial artist. And very formidable. But the Northern Frontier is your scope of life. Do you know what Qing He likes?" He took a step forward, his voice slightly trembling but full of determination. "You know nothing about her. If Qin He marries you, she won't be happy." Ning Bei slightly turned his head and coldly said, "So you see this as a transaction?" No sooner had he finished speaking than he turned around and faced Qinghui, questioning him, "So you see this as a transaction?" Qinghui didn't hesitate and immediately said, "What else?" The marriage between the Ning and Su families was originally a transaction. Immediately after, a servant quickly spoke, "Young master, someone is here to see you." Ning Bei's face suddenly turned serious. He coldly said, "Let them in." A moment later, the sound of heels slowly entered. She quickly put her hand to her chest and respectfully greeted, "Lord Jinbei King." As soon as he heard that, Qinghui suddenly froze. He widened his eyes, a sense of doubt in his heart. "Jinbei King?" She smiled faintly and politely introduced herself. "I am Mu Wei, the Asia-Pacific Investment Director of PG Group." Pausing for a beat, she slowly lowered her hand, then continued, "I received an email from Chairman Xiao Si, bringing 10 billion US dollars to invest in Ning Corporation. When she finished speaking, Jing Hui, standing nearby, gasped in astonishment. Jiao Si? Asia Pacific Investment Director? 10 billion US dollars? Ning Bei simply extended his hand coldly, signaling, "Take her to my father to sign the contract." The servant immediately put his hand to his chest and carried out the order. "Yes, sir." Then Ning Bei slightly closed his eyes and frowned slightly, his voice calm but cold. "I have no interest in money. If I wanted it, naturally someone would offer hundreds of billions of US dollars to me with both hands." As he spoke, he turned and left, his voice coldly echoing behind him, "About the marriage arrangement decided by the elders, tell grandma to come talk to me." Hearing this, Jing Hui's face suddenly darkened. He clenched his hands in anger. The scene quickly shifts to Ning Bei's home. At this moment, he is sitting at his desk, holding a cup of tea, lost in thought. The Su family is not hesitating to pay a very high price to ask me to annul the engagement. It's definitely not for Qin He's benefit. What is their plan? Suddenly, a member of the Tianbei Tiger team appeared outside Ning Bei's room. He stood at attention, saluted, his voice firm, reporting. Ning Bei's face suddenly turned serious. He gripped the teacup in his hand and boldly asked, "Have you found out about the person who took the urns of second uncle and fourth uncle?" The subordinate immediately lowered his face and softly said, "The team leader told me to report that the ashes of those two people could not be found." No sooner had he finished speaking than the teacup in Ning Bei's hand was immediately crushed. He immediately knelt down, his voice trembling, trying to remain calm as he reported, "No clues for the urns were found, but a secret message came from the group in Luoqing, saying they found traces of fourth master Ning." Hearing this, Ning Bei's eyes immediately widened. In a flash, his gaze seemed to spark. He slammed his hand on the desk, cracking it, his voice a mix of anger and astonishment. "What? Fourth uncle is still alive?" The young man in front of him bowed low, his face pale, his voice trembling. "Yes, for now, only traces." Ning Bei immediately gestured, his voice becoming stern, informed the team in Luoqing to search with full force for fourth uncle's whereabouts. The young man didn't hesitate for a second. Immediately bowing low, his hand placed firmly over his chest, resolutely replying, "Understood." As he spoke, Ning Bei tried to regain his composure. He looked into the distance and wondered, "Fourth uncle, are you truly alive?" The sky was now clear, with white clouds floating gently. A car sped down a straight road. In the distance, the city's tall buildings emerged more clearly, soaring high against the clear blue sky. Ning Bei, inside the car, could no longer be patient. He frowned, urging, "Hurry up." Yuan Shan's face showed a hint of worry. He hastily replied, "Yes, sir." Suddenly, the cars in front piled up, horns blared incessantly, and the entire road quickly became chaotic, with cars bumper to bumper, stuck. Yuan Shan angrily honked the horn repeatedly, yelling loudly, "What's wrong?" A nearby driver turned to remind him, "Hey, brother, don't honk anymore, it's useless. I take this road every day, and it always takes 2 or 3 hours. No sooner had he finished speaking than Yuan Shan immediately leaned out to survey the situation. Ning Bei sat with his arms crossed, his gaze cold as he looked out the front window and gave a decisive order, "Send a helicopter here." Yuan Shan immediately replied quickly but respectfully, "There's one performing a mission nearby." Hearing this, Ning Bei showed no hesitation. He coldly said, "Tell them to come pick me up. I'll help them with their mission." Yuan Shan slightly turned his head and replied, "Yes, sir." A moment later, a helicopter appeared in the sky. A woman suddenly looked up in surprise. "What's going on?" The driver turned his head, confused. "Why is there a helicopter?" The helicopter door opened, and a crew member quickly bowed, dropping a rope ladder to the ground. Without hesitation, Ning Bei pushed the car door open and stepped out. He was calm, his eyes as cold as ice, as he slowly approached the rope ladder step by step. As soon as he latched onto the rope, the helicopter took off, soaring into the sky, leaving the bewildered onlookers below. The sky was still a deep blue, without a single cloud. The helicopter had now flown to a dense forest. A moment later, it slowly descended onto an open patch of ground nearby. Ning Bei slowly stepped down, his expression serious. "What's going on?" Shaolin looked at him curiously. "Who is that person?" No sooner had he finished speaking than Yuan Shan strode forward, his eyes turning sharp, his voice stern, echoing through the forest. "No need to evade, speak directly." Immediately after, Shaolin put his hand to his forehead, his expression instantly becoming serious, his voice clear. "Understood. We received a report to come here to check on someone missing in this area. The result was an attack by a beast." Yuan Shan stared at him doubtfully. "Shaolin, aren't you a primary martial artist? A normal beast shouldn't be able to injure you." The person beside him immediately spoke, his voice full of worry and seriousness. "Team leader, that beast is incredibly fierce. Its speed reaches 10 meters per second. This might be a warrior-level beast. We are no match for it." Hearing this, Yuan Shan immediately pointed and ordered, "Take the injured martial artists away. We will take over here." Ning Bei, standing beside him, swept his gaze across the forest, and then lowered his voice. I'm afraid it's too late to leave. We've been followed. Then he subtly glanced behind him. Both slowly moved towards a nearby bush. Shaolin suddenly frowned, his eyes tensed as if he had discovered something. His voice clearly rang out, "Look! Over there!" When the group approached the newly discovered location, they were astonished to find it empty, not a soul in sight. Shaolin immediately became flustered, looking around frantically and exclaiming, "Where did it go?" Another person panicked, "So fast. It's gone." Yuan Shan looked around, it must still be nearby. Linger angrily, her eyes blazing, stepped forward and shouted loudly, "Enough. Are your Long City organization members also useless?" The atmosphere immediately tensed. The young man beside her panicked, quickly grabbing her arm and whispering urgently, "Don't talk nonsense anymore." Linger still wouldn't stop. She pushed the young man's hand away, taking another step forward, her voice full of sarcasm, "Your Long City organization usually acts so formidable. Don't you? Why are you not like that now, huh?" Yuan Shan's face suddenly darkened. He then spoke, "Who is this?" A member of the Long City organization stepped forward, his voice deep but unable to hide his dissatisfaction. "She is Lu Linger, the granddaughter of Old Man Lu, a famous doctor in Zhongyuan. When she went to the mountains to gather herbs, she encountered that beast. Shaolin was injured trying to save her." The young man beside him showed an awkward expression. He quickly extended his hand apologetically. "Section Chief Shao, my sister doesn't understand things and has caused you trouble." Before he could finish, Lu Linger beside him immediately frowned and turned to her brother, snapping, "Who are you calling doesn't understand things?" Ning Bei subtly glanced at Shaolin, whose body was now taut, his face strained but still suppressing his anger. Then Ning Bei pointed at the basket beside Linger and coldly said, "In your medicine basket, there's 100-year-old medicine that can heal wounds." She immediately clutched the medicine basket with a wary look, her voice rising in defense, "What do you want to do?" "I found this medicine." Ning Bei seemed not to care about her at all. He subtly turned his head and glanced at Shaolin's severely injured arm. Without hesitation, Ning Bei's eyes became cold as ice. He growled each word clearly, "Get out." Linger glared, her face flushed with anger, her voice shrill. "What do you mean? Who are you telling to get out?" Ning Bei's face suddenly darkened. He glanced at her and coldly said, "Being unhappy with us is useless. You can leave on your own." Linger suddenly frowned, her arrogance now replaced by panic. Her voice trembled, "Here, isn't it too wild here? You people have to protect me." Yuan Shan calmly walked over. He extended his hand, his voice deep but resolute. "Our Long City organization's mission this time is to kill that beast, not to protect you all. Please leave." No sooner had he finished speaking than Linger suddenly bowed her head in silence, as if considering something amidst the unhappy gazes of those around her. Immediately after, Linger suddenly looked up, her eyes sharp and her eyebrows tightly furrowed. She screamed loudly, her voice full of anger and resentment. "You win! When I meet my father, I will definitely tell him to deal with you all." Yuan Shan clenched his hands, trying to suppress his anger. He coldly looked at her and said with murderous intent, "Old Man Lu has practiced medicine for many years. Having a descendant like you is truly a disgrace to the family." Linger's brother immediately raised his hands helplessly. "It's all your fault. Look, we've been driven away." She angrily crossed her arms and replied grumpily, "All right, brother, don't say any more." Yuan Shan hesitated slightly, a hint of worry in his eyes. He leaned closer and whispered to Ning Bei, "But no matter what, she's still Lu Sanjin's granddaughter. If that animal really—" Before he could finish his sentence, Ning Bei glanced over, his eyes sharp as a blade. A moment later, after they had gone deep into the forest, a black panther was slowly approaching Linger and her brother. Before the two could react, it streaked past like lightning, carrying a surge of murderous intent. Linger immediately fell to the ground, her face pale, devoid of any color. She panicked, retreating step by step, her voice trembling, almost crying, "Help! Help!" The fierce black panther was growling, approaching. Linger trembled in fear, frozen in place, not daring to move. Suddenly, the panther leaped forward towards her. Yuan Shan saw this and rushed over in panic. "It's not good." As the panther got closer and closer to Linger, it was about to raise its claws when it was struck through the head by an object. It turned out to be a leaf that flew and pierced through its head. It collapsed to the ground instantly. A man ran over and helped Linger, who was trembling. "Sit up, sister." Yuan Shan turned his head in astonishment. It turned out that the one who threw the leaf was, unexpectedly, Ning Bei. Shaolin was stunned in disbelief. Injured it by throwing a leaf? The person beside him also echoed, shouting loudly, "Warrior level! Warrior level!" When he was done, Ning Bei immediately turned and left, his mission completed. "Yuan Chu, come to Luoqing with me." The rest returned to the Long City organization. He quickly followed. "Understood, Commander." Shaolin asked in astonished confusion, "Commander? He's a commander? I wonder if he's Lu Gi or Guo Baifeng." The man beside him replied, "Either. Although I don't know him, but..." He intently watched Ning Bei's retreating back. Only one person can wear that gold-embroidered Qilin robe. That is the Supreme Commander who can transmit orders to the 5 commanders. The helicopter blades began to spin. It gradually rose from the ground. At Ning Bei's command base, a voice rang out. Yuan Shan, manipulating the screen in front of him, reported to him, Jinbei King, Ning Shangshang is still alive. This is a clue. On the screen, a man led an old bicycle, carrying a candy load down the street. He was a middle-aged man, his face a bit sad. Ning Bei excitedly jumped up in joy. It's 4th uncle. On a small, bustling street, Shangshang was still diligently pushing his candy-selling bicycle down the road. A woman smiled and greeted him. Ning Si, selling candied haws, are you? He happily replied, just earning a bit more money, supplementing the family's living expenses. Suddenly, she pressed him. Didn't you take that job my son introduced you to last time? You passed the interview, didn't you? Su Qin hastily explained. My old man Ning's health isn't good, Aunt Xiao. You don't need to worry about us. Aunt Xiao even approached, extended an envelope, and instructed, that's right, the child needs to pay tuition and various miscellaneous fees. This is what my husband told me to give you. Hearing this, Su Qin immediately extended her hand in refusal. How can this be? Shangshang looked hesitant. Aunt Zhao, we still haven't repaid the money we borrowed from you last time. But she still insisted on giving it to them, putting it directly into their hands here, no need to rush to repay it. Su Qin quickly urged her daughter, quickly, thank Auntie. The little girl smiled brightly and said, thank you, Auntie. Hearing this, Aunt Zhao chuckled and praised. Oh my, Guogua is so well behaved. But suddenly, from a distance, 3 thugs aggressively approached. You poor wretches, it's the end of the month again. Have you paid for my drinking money yet? The street vendor saw them approaching and immediately grew fearful. Brother Liang, drinking money. The bald man glanced at Shangshang walking by and immediately spoke. 4th Master Ning, where's the money? He reluctantly replied, Brother Liang, I just run a small business. I only earn a few coins a day. Before he could even finish speaking, the bald man deliberately approached and kicked the bicycle. The bicycle fell, lying scattered on the ground. The skewers of candy spilled everywhere. The bald man deliberately picked up a candy skewer and hit him on the head, ordering, stop complaining about being poor. 500 coins for drinking money, not a single cent less. Seeing such a scene, Guogua immediately ran over. She pushed him and cursed, you're not allowed to bully my dad. He showed no mercy, pushing Guogua to the ground. Brat, get out of the way. Su Qin immediately ran over. Guogua. She hugged her daughter and comforted her. Guogua, be good. Guogua, don't cry. The little girl cried aggrievedly. Why are they bullying Dad? Hearing his daughter sobbing like that, Shangshang stood silently, his hands clenched in distress. At the same time, a subordinate suddenly saw an envelope fall to the ground. Brother Liang, money! The bald man angrily shouted, damn it, you have money and dared to hide it? Beat them for me. Shangshang saw the situation was not good, so he turned back and urged Su Qin, Xiao Qin, take Guogua inside. He provocatively sneered, 4th Master Ning, what's wrong? Want to fight this old man? But Shangshang's moves were so fast. He lunged forward and twisted the bald man's arm behind his back. He staggered and had to retreat. Immediately, the bald man cried out in pain, my arm. He angrily recounted, you can bully me. I, Ning Shangshang, am a cripple. That year, I couldn't protect my sister-in-law, and even more so, I couldn't protect Bayer. I am useless. Shangshang shouted loudly, challenging them. Now, Xiao Qin and Guogua have endured suffering for over 10 years because of me. You bully her mother and daughter, that's just asking for death. The 2 accomplices, hearing this, not only showed no fear but even picked up their weapons and rushed forward. Stop talking nonsense. Go die. But they didn't know their own strength. One was punched in the stomach. The other was elbowed in the face by him until it turned blue. The 2 fell to the ground in pain. Seeing that he was not easy to deal with, all 3 of them tucked tail and ran away. 4th Master Ning, you just wait. They hadn't left long before Shangshang coughed up blood. Fortunately, the vendor next to him quickly caught him. Su Qin and Guogua cried and rushed over. 4th brother. Dad. The other person urged, quickly call an ambulance. Carry 4th Master Ning into the room. The mother and daughter were constantly afraid. 4th brother, are you alright? Dad. But unexpectedly, 2 men in black were approaching shortly after. Shangshang worriedly quickly told the mother and daughter to hide. Xiao Qin, take Guogua and run. Aunt Zhao saw this and said in confusion, Old Ning, what are you doing? If they are bad people, we can call the police. He frowned and explained, Aunt Zhao, there are some things the police can't solve. Go home quickly. They are not local thugs. They will kill people. Then Shangshang struggled to walk towards the 2 men in black. Ning Fuguang's methods are truly terrifying. He can even order the special action team to hunt me down. Today, I, Ning Shangshang, will fight you to the death. Wang Long asked sternly, are you Ning Shangshang? He showed no fear and stated his name clearly. I am Ning Shangshang, the one who has been living in seclusion for 13 years, the one you want to kill. But when they heard this, Jing Hu and Wang Long both immediately bowed in greeting. Wang Long, head of the Huazhong, Central China, organization, and Jing Hu have met 4th Master Ning. Shang was confused, not understanding what was happening. You all, what do you mean? Wang Long then explained to him, receiving the commander's order, to find 4th Master Ning. Hearing this, he no longer struggled, his face turned pale, and he could barely stand. So, it wasn't Ning Fuguang's people. Jing Hu supported Shang and loudly called out, 4th Master Ning. Wang Long also didn't hesitate to order, quickly, find all the famous doctors in Luoqing and bring them here. A moment later, the doctors were deployed. They didn't hesitate to go straight to his bedside. A doctor spoke, heart pulse stopped, old illness recurred. We have done our best. Chen Hu angrily shouted, you couldn't save him? I'll see to it that you all pay. Yan Long quickly intervened, Chen Hu, don't say that. However, the doctor showed no fear and frankly replied, do you think I don't want to cure him? Do you think threatening me will work? Even if you chop me into pieces now, that dead person won't come back to life. Hearing this, he flared up but could do nothing. You. Then the old master of traditional Chinese medicine beside him approached. After a moment of contemplation, he stroked his beard and scoffed at the doctor. Don't blame the young man for getting angry. You'll be executed wherever you go. Then he said to his disciple behind him, grandson, bring my acupuncture needles here. At the same time, Ning Bei had also arrived at Shang's home. Yan Long reported to him, Mr. Lu San is performing acupuncture. Inside, the old master was still focused on treating him. He was seen raising his hand to practice Qigong. Then he pressed his hand firmly between his eyebrows. Shortly after, Shang unexpectedly woke up, shaking his head vigorously. He stammered, thank you, old man Lu, for saving my life. But the old master announced, don't thank me. Actually, I'm helpless with your old injury. I'm just prolonging your life. His face was serious. You only have 3 days. This is my limit. Your body, even immortals would have difficulty saving. At the same time, Qing Hu quickly shouted loudly, Qing Hu greets the overall team leader. Shang squinted his eyes, wondering, you are. He approached and gently replied, 4th uncle, it's me. He trembled with emotion, you are. Bayer. Unable to contain themselves, they both joyfully embraced each other, 4th uncle. Bayer. Shang's eyes welled up with tears, Bayer you are. Ning Bei replied, 4th uncle, I'll explain to you later. First, let's heal your injury. Hearing this, the old master unexpectedly repeated, heal? Didn't you hear what I said? My unique 3-needle technique can only sustain his life for 3 days. Ning Bei glared mockingly, originally, I wanted to see the skill of Lu Sanjun, but it seems. As he spoke, he pressed an acupuncture point on Shang's body, it's only this much. Then he raised his hand and took out a few acupuncture needles from behind. Ning Bei frowned and boldly declared, my people, even Yama, king of hell, dares not touch. The old master was surprised, imperial physician level. So it's you. And the other doctor watched, his mouth agape, controlling needles with air. The acupuncture needles floated to his side. He flicked his hand gently, and they immediately plunged into his body. The old master of traditional Chinese medicine hastily questioned, Ghost Gate 7 needles, reversing the heart. Who exactly are you? Ning Bei turned his head and instructed, 4th uncle, the silver needle is still in your body. Take it out after 7 days. There should be no more problems. Feeling refreshed, Shang nodded obediently, okay. When he was done, he put on his cloak and coldly walked away. The old master recognized him and stammered in fear, gold-embroidered Shilin robe. Northern Liang Army Commander. He's the Jinbei King. Su Qin outside saw Ning Bei come out and quickly asked, how is the situation? He gently replied, 4th uncle is fine now. Let him rest a bit. Then Ning Bei knelt beside the little girl, Guogua, do you know me? Su Qin gently introduced him to her daughter, Guogua, quick, call him Big Brother. This is Big Brother Ning Bei. The little girl timidly recounted, Big Brother Ning Bei, but Dad said you went to a very faraway place. Guogua knows, he already died. He then explained to Guogua, I'm not dead yet. It's true I came from a very faraway place. What happened to Guogua's face? The little girl cried aggrievedly, that bad bald man hit me. He hit my dad too. Ning Bei angrily ordered Yuan Shan, find him and kill him. Understood. At the same time, the bald man's accomplices from earlier dragged people along for revenge. Where did all these doctors come from? Liang Zi, whoever injured you today. I'll cripple both of their arms to avenge you. Upon arriving, he immediately pointed, it's him. Ning Bei took off his cloak. He then intentionally used the cloak to cover the eyes of Guogua and her mother. Ning Bei approached, drawing his sword. With a single stroke, he easily chopped off the bald man's remaining arm. Then he angrily shouted, who's next? The leader's face turned pale, but he still spoke defiantly, so what? I'm from the Futa Society. Yuan Shan slapped him hard across the face and cursed, what nonsense are you talking about? I don't care where you're from. Ning Bei immediately ordered, Xiao Yuan Shan. he coldly said, crippled them all. Without further ado, Yuan Shan accepted the order, understood. A moment later, Ning Bei's people stood in line waiting to greet them. Chen Hu carefully helped Shang into the car. And Zhao rejoiced. I always knew old Ning's family wasn't simple. I never expected them to be so formidable. The man also shared in the joy, sighing, it seems fourth master Ning is finally out of his misery. He must have been hiding from enemies before. Unexpectedly, Ning Bei's subordinate approached, handed over a paper bag, and said, this is the money fourth master Ning owes you, auntie. Aunt Zhao was surprised and stammered, this, no. He then held out an entire suitcase. This is a gift of gratitude from the commander. Aunt Zhao was so astonished she couldn't believe it. Others rejoiced. Good people are rewarded. It's not in vain that she took care of fourth master Ning's family all this time. In the luxurious car now, Guogua looked intently at him and asked, are you really big brother Ning Bei? Ning Bei chuckled and replied, absolutely real. Shang then began to recount. When I was stabbed through the chest with a sword, they all thought I would die, but they didn't know that my heart was naturally on the left side. He then turned to his wife and looked at her affectionately. Su Qin secretly saved me. We've been hiding here for 13 years, not even daring to contact our family. It's all my fault for implicating you. She just smiled, this was my choice. Why say these things now? Ning Bei excitedly suggested, fourth uncle, restore your original name. When I was little, I even idolized you. Seeing him eagerly recount, at that time, fourth uncle was young and impetuous, full of grandeur and elegance, overwhelming all the young generations of both civil and military power in Long City. Shang awkwardly evaded, that was a long time ago. Why bring up those things again? Then he became agitated and declared, but I agreed with you. Returning to the Ning family means abandoning the name Ning Si and reclaiming my original name, Ning Shang, Ning Bei's private residence. Qin He had been waiting outside the door for some time. Seeing him return, she immediately scolded angrily, Ning Bei, you big liar. You said you'd pick me up, but I ended up waiting alone for half an hour. He got out and soothed her, oh no, I forgot. Su Qin also got out and happily asked Qin He, do you remember me? Qin He looked closely, you are. Then she suddenly remembered, your auntie. Changlan hastily ran to the gate, calling out loudly, fourth brother. Everyone reunited, overcome with emotion. Uncle. Qin He. Fourth brother. Big brother. Qin He took Su Qin's hand and pulled her inside, just in time. Grandma's here too. Quickly, go inside and meet her. Inside the villa, Su Qin hastily ran over and loudly called out, old madam. Mother. She happily embraced her, bursting into tears, you foolish child. Why didn't you contact the family for so long? Mother thought that. Ning Bei and Qin He stood outside, witnessing the scene. Evening at the Ning family villa compound. Ning Bei then explained to Qin He, I'm sorry I couldn't pick you up this afternoon. I'll make it up to you. What do you want to do? Perhaps I can help you achieve it. She just gently replied, no need to apologize. After meeting her, I knew you were busy. Qin He smiled brightly, teasing, but the wish is still needed. Can't let it go to waste. He turned to look at her, tell me. But Qin He smiled and secretly wished, first wish, I hope grandma and auntie will be safe from now on. Ning Bei confidently replied, with me here, that's obvious. Qin He closed her eyes and clasped her hands, second wish, I hope the Su Corporation's capital mobilization goes smoothly, so you can finally breathe a sigh of relief. He looked serious, the Su Corporation is mobilizing capital? She immediately worried, it's been 3 months already. My eldest brother said progress is slow, and their conditions are too strict. Ning Bei added, after the capital mobilization, the Ning and Su families will jointly take over the new urban development project in Long City. But Qin He showed a disappointed expression and replied, it's not as easy as you say. Putting that aside, she continued to wish, my third wish is. Ning Bei frowned, a little attentive. He secretly thought, the wish isn't to break off the engagement, is it? After all, ever since I met her. Qin He actually wished, my last small wish is to hope that someone who has never been to school can enroll in Kaifeng University and complete the program in 4 years. She glanced at him with anticipation. Ning Bei could only explain, actually, a diploma from Beiliang Military Academy is much more valuable than one from Kaifeng University. Qin He felt a little uneasy after hearing this. But no one has ever heard of Beiliang Military Academy. Will other companies recognize your degree when you look for a job later? He chuckled. She suddenly remembered, lightly tapping her head and chiding herself, that's right, you're the eldest son of the Ning family. You'll take over Ning Corporation later. It seems you don't need academics. Ning Bei turned and gently stroked Qin He's head, soothing her, don't worry anymore. If I said I can fulfill your wish, I won't break my promise. Then he immediately promised Qin He, I will get a diploma from Kaifeng University. The night was quiet. Suddenly, an astonished shout rang out, the Shi family is here for a visit. Shang came forward to greet him, Chairman, visiting late at night, I apologize for not being able to greet you from afar. Shi Qianzhi led Shi Jingxian, his hands behind his back in anger. Ning Shangshang, I don't care who won or lost in your Ning family's internal struggle. This is your family affair. He ignored the intervention and walked straight in. But your son, he's truly despicable. Madame Su spoke. Old Shi, my Su family's son-in-law, Xiao Bei, did he provoke your Shi family? Qianzhi immediately bowed. Old aunt, you're here too? Then he turned to his son, Jing Xian, come here. Let your grandma Su preside for you and see how Ning family's eldest son harmed you. Changlan spoke to mediate. Minor skin injuries are not a concern. But Qianzhi grew even angrier. Is this what you call a minor injury? He suddenly recognized Ning Bei's father. You are fourth master Ning. He had no intention of hiding it. Brother Shi, long time no see. Qianzhi was surprised. Didn't he die long ago? How can this be? Something's not right with the Ning family lately. Finally, he stopped thinking and pointed at Jingshuan's bandaged arm. In any case, you've beaten my son into this state. If your Ning family doesn't give us an explanation today, you won't get away with it. Changlan was not a soft persimmon to be squeezed by others. What kind of answer does your Shi family want? Qianzhi sat down contentedly. Simple. Bring Ning Bei here. Let him kneel and apologize to Jing Xian. Then this matter can be overlooked. Someone suddenly stepped forward. Qin He walked in boldly. It was Shi Jing Xian who bullied Ning Bei first. Ning Bei followed behind. Madame Su immediately spoke. No manners at all. Stand down. It's not your place to speak here. Then she turned to advise Ning Bei. Alright, Bear, it wasn't right for you to strike someone so heavily. Go apologize to him. Qianzhi immediately changed his tone. Apologize? Ning Bei must kneel and apologize. Otherwise, I'm afraid the Ning family won't be able to bear the consequences later. Ning Bei sighed. Grandma, but don't be too biased towards the Shi family. Qianzhi angrily stood up. What the hell? Biased towards us? Madame Su explained. Their Shi family's grandpa is my sworn brother. No matter what happens tonight, you must give me face and let the Shi family off. He looked at him. You want me to kneel and apologize, right? Ning Bei sneered. I'm afraid your Shi family can't bear this kneel. Qianzhi scoffed. If you dare to kneel, our Shi family dares to accept it. Hearing this, he turned around. Suddenly, Madame Su stood up abruptly. Don't kneel. An old man ran in from outside and loudly stopped him. You can't kneel. He was angry. Can't kneel, can't kneel. Qianzhi immediately asked in confusion. Dad, what are you doing here? The old man slapped him. Rebellious son. Kneel. Qianzhi didn't understand what was happening. Dad? He slammed his cane down on the floor and repeated, kneel. He didn't dare to disobey and had to comply. The old man also knelt down and loudly shouted, Shi family of Long City, respectfully greets Commander Ning. Madame Su hastily stood up. Third brother, what are you doing? With me here, I will protect the old and young of the Shi family no matter what. Qianzhi and his son gasped in astonishment. Commander? Ning Bei was satisfied. I told you, my kneel, your Shi family cannot bear it. He coldly ordered, in 10 seconds, disappear from my sight. The old man clasped his hands. Thank you, Commander, for overlooking this. Then he led his son and grandson away. Go. Madame Su sighed. Alright, this old woman should also go home. Su Qin came forward to support her. Mother, I'll see you off. Shangshang was curious. Bear, what did you provoke the Shi family about? Ning Bei explained. It was the Shi family who provoked me. Perhaps Shi Jingxian is pursuing Qin He. There was a small conflict today outside Kaifeng University. He wondered. Bear, you've been in the northern frontier for 13 years. You must have accomplished many great deeds. He humbly replied. Protecting the border, resisting external enemies, guarding the frontier. These are all duties and responsibilities. They cannot be considered achievements. The next morning, Ning Bei was meditating. Qin He loudly called him. Ning the fraud, come down here. Ning Bei opened his eyes. Then he jumped down in front of her. Qin He asked, do you still remember what you agreed to yesterday? Ning Bei happily replied, of course, I remember. I won't break my promise to you. Then the two left, encountering Changlan. Dad, I'm going out for a bit. I know. He smoothed out the wrinkles on Ning Bei's clothes, instructing, you grew up in the military camp since you were little. Your mother worries you won't adapt to social life. So she asked Qin He to take you to Kaifeng University for a few days to get used to it. Ning Bei hesitated. Is that mother's idea? Qin He happily said, I'm the designated person. Ning Bei smiled, looking at her. The two left the Ning family for another place. Outside the university gate, people came and went endlessly. Qin He walked and said, let's go. First, I'll take you, the special transfer student, to the principal's office to report. They went to the reception desk, but the person there announced, the principal isn't here. If you want to meet the principal, you need to make an appointment. Qin He annoyedly pulled out her phone. This is so troublesome. Never mind, I'll call him. Opening her phone, the screen actually showed a photo of Ning Bei. He chuckled happily. Qin He, feeling guilty, what are you looking at? Ning Bei smiled, nothing. Call him quickly. After waiting for a long time, there was no response. No answer. That rotten old man must have drunk too much again. Ning Bei noticed the picture behind her. He wondered, so it was him? Ningbei said, let me call him. Qin He was surprised. You know Principal's son? The phone connected. The other person was surprised. Who is this? This is a top secret hotline. Where did you get this number? Ningbei briefly introduced himself. It's me. The other end immediately recognized him. And Northern King, Your Excellency. The person was awkward. Lord Ningbei, do you have any instructions? He asked directly. Bailiang Military Academy once invited a teacher named Kong Jing, right? The other side replied very quickly, yes, that's right. After that, he was forced to resign because of complaints about poor teaching quality. Not as good as the two teachers Kong Ling and Su Yuan. Ningbei ordered, find him. Tell him to call me back. Qin He was curious. Did Professor Kong Ling and Professor Su Yuan ever teach you? Ningbei explained, I attended their classes, so I guess you could say I studied there. She pouted, you're lying again. Do you know how good those two professors are? Qin He began to list. One is the Dean of the Chinese Medical Academy, and the other is a nuclear physicist who won a Nobel Prize. Ningbei chuckled, you still don't understand Bailiang Military Academy. That's not a place for martial arts training. Do you see any illiterate generals? Suddenly, the phone rang. Ningbei answered, hello? The other side immediately apologized, I'm so sorry, I was in a meeting just now. May I ask? He calmly asked, Teacher Kong, I'm Ningbei. Qin He and I are outside the principal's office. Would you mind coming over for a moment? Kong Ling stood up in surprise. Qin He? She said last night that someone wanted to enroll. Could it be you? He hastily left the room amidst everyone's astonishment. I'll be right there. A moment later, Kong Ling indeed arrived. He warmly greeted the two. Quick, come on in. Qin He introduced. He's the one I told you about last night, Ningbei. Kong Ling was delighted. I know, teacher. We met 5 years ago. Ningbei spoke. Allow me to formally introduce myself. I am Ningbei, the son of the Ning family, born in Long City. Kong Ling was surprised. You're from our Long City? I never heard you mention this when you were at Bailiang Military Academy. Qin He happily said, if you're already acquainted then please help him with the enrollment procedures. He immediately refused. Enrollment? This is not possible. She was disappointed. Why? 953. Kong Ling explained, with young Master Ning's talent, being a student would be a waste of talent. I've decided to invite you to be an honorary department head to teach students. Ningbei said to him, I can't guarantee I'll be able to come to school every day. Kong Ling turned around and took out a box. Don't rush to refuse. Do you think this item would suffice as salary? Qin He was curious. Diamonds? Ningbei corrected, no, it's spirit stone. He held the stone and explained, Tang Dynasty is also known as the land of martial arts. This is what martial artists need in their daily practice. Unfortunately, the inheritance of ancient martial arts has been almost cut off, and spirit stones cannot be found in large quantities, only decaying spiritual herbs. Kong Ling proposed a condition, come to Kaifeng University as department head, 1 stone per month. How about it? Ningbei was curious, you have so many spirit stones in reserve? He shook his head, I only have 1, but don't worry, I can find other places to give it to you. He held up 3 fingers, 3 stones a month, and I'll meet your request. Kong Ling immediately rejoiced, acceptable. Qin He was confused, where did they go? Ningbei replied, they said they went to find more spirit stones for me. A few people stepped forward. The group consisted entirely of influential figures in the scientific community. They casually closed the door. The group spoke up and questioned, is that him? Such a young person? Did you ask him to teach students? Kong Ling happily introduced, oldly, do you still remember Professor Yan's anti-gravity theory published in global academic journals? The one called oldly adjusted his glasses, tartly replying, of course I know. That scientific report pushed the progress of global anti-gravity research for 10 years. But what does that have to do with him? Kong Ling spoke, that scientific report was written by Ningbei. Professor Li was immediately surprised, this is impossible. How could Professor Yan steal someone else's achievements? Ningbei clarified, what I authorized is not considered stealing. He still couldn't believe it, then tell me what was written in that paper. He showed no fear, industrial anti-gravity technology. The group immediately fell silent. Ningbei turned and left, my time is limited. I won't chat with you anymore. Professor Li suddenly spoke, stopping him, Mr. Ning, wait. I have something too. Ningbei looked in surprise at the spirit stone in his hand. The others also pulled them out, we have them too. Ningbei was surprised, teachers, everyone has them? Professor Li explained, 10 years ago, Old Chen went to survey Mount Kaifeng and picked it up there. He thought it was a diamond, but after testing, the composition wasn't right. He said he gave us a few, and when Old Kong said you needed this, I brought it here. The others also clamored for credit, that's right, I have some too. Ningbei looked serious. Where on Mount Kaifeng was it found? Professor Li replied, you'll have to ask Old Chen about that. Ningbei then asked, where is Professor Chen now? Kong Ling frowned, he died long ago. Ningbei pondered, so no one knows where that mineral vein is? He turned and said to everyone, as a department-level instructor, I am fully qualified to evaluate professors. I will personally handle this matter. Professor Lee spoke. Are you joking? Based solely on this anti-gravity scientific report, it wouldn't be difficult for young Master Ning to be ranked as a doctor. The person behind him also said, Mr. Ning, department-level instructors usually choose to guide students, taking charge of a large scientific research project. What do you think? Professor Lee interjected. He must come to us. The main research direction of our scientific research laboratory is the Industrial Anti-Gravity Project. Ning Bei wasn't in a hurry to decide. Let's talk about it later. I want to understand more about this type of stone. The person recounted. That year, Old Chin and Old Wang went to survey Mount Kaifeng, but most of us don't know. Currently, either of them is alive. He asked more specifically, how many days did they spend on Mount Kaifeng then? Kong Ling continued, about 10 days. They didn't bring much food, and they were gone for a total of 10 days. Ning Bei pondered. Within 10 days, those two couldn't have walked too far in the Mount Kaifeng area. The scope of their activity must have been within a 100-mile radius. He happily continued to ask, the Spirit Stone mine in that area? After a period of inquiry, the two left. Qin he wondered, Ning Bei, where are you going next? Ning Bei replied, home. With this, mother might be able to stand up. She stopped, watching his retreating back. Qin he was disappointed. It seems hopeless to get him to go to school. In another place, Ning Bei was walking down the street when he suddenly saw a large crowd gathered. Two people were arguing. Ambulances are so great, huh? Pay for my car. The person being scolded wasn't backing down. You drove drunk and hit someone. The fat man angrily slapped him. So what if I hit you? Do you know who I am? I'm Du Hao. The crowd stirred. It's the Du family. Don't provoke him. The girl sitting on the ground cried, please save my grandfather. My brother just returned from the northern frontier. He's been there for 10 years. This time he came back to see Grandpa. Then she tried to shake her grandfather, who was lying motionless on the ground. Grandpa tried to hold on. Didn't you say you wanted to see him? Ning Bei pushed through the onlookers and walked in. He said to Du Hao, let go. I'll spare your life. He angrily cursed, you. Who are you threatening? How dare you threaten me? Ning Bei didn't react to Du Hao. He turned and walked away. But the man pulled out a knife. Then he ran towards Ning Bei with the knife. You little brat. He gently waved his hand. Du Hao immediately screamed, my hand. Ning Bei walked towards the two paramedics who were transporting a person. He touched the person's neck and said, this person can't be saved anymore. Then he said to the struggling girl sitting on the ground, your brother is in the northern frontier. She sobbed, yes. Can you save my grandfather? Ning Bei placed his hand under the old man's nose to check. Don't worry, the old man is not in serious danger. It's a minor illness, easily treatable. The girl was stunned, huh? But 6 months ago, the doctor announced his condition was critical. It's already a miracle that Grandpa is still alive today. I thought that. From a distance, another ambulance appeared. A figure ran over. Old Xiao, how is he? The girl rejoiced. Uncle Jing. The person in the doctor's coat spoke, reassuring her, Yiren, it's all right. Don't cry anymore. Someone, quickly come here and take old Xiao to the hospital. Ning Bei stepped forward to stop him. The patient is in critical condition. He cannot be moved at this moment. The other party asked, who are you? He didn't answer, just extended his hand. Give me your acupuncture needles. Though confused, the other person complied. How did you know I carry acupuncture needles? Ning Bei took the acupuncture needles and immediately burned them with fire. Ning Bei skillfully threw the needles onto the man lying on the street. The nearby doctor was surprised. Controlling needles with energy? National physician level. The older man immediately moved slightly. Ning Bei took out another spirit stone. Then he transferred energy into the old man. The man quickly opened his eyes. Ning Bei instructed, today, I have extended your life by 1 year. If you nurse your body well, you can live for another 3 years. Then he turned and left. The old man quickly stopped him. Little divine doctor, please stop. Du Hao still hadn't forgotten what happened earlier. Leave your name. I'll settle this debt later. Ning Bei looked at him coldly. He again waved his hand a few times. Du Hao immediately fell to the street. The crowd was silent in fear. The old man from earlier said to Ning Bei, little divine doctor, don't worry. I will help you handle this matter properly. Then he approached and handed him a business card. This is my business card. If you encounter any difficulties in Long City, you can come find me. Yiren, standing nearby, rejoiced, big brother, thank you. Ning Bei smiled, no need to thank me. What is your brother's name? Yiren happily replied, my brother's name is Jiao Dong. He mumbled a name, Dong Dujiling, Jiao Dong. She was surprised, you know my brother? Ning Bei praised, your brother is a hero, serving as the commander of the Beilang Army Corps, in charge of 100,000 elite troops, conferred the title of Dong Dujiling. With outstanding military achievements. The two were overjoyed to hear this. Yiren quickly asked, big brother, what is your name? Ning Bei waved his hand, Ning Bei. If you have any trouble in the future, just come to the Ning family to find me. The two grandfather and granddaughter happily watched him leave. Back at the Ning family, Ningbei helped Xiaolan stand up. She was overjoyed. Bear, mother can walk now. Ningbei smiled faintly. 7 spirit stones spent was well worth it. Mu Shi walked in to congratulate Huilan. Congratulations, Aunt Qin, on your recovery. Mu Shi, you're here. Please sit down quickly. Mu Shi quickly reported, Lord Jinbei King, the group's $10 billion have been transferred to Ning Corporation's account. Ningbei immediately arranged, you go to Ning Corporation to assist in establishing a subsidiary company, and then go to Mount Kaifeng to conduct a geological survey. Yes, sir. She left quickly. Huilan was confused. Bear, why are you establishing a geological survey company? Ningbei mysteriously said, to find something. Soon it was nighttime. Qin He opened the door and walked in. Ningbei, why are you still sitting there in a daze? Hurry up and change your clothes, then come with me. Ningbei asked, going to Tang Yusin's birthday party? Qin He pouted, you know and you still ask? I just saw Aunt Qin, and she agreed anyway. You figure it out yourself. She moved closer and cajoled, just help me out, okay? Come with me. Ningbei gave a wry smile. I don't like such noisy places. Qin He immediately shouted, Aunt Qin. Huilan quickly walked in. She advised Ningbei, Bear, Qin He came here herself to invite you. If you don't go, how will Qin He explain it to her friends? Being forced by the two of them, he clutched his head in distress. Life in Beijing was still more peaceful. After Ningbei finished dressing, he went to take down the sword hanging on the wall. Qin He was speechless. Ningbei, I really admire you. Tonight is Yusin's birthday party. What are you bringing a sword for? He didn't answer her, only focused on examining the sword. Then he put it back in its original place. Ningbei waved his hand, forget the suit and all that. Let me dress comfortably. The evening was quiet. A car sped along the road. Qin He glanced at Ningbei sitting next to her, secretly sighing, this guy is really stubborn. The car quickly stopped. Qin He and Ningbei walked inside, where many people were already dancing. Yusin happily waved, Qin He, over here. She walked over and chided, you've already had this much to drink? You didn't even wait for me. Someone curious asked Qin He, who is he? Yusin introduced, of course, he's her childhood fiancé. Everyone immediately burst into laughter. Qin He scolded, don't laugh. A young man held up a glass of water, Ningbei, my name is Tang Jingyun. Thank you for coming to support my sister. No more talk, let's have a drink. Yusin rushed over to correct him, Tang Jingyun, stop talking nonsense. Clearly, I'm the older sister, you're the younger brother. Qin He whispered to Ningbei, these two are twin siblings. Yusin was born 15 minutes before Jingyun. He raised his hand to refuse, I'm under a drinking ban. Jingyun was very relaxed, it's fine, soda is the same. The others complained, everyone is drinking, and you're drinking soda? That's such a mood killer. That's right, today is Yusin's birthday party, not drinking is disrespectful. Jingyun turned his head and scolded, you too, stop causing trouble. Qin He tried to mediate, it's okay, I'll drink a glass for you. Today is Yusin's birthday. But Ningbei held her hand. The crowd didn't stop, you even let a girl drink for you? Ningbei, are you still a man? One of them taunted, the son abandoned by the Ning family, who was expelled like a stray dog that year. Jingyun angrily slammed the table, you, surname sure, stop making trouble for no reason. Today is my sister's birthday. Anyone who dares to make noise, I'll kill them. Yusin approached to appease him, alright, Jingyun, don't be like that. Ningbei suddenly snatched the wine glass from Qin He's hand. What are you doing? He smiled at her, in front of Grandma, I promise to protect you for life. How can I let you do such a small thing as drinking for me? Qin He worried, but the ban. But Ningbei had already chugged the glass of wine. He said cheerfully, anyway, between my ban and my promise, I have to violate one of them. Qin He was deeply moved. Jingyun stepped forward, awesome, brother Ning, since you've already broken the rule, let's toast a glass. Ningbei also didn't stand on ceremony, okay. Yusin pulled Qin He away, come on, let the boys drink. Let's go dance. She couldn't refuse and followed her. Someone happily walked over, drinking without inviting me? Jingyun scolded, brother Yusan, you came back without saying anything. He smiled, it's Yusin's birthday, of course I have to come celebrate. Jingyun sat in the middle and took the responsibility of introducing, let me introduce you. Brother Yufeng, this is Ningbei. I'm sure you've heard of him. Yufeng raised his glass, I've heard of him. Let's drink first. Ningbei suddenly blurted out, with internal injuries, you should drink less alcohol. Yufeng looked at him with interest, you know medicine too? Jingyun worried, third brother, is he right? How did you get injured? He said sadly, don't mention it. I'm a border guard from the Longqing Special Operations Team. To prepare for war games, I don't know where the captain invited that monster from. Yufeng rubbed his brows, I couldn't even last 10 moves against that guy. Jingyun was puzzled, warrior level? Ningbei analyzed, the person who injured you probably hasn't reached the warrior level, otherwise your injuries wouldn't be so light. Yufeng was surprised, brother Ning, are you also a martial artist? Ningbei didn't object, something like that, just like you guys. He cupped his hands respectfully, I was disrespectful. At that time, I thought you didn't understand ancient martial arts. But Brother Ning, can you tell a person's strength with just one glance? Ning Bei replied this. But then he was drawn to something else. In the distance, Yusin and Qin He were being bothered by a stranger. Two beauties, care to dance with me? Yusin timidly hid behind her. Qin He politely refused. Thank you, we're not dancing. The guy didn't stop. Alright, no dancing then. But at least show some respect and have a drink with me. Yusin readily accepted, no problem. Qin He exclaimed, Yusin. He handed her another glass. Here, this one's for you. Qin He had no choice but to reach out her hand. However, as soon as she grabbed it, someone else snatched it away. Ning Bei held the two girls' drinks, standing in front of them. Drunk Yusin shouted, Stupid Ning Bei, give me back my drink. Qin He wondered, what are you doing? Jingyun also quickly ran over. Brother Ning, what's wrong? Ning Bei handed him the two drinks. Take these. Then he waved his hand, and the blonde guy immediately fell over. Jingyun examined the drinks and was surprised. There's medicine in the drinks. Yufeng, standing nearby, couldn't help but get angry. Kid, I think you're tired of living. Security had arrived by now. What's going on? Disperse, disperse, what happened? Jingyun grabbed the blonde guy by the collar and ordered the security guards, go call Du Yuan here for me. The guard didn't dare to offend anyone and could only ask for names first. May I ask who these young masters are? He answered loudly, the Tang family, Tang Jingyun. The security guards immediately gaped. After waiting for a while, someone quickly walked over. What wind brings young Master Tang to this place? Jingyun angrily threw the drink. My sister was almost drugged here. The security guard quickly shouted, General Manager Du. Du Yuan raised his hand. It's fine. He ordered the security, take that guy away, break both his arms. Yes. The blonde guy cried, Boss Du, don't. I know I was wrong. Then Du Yuan turned to Fan, Young Master Tang, is this acceptable? Yusin said, I'm tired of dancing. Is there a private room upstairs for singing? I'll arrange it immediately. Everyone quickly left. However, Ning Bei paid a little attention to Du Yuan's attitude. He glanced at him. Du Yuan saw them leave and immediately changed his attitude. Keep an eye on that kid. He's the one who injured Hao. The secretary behind him said, how about we arrest him right now? He scolded, nonsense. That kid Yufeng and the Shi family's descendants are all here. We can't provoke people from those big families. Wait until their party ends. Then secretly take him away. Yes. Ning Bei's group quickly went upstairs. The staff warmly led the way for them. Jingyu noticed Yufeng's slightly strange attitude. Third brother, what's wrong? Ning Bei explained, someone is watching. A security guard heard it and quickly hid behind the wall. Everyone entered the room. Jingyun was furious. Someone dares to watch me in this place? Ning Bei reassured him, don't mind them, their target isn't you. Yufeng was curious. Brother Ning, you still haven't told me how you knew the person who injured me wasn't a warrior level. Ning Bei didn't hide it. A martial artist who reaches the warrior level has a very clear characteristic. They need to comprehend Mingjing by themselves. He vaguely understood, which means if I was truly injured by Mingjing, I would have been bedridden long ago and unable to get up. Understood. Yusin happily called out, what are you all talking about? Let's sing. The people who disliked Ning Bei saw this and provoked him. Ning Bei, sing a song. Show some respect to our young Miss Tang. The guy sitting next to him taunted. Young master, sure. He not only disrespects Yusin but it seems he disrespects you too. These two, one setting up and the other responding, disdain Ning Bei, a child discarded by the Ning family, thinking he's some important figure. There's a saying that a discarded child is worse than a dog. Immediately he got a kick. Jingyun angrily cursed, you like to talk nonsense. If you're not drinking, get out. The person surnamed Shi, being from a wealthy family, immediately cursed back, Tang Jingyun, just for a piece of trash, you're not afraid of offending me? Jingyun scorned, you think too highly of yourself? You're just a rich kid. If I cripple you today, nothing will happen. He angrily stood up, aren't you just a beginner martial artist? What are you showing off for? Just wait. Then he pointed directly at Ning Bei and cursed, and you? Your status isn't even as good as a dog. Do you think I really want to talk to you? You're just cheap trash. He looked at him coldly, watching him act. Then he suddenly lunged forward and grabbed the Shi family guy by the throat. The people in the room were startled. Ancient martial artist. Yufeng sneered, Shi Jingyang, you really are tired of living. Before, people didn't bother with you, you're just a dish of food. Qin He saw this and panicked, oh no. She quickly ran to Ning Bei's side. Qin He whispered, Ning Bei, quickly let go. He's about to die. Yufeng also stepped out to intervene, Brother Ning, teaching him a lesson is enough. Don't cause a death. The others began to threaten, that's right, you're a martial artist. If you dare to kill, the special operations team won't let you go. Ning Bei coldly replied, special operations team? Launching organization? What's there to be afraid of? Liang Zhou suddenly ran out shouting, help! A martial artist is killing someone here. Jingyun quickly chased after him, what are you doing? He managed to grab him in time, But then someone else appeared in front of them. Jingyun panicked. They actually came. Yufeng also ran over. Damn it. It really is a member of the special operations team. Jingyun, stop Ningbei. I'll stop him. He stepped forward to greet him. Brother, excuse me. I'm Yufeng, from the special operations team stationed in the Longqing military region. The person ignored Yufeng. The Longqing team is on a mission. Interfering with someone on a mission, death is not punishable. His face turned pale. Finally, he had no choice but to rush forward. Then I apologize. The person glanced at Yufeng, then lightly kicked him. Jingyun was furious. You dared to hit my third brother. He also rushed forward. The person quickly took a stance, preparing to draw their sword. Jingyun threw a kick, and the opponent immediately raised their sword to block. Ningbei heard the commotion and immediately turned his head. He let go of Jingyang, then quickly left. Ningbei rushed in front of the person. Stop. The opponent retreated, pointing their sword defensively. He said loudly, as a martial artist, violating iron rules, arbitrarily using weapons to injure ordinary people, 3 years imprisonment. Causing permanent disability. 10 years imprisonment. Murder, immediate execution on the spot. Ningbei calmly said, then do you know that anyone holding a knife must not point it at a comrade? That is also an iron rule. The person was surprised. Who are you? Ningbei slightly opened his coat, revealing the sword inside. He covered her face, sighing inwardly. This guy actually secretly brought it with him. The person was surprised to see that. He suddenly knelt down and saluted. Longqing team, Hanli, greets the monarch. The crowd immediately buzzed. What did he say? Monarch? Yufeng immediately realized. Northern King Blade. You are King Ning. Ningbei said, get up, you don't need to kneel. He stepped forward to intervene. Don't fight anymore, or I'll tell Aunt Qin. Ningbei raised his hand towards her. Girl, lend me your phone. He turned to Hanli and said, take him away. Tell the Shi family to pick him up at the Longqing organization. He obeyed. Understood. Seeing Hanli drag the person away, Liang Zhou stood there trembling uncontrollably. Ningbei didn't pay attention to him. He focused on his phone. Elsewhere, the second master of the Liang family was leisurely resting when he suddenly heard his phone ring. He picked it up and answered, hello, who is it? Ningbei said, it's me. Recognizing who it was, the second master of the Liang family immediately sat up. He carefully asked, is it Xiao Bei? It's been a few days since I last saw the Ning family. If you have time, come visit my Liang family. Ningbei looked at Liang Zhou, who was trembling beside him. No rush. Your Liang family has a nephew named Liang Zhou, right? The old man immediately worried. Yes, what happened to him? Ningbei coldly snapped. The descendants of your Liang family, should I teach them or should you? Liang Zhou's face turned pale, not daring to utter a sound. The second master of the Liang family immediately showed his attitude. Get him the phone. I will give you a satisfactory answer. He tremblingly took the phone. Grandpa. Liang Zhou's grandfather immediately scolded. Kneel down. Liang Zhou hesitated. Huh? The old man angrily, kneel down immediately. You are not allowed to stand up until I tell you to. He had no choice but to obey, kneeling down in front of Ningbei. On this side, the second master of the Liang family sighed helplessly. Don't blame me, son. I'm only doing this to save your life. Ningbei didn't pursue it further. He returned the phone to Qinhe. Girl, it's getting late. Let's go home. Jingyun immediately went to dismiss people. Disperse, disperse. Today's birthday party is over. He helped Yufeng walk towards Ningbei. Brother Ning, your strength has reached the general level, right? He answered casually. You could say that. Yufeng thought to himself, idiot, he's more than just the general level. Jingyun immediately asked him curiously, third brother, what is a monarch? Yufeng considered Ningbei's previous attitude. He secretly guessed. It seems Ningbei doesn't want others to know too much. Yufeng put his arm around Jingyun's shoulder. It's just a form of address. Yusen is also drunk. You should take her home. Yusen was fast asleep by then. Ningbei turned around and said, you were injured earlier. I know a little bit about medicine. Let me take a look at you. Yufeng waved his hand. It's fine. It's just a minor injury. I'll recover in a few days. Jingyun teased him. Third brother, you're this old and still afraid of getting checked? Yufeng scolded. What do you know? Get lost. Ningbei didn't mind. He raised his hand towards him. Don't move. Then he pressed a few points on Yufeng's body. He coughed up a mouthful of blood. Jingyun quickly worried. Third brother. He stepped forward to check. Third brother, are you okay? Ningbei smiled faintly. How is it? Jingyun was still worried. What do you mean, how is it? He's spitting blood. Let's hurry and take him to the hospital. Yufeng let out a breath, then wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. He became much more relaxed, much better. Ningbei stepped forward to remind him. Now that the congealed blood has been expelled, there's no problem. Yufeng cupped his hands. Thank you. Qinhe yawned softly. Ningbei, I'm sleepy. Seeing this, he didn't stay long. Let's go, I'll take you home. The two walked out of the private room. Yufeng cupped his hands in farewell. Goodbye. Hope to see you again someday. Then he left first. On this side, a group of people rushed over. They blocked Ningbei's group. Young Master Ning, our boss invites you. Qin He, frightened, hid behind him. Ning Bei coldly said, lead the way. The elevator stopped on the 7th floor. Then the door opened. Ning Bei and Qin He walked inside. Yuan's attitude was completely different from his earlier respectful one. I have no connection with young Master Ning's girlfriend, Miss He Su. Escort her back in a private car. Qin He, though scared, still stepped forward to shield Ning Bei. I won't. You won't bully him. He patted her shoulder to reassure her. Don't worry, it's nothing. Qin He worried, Ning Bei. The room door closed. Qin He angrily shouted, you. Let me in. She could only wait in fear. Inside the room, Yuan began to question, young Master Ning. Do you know who the person you injured this morning was? Ning Bei didn't even care. Who? He angrily slammed his hand on the armrest of the chair. Yuan angrily pointed at his face. That was my only son, Du Hao. You crippled one of his arms, and almost killed him. His eyes blazed. Tonight, you must die. The security guards quickly surrounded Ning Bei. Suddenly, someone called. Yuan had no choice but to answer, hello? The other end of the line was furious. Yuan, I think you've gone mad. You dare to touch my brother. Tang Jingyun's brother? At this point, he no longer had any scruples. Young Master Tang, I've already shown you enough respect by not ruining Miss Tang's birthday party. But the blood debt for my son, he must pay it. Following Yuan's command, the security guards quickly rushed towards Ning Bei. He calmly drew his sword, then lightly swept past the crowd. When he stopped, not a single person could stand up anymore. Yuan was frightened. You are an ancient martial artist. General level? He cried out in alarm. How can this be? The room door quickly opened. Jingyun's group rushed inside. Brother Ning, are you okay? Ning Bei, are you alright? Yuan quickly ran to him for help. Young Master Tang, save me. He hugged Jingyun's leg tightly. He angrily shook him off. Get lost. While no one was paying attention, Qin He had a gun pointed at her head. The secretary next to Yuan shouted loudly, don't move. Everyone immediately stopped. Ning Bei coldly looked at her. Let her go. The secretary frowned. Mr. Ning, I know you're very strong. A general level can move to my side in an instant. She sneered. But it only takes me 0.3 seconds to pull the trigger. You're not faster than a bullet. Ning Bei calmly said. Who told you I'm only a general level? The secretary was startled. What? A terrifying aura suddenly appeared around Ning Bei. Centered on him, the aura expanded, enveloping everyone in the room. Even Jingyun and Yufeng were staggered by this pressure. Yuan fearfully slumped to the ground. Aura of 100 herbs, power of 10,000 people. He trembled as he looked at Ning Bei's murderous intent in front of him. God of War level. He quickly drew his sword. Then in a flash, he rushed towards the secretary. When she regained her composure, she found that the arm holding the gun had vanished without a trace. Ning Bei took this opportunity to pull Qin He aside. She cried out in fear. Ning Bei quickly comforted her. Don't look. He hugged Qin He, comforting her. It's all right now. Ning Bei coldly glanced behind him. You touched her. Do you know how much you'll pay for that? The secretary trembled and knelt on the ground. God of War, I was wrong. Please spare me. Ning Bei's murderous intent flared. The people I must protect for life are not many. This girl is one of them. He threw something in front of her. When the object plunged into the ground, it was identifiable as a token. Ning Bei carried Qin He away, not forgetting to remind, she's been scared enough tonight. The Northern King blade is not suitable for drawing more blood. You don't need to die tonight. Take this token. The secretary tremblingly picked up the token and examined it. Yufeng was surprised. This is the military blade order. Jingyun, not understanding, quickly ran after him. Brother Ning, just let them off like that. So easily? The group quickly got into the car. Ning Bei said, Jingyun, help me drive to the Su family. All right. He muttered dejectedly. Tonight I scared Qin He like that. I have to apologize to Grandma Su. I can't keep this Yuan alive. I must kill him. Yufeng advised, no need for such trouble. With the Northern Liang military blade order, even a god of war must die if they receive it. Jingyun innocently didn't understand. What? What order? He sighed helplessly. Don't ask anymore, just drive. At this moment, in the private room they had just left, a group of people rushed over. Yuan Shan quickly moved here. However, someone was already standing at the door of the room. He exclaimed in surprise, Qinzhou Chief, Xie Zhongtang. He wiped his hands, looked towards Yuan Shan and said, Team Leader Xiao, you're late. I've already handled everything. He frowned. This place is under the responsibility of our special operations team. What are you Ghost Corps doing here? Zhongtang smiled. I'm just carrying out orders. Then he disappeared instantly. Yuan Shan's face darkened as he watched Zhongtang leave. Back at the Su family, Qin He sat in the bathtub, thinking, it was so scary. This is the first time I've seen so much blood up close. Recalling that moment made her even more frightened. Qin He splashed water on her face to clear her head. Forget it, don't think about it anymore. She turned on the shower. Then stood under the shower. I'll quickly shower and go to bed. I want to forget those scary things. He put on a towel and walked out. Suddenly, she saw Ning Bei still sitting there reading a book. The two immediately met each other's gaze. He cried out in embarrassment, why are you here? Then she quickly ran away. He returned to her room, extremely embarrassed. I thought he had gone home. It's too embarrassing for him to see me like this. She started rummaging through her wardrobe. I need to quickly find pajamas. Cute or sexy? Suddenly, he realized. She immediately threw the nightgown she was holding onto the floor. What am I doing? He rubbed her burning face, telling herself, calm down, be calm. After calming herself down, she walked out. He was flustered, today, thank you for saving me. But then she looked again and was surprised. There was no one on the chair anymore. He angrily scolded, Ning Bei, where did you run off to? Ning Bei was currently sitting on the roof. Hearing her voice, he could only remain silent. The moon above shone brightly. He sat cross-legged, quickly absorbing the essence from the moon. The chi gathered into a small sphere. Ning Bei looked at it with satisfaction. Then he opened the window. Skillfully jumped into He's bedroom. Ning Bei lifted the blanket. He, in her sleep, stirred slightly. He brought the sphere close to her. Its aura began to flow into He's body. After the transfer was complete, she suddenly sat up. Then she shouted in embarrassment, what are you doing? Ning Bei honestly replied, your body is too weak. I condense vital energy and put it into your body to help you strengthen your vitality. He threw a pillow at him. Who are you kidding? She ran away in embarrassment. You think I'm a 3-year-old? You pervert. Ning Bei could only sigh. It was now bright outside. He immediately ran to Grandma Su to complain. Grandma, you have to watch out for Ning Bei. He's being a pervert with me. She was curious. What? Ning Bei did something to you? He stammered. She was a little embarrassed. He didn't do anything. It's just that early in the morning, he ran to my room and gave me something called vital energy, saying it would strengthen my health. Grandma Su calmly said, the boy just wants what's best for you. Why are you making such a fuss? He was shy, but, then she was embarrassed by herself. Grandma Su could only sigh, this child, she's already in love and doesn't even realize it. At school, Professor Lee placed a notebook on the table. This is old Wang's notebook from that year. Everything related to that trip to Mount Kaifeng is recorded here. Ning Bei picked it up and examined it for a while. Then he opened the notebook wide. 3 pages are missing. Professor Lee was startled. How could that be? Ning Bei analyzed. Professor Wang entered Mount Kaifeng on July 1, 2010. This records his journey for 7 days. He speculated, Professor Ning, could those 3 missing pages be hiding something? Ning Bei didn't refute. Someone took the last 3 pages. But based on the itinerary of the previous 7 pages, we can narrow down the search area. Professor Lee was delighted. It's great if I can help you. Ning Bei smiled at him. Thank you for giving me these notes. You must have some conditions, right? Professor Lee scratched his head. This isn't really a condition. I just want to invite you to visit my research lab when you're free. He didn't refuse. Okay, I'll go there this afternoon before class. He immediately rejoiced. That's great. Thank you, Professor. A while later at school, Professor Lee pointed to the theories on the board. I've always been dedicated to researching anti-gravity. I hope to industrialize anti-gravity and replace oil and other energy sources. Ning Bei analyzed. If anti-gravity is installed on aircraft components, it can significantly reduce takeoff and landing times. He suggested, instead of researching alternative fuel sources, it's better to research nuclear energy. Professor Lee sadly said, our research building doesn't have this level, and the construction costs are very high. Ning Bei patted his shoulder. I know. He said, even 5 years ago, there was an intention to open up the nuclear energy market domestically. Ning Bei smiled faintly, but the investment is too large, and it requires top talents. Ordinary people cannot afford it. Then he turned and left. This requires a long-term plan. I have class soon. Do you want to come listen? Professor Lee quickly replied, I will definitely come. A while later, it was time for Ning Bei's class. The students, seeing a stranger walk in, couldn't help but suspect, what's that kid doing? I don't know. Is he here to mess around before the professor arrives? Someone friendly reminded him, friend, what are you doing? Professor Ning is about to arrive. If you don't want to be kicked out, hurry back to your seat. Ning Bei smiled, thanks for the reminder. The students still didn't believe him. He's still not leaving? Let's see how Professor Ning deals with him later. The door outside suddenly burst open. 3 people walked in, attracting the students' attention. Principal's son is here. And Professor Lee, Professor Zhou. Ning Bei seriously nodded at the 3 of them. Then he introduced himself. It's time. Let's start class. The students below murmured, is he a professor? He looks even younger than me. Is it real or fake? Did he buy his position? Ning Bei began his lecture, Computer Systems, High Theoretical and Practical Knowledge, including Information Science and Software Engineering. The students began to get bored. They shouted, Professor Ning, we already learned these basic theories in freshman year. Let's talk about something else. That's right. Otherwise it will be very boring. Ning Bei secretly smiled. These young people, if I don't show them my true abilities, they won't take me seriously. In the large room with dozens of noisy people, a figure stood comfortably on the podium. Professor Lee looked at Kong Ling confusedly. Do we need to help Professor Ning maintain order in the classroom? He rubbed his chin, thinking for a moment before speaking. No need. You have to trust him. I feel he has a way. On the podium, Ning Bei confidently stated, precisely. You can learn these theoretical knowledge outside of class. I will send them to each of your computers. A girl sitting below asked, do we need to form groups, sir? It's easier to share materials. He smiled lightly, no need. I will send them directly to you. The crowd below immediately murmured, send directly? How will he send them? Using a hard drive? Still curious about Ning Bei's confident attitude, everyone suddenly saw their computer screens change to a loading screen. They rushed to check their computers in horror. What's going on? What's wrong with my computer? The system has been infiltrated. Professor Lee also looked at Kong Ling in a slight panic. Is this alright? He waved his hand. It's fine. Ning Bei looked at everyone's reaction with satisfaction. He raised his hand forward. Is it interesting enough now? Below, murmurs immediately rose, and eyes shone with special admiration for Ning Bei. He then very naturally led into the topic. It's clear that you are quite interested in information security. So today, let's talk about this issue. Kong Ling looked at Ning Bei on the podium, his face full of approval. After successfully attracting the attention of the students in the room, Ning Bei began his lecture. Thanks to his excellent teaching ability, the entire class listened in silence. A student saw the person next to him pick up his phone and fiddle with it curiously. What are you doing? The other person happily showed him his phone. Inside was a picture of Ning Bei standing and teaching on the podium. Something this explosive. Of course I have to post it online. A shout echoed in the dormitory. Boss, look at this. A young man with a phone ran frantically in front of someone. It's something from our school. Zhang Yunping turned his head and looked to the side in surprise. This is our school's auditorium. He smirked, fiddling with the computer for a moment. Let me show him a little something. Inside the classroom, Ning Bei, who was enthusiastically lecturing, suddenly stopped. The students below looked at the mouse dancing on the large screen, murmuring curiously, what's going on? What happened suddenly? Is it a virus? A taunting voice came from the screen. Professor Ning, your computer's firewall isn't very good, is it? The crowd was astonished. Who did that? Professor Ning's computer was also hacked. Ning Bei didn't lose his composure. He only smiled faintly at this clumsy prank. On the other side of the screen, Zhang Yunping was very confident that Professor Ning is just SOSO. A trash firewall. His subordinates immediately cheered him on. No need to say, Boss is one of the top 1,000 people on the national blacklist. As they were comfortably enjoying themselves in the room, the speaker next to the computer suddenly spoke. Is that so? One of the subordinates looked around in surprise. Who's talking? Zhang Yunping looked at the computer screen in fear. Look up, don't look down. The face of the person they had just disparaged appeared on the screen. Ning Bei sneered faintly. Being in the top 1,000 is not something to be proud of. The large screen where he was lecturing immediately broadcast the image of Zhang Yunping's dormitory room. One person was startled. He's Ning Bei, the professor who's lecturing. The students below murmured, he looks really familiar. Isn't that Zhang Yunping? They began to laugh at Zhang Yunping's group. That's right, that's their dorm. Dorm live stream. Look at that guy's boxers. The three people being live streamed were completely panicked. One shouted loudly, quick, quick, quick. Turn it off. Zhang Yunping looked at the screen in fear. No, I can't turn it off. The guy quickly pointed outside the door. Pull the network cable. Pull the network cable. The guy in the underwear ran to unplug the Wi-Fi. Only then did the involuntary live stream temporarily stop. The students continued to mock them. Zhang Yunping's group of subordinates spoke nervously. What should we do? Will we be penalized for this? He angrily picked up his phone. You dare to mess with me? I'll call my master to deal with you. Scene switches to Yankai Financial Company. A man sat in a chair, listening to his phone. What? His name is Ning Bei? His name was Zhuolin. After hearing the other person speak, he laughed. You know Longqing University, right? It's my old school anyway. You don't have to worry about it, just leave it to me. Zhuolin stretched. I'm the security department director of the largest financial company in Longqing City, after all. His face suddenly turned serious. Focusing on typing on the keyboard, the real boss is here. Laughter echoed in the office. Professor Lee looked at Ning Bei with satisfaction. Today you managed to subdue that cunning Bang student. He was very humble. The students are all very good learners. Suddenly, Ning Bei slightly frowned. Professor Lee was puzzled. What's wrong? He smiled faintly. Someone's knocking at the door now. He immediately understood. Is it that Bang student again? You already asked the principal not to pursue their responsibility, yet they still. Ning Bei focused on the screen. It's not them. Professor Lee's face turned pale. Is it someone from outside the school? Someone dares to invade our network. What else could it be? Ning Bei seriously reassured him. Don't worry, this is a new machine. There's nothing to steal. A dangerous glint flashed in his eyes. I won't let him have the chance to invade other computers either. Xuelin, on this side, was leisurely drinking coffee. He confidently looked at the screen. It's that simple to invade. That guy has no expertise at all. Suddenly, an employee ran in a panic. Boss, the company's firewall has been breached by someone. Xuelin choked on his coffee. He was startled. What? He ran to check and saw the company's computers flooded with incomprehensible notifications. Xuelin was frightened. How can this be? I set up the company's firewall myself, and I even hired many hackers to test it. His face changed color. He clutched his head and groaned. No one has ever successfully invaded it before. Who did this? Who exactly? The employee timidly said. Could it be that we've offended some big boss? Xuelin suddenly remembered something, and he was secretly alarmed. No way. Someone walked in through the door, accompanied by an angry voice. Old Zhue, what's going on here? The person who arrived was named Yang. He aggressively questioned Xuelin. What kind of work is your security department doing? As soon as he finished speaking, the employees in the room experienced problems one after another. My account is locked. Someone cancelled my administrator status. The interface cannot log in. The people following Yang immediately panicked. We are the largest financial company in Longqing. Now all accounts with over 10 billion cannot log in. All confidential company documents are also locked. He also couldn't stay calm. What if clients' assets have problems? The employee earlier trembled as he reported. General Manager Yang, the opponent is not easy to deal with. He only took 15 seconds to break through all 7 firewalls. Yang's face changed color. What? Xuelin spoke helplessly. I know who did it. Now we can only wait for the other party to name their price. From the speaker behind him, a mocking voice suddenly rang out. Price? Do you think I'm a robber demanding ransom? Everyone's faces were filled with horror. Yang quickly pushed Xuelin aside. Did our Yangtai group offend your excellency? This joke is a bit too much. The person on the other end of the speaker sneered. Offended? People from your company actively attacked my computer. You tell me, does that count as an offense? Everyone immediately cast suspicious glances at Xuelin, who was cowering in a corner. They angrily questioned, what is this about? He guiltily rubbed his head. Actually, it was just a small prank. Xuelin had no choice but to recount everything. Yang slammed the table in anger after hearing it. He glared at him. You're incompetent at work, and now you're doing these bad things too. After venting his anger, Yang turned to the speaker and respectfully pleaded, Mr. Ning, this is my fault for not managing strictly and offending you. I will transfer 500,000 yuan to you as an apology. The voice on the other end of the speaker reassured him. I told you, I'm not here to extort money. The group was overjoyed after hearing the confirmation from the other side. In 1 hour, your company's system will return to normal. Consider it a lesson learned. They all bowed. Thank you, thank you. At school, Ning Bei gently folded his laptop. Professor Li gave him a thumbs up, very satisfied. Excellent. Suddenly, the office door burst open. Qin He walked in angrily. Ning Bei. Behind her was Tang Yusin. Seeing Professor Li hiding in fear behind Ning Bei, her face immediately changed color. Qin He quickly forced a smile. Professor Li, hello. Professor Li also quickly left. Are you looking for Ning Bei for something? Then I'll be going now. She quickly waved. Goodbye, Professor. Then she turned around and angrily questioned. Ning Bei, you took my meal card, didn't you? Ning Bei calmly pulled out a card. I told you, you're temporarily not allowed to eat today. Qin He walked over angrily. I didn't have time to eat breakfast because of you, and now you won't even let me eat lunch. She reached out to take back the card, but Ning Bei agilely dodged. Yusin was a little sleepy. She yawned softly, covering her mouth, and advised Qin He, if you can't eat here, then go out and eat. It's just a meal card, why are you fighting him over it? She was annoyed because no matter what she did, she couldn't snatch the card from Ning Bei's hand. I don't care. I can't tolerate him causing me trouble anymore. Yusin, standing outside, immediately thought of a kitten playing with a toy stick. After a while, Qin He was exhausted and could only stop. Give it back to me. Then, taking advantage of Ning Bei's inattention, she pounced on him, but he was very alert and stood up to dodge. Qin He panicked. Where are you going? Ning Bei smiled. To the cafeteria to eat. Are you coming? Her eyes immediately lit up with anticipation, looking at him. I can eat? I'm coming. I'm coming. Everyone quickly moved to the cafeteria. Qin He looked a little scared at the sight of students pushing and shoving to buy food. Don't cut in line. Be careful with my soup. Don't push anymore. She then said to Ning Bei, let's go to the second floor. Although the second floor is where the teachers eat, the food there is much better. He curiously pointed to someone who didn't look like a teacher at all. Is he a teacher too? The person immediately noticed Ning Bei's group. Hey, come on up here too. Everyone quickly moved upstairs. Yusin looked at him curiously. How did a bottom-of-the-class student like you come here to eat? Jingyun laughed. No one supervises me. Indeed, as Qin He said, the dishes on the second floor, though slightly fewer, looked incredibly high quality. Every dish stimulated a strong appetite. Qin He happily picked up her chopsticks and took a bite. Immediately, her chopsticks were knocked away by Ning Bei. Qin He angrily, "What are you doing? Didn't you tell me to come to the cafeteria to eat?" Ning Bei calmly explained, "I wanted to come eat. I just asked if you wanted to come or not. You didn't say you wanted to eat." She flared up, "So you eat and I just watch?" He very naturally took a bite and said, "You can only eat after the vital energy in your body is completely gone." The two Yusin sisters were curious. Vital energy? What's that? From behind the group, a voice suddenly appeared. Purple energy comes from the east, the Jasper Lake is in the west. The envoy of the Queen Mother of the West gently descended before the court. The newcomer was a very handsome young man. He happily explained, "Purple energy, also known as the chi of a sage, which means..." Then he seriously affirmed, "Those protected by purple energy are all sages." Jin Yun angrily scolded him, "Why are you everywhere? Get out." The handsome young man gently tapped his hand on the table, then completely ignored Jin Yun's anger. He looked at Yusin. Purple energy is very precious, and even rarer for martial artists. This handsome young man was very dedicated. Legend has it that the last time purple energy appeared was when Laozi, the founder of Taoism, went west of Hanggu Pass. Purple energy came from the east, falling from the sky. He excitedly, "That's why purple energy is called the purple energy of a sage." Ning Bei's face was cold, purple energy protecting the body. His entire body suddenly emanated a purple aura. Is it like this? The other young man saw this and panicked. This is purple energy. Yusin looked at Ning Bei admiringly. "Ning Bei, you even know magic?" The handsome young man stood up abruptly in fear. His face showed fear, purple energy protecting the body, a born sage. He quickly asked, "Who are you?" Ning Bei didn't care. He looked at Qin He and explained, "Did you hear that? Purple energy is a good thing. I'll give you some more tomorrow morning." She pouted and turned her face away. "I don't need it." Seeing this, the handsome young man slapped the table. He excitedly pointed to himself, "Brother, I need it." Ning Bei was speechless. "What do you want?" The other young man awkwardly explained, "I don't mean that. I won't take it for free. I can buy it with money." Yusin chuckled and introduced, "He's the eldest son of the Ning family. All the Ning family's assets are his. He doesn't lack your small amount of money." He immediately startled, "The Ning family?" Yusin, bored, turned back to watch the bickering couple. "Are you going to let me eat or not? I already said you have to be patient." She giggled, "You two are getting married soon. What will life be like then?" Qin He immediately blushed. Who wants to marry him? We're just ordinary friends at best." Ning Bei gently placed his chopsticks on the table. The two in front of him still didn't know he was angry. Yusin happily teased, "Are you really not marrying him?" Qin He replied naturally, "Didn't I say from the beginning? If I don't marry him, I don't marry him." Behind them, the other young man was frightened by Ning Bei's attitude. He then spoke coldly, "I also said if you don't agree, I will break off the engagement. I will still protect your Su family." Then Ning Bei turned and left. Qin He panicked. "Hey!" His back exuded an angry aura. Everyone there didn't dare to step forward to stop him. They could only watch helplessly as Ning Bei left. Qin He felt scared at this moment. Her face turned pale. Yusin asked her, "Regretting it?" Jing Yun showed a "I knew it" expression. "I advise you not to joke about that anymore. If you're not sincerely rejecting him, don't just open your mouth casually like that." Qin He just remained silent and fearful. As for Ning Bei, after leaving, he stood by the window and made a call. "Dad, it's me." He calmly said, "Qin He and I are not compatible. Dad, talk to Grandma Su and discuss breaking off the engagement." The other end of the phone hadn't even understood what was happening. "Bear, what happened?" Ning Bei had already hung up. He stood alone, gazing at the view through the window. Switching to the gravity research lab. Inside the quiet room, watching the two who had just entered, "Let me introduce everyone." Professor Lee happily introduced Ning Bei to the people in the room. "This is Professor Ning Bei, the chief-level directing professor. From now on, he will be the honorary research director of our research lab." They murmured after hearing this, "Directing professor? I thought he was just a student. He looks so young." Ning Bei didn't pay attention to their admiring attitudes. He walked directly to inspect the equipment in the room. "The equipment is a bit crude, isn't it?" A person named Hu Qiong got angry. "You're going too far. The equipment in our gravity research lab is all top tier in the city." He pointed to the expensive set of machines on one side. "Have you seen this gravity testing machine? It's worth 8 million. There's only one of these in all of Longqing." Ning Bei rubbed his chin and thought, "I once saw a gravity testing machine worth 15 billion. Everyone in the room was surprised. Is that true or false? "Don't talk nonsense." Hu Qiong, who was quite knowledgeable, immediately said, "Are you talking about the A5-13 model gravity testing machine?" Ning Bei told them, "There are 5 of these devices. 2 are at the Central Institute of Science, and the other 3 are in Beijing." He calmly stated, "Tonight I'll have someone transport one here by air." Making them gasp in horror. What did you say?" Ning Bei turned to Professor Lee and asked, "Do you have any investors on your side?" He couldn't react in time. "Huh? A person standing nearby sadly said, "There's no one investing." Professor Ning, gravity research in the civilian sector is almost non-existent. Others all consider us scammers. Professor Lee stood by, only sighing. Ning Bei didn't show any particular attitude. He just pulled out his phone and said, "How about this? The Ning Group will invest in your research institute. From now on. If any achievements generate profit, the Ning Group will take 90%. Do you want to do it?" Hu Qiong was frightened. 90%? That's too much. Professor Lee quickly covered his mouth. "Shut up," he explained. "Professor Ning's research in this field surpasses all of ours. If he only wanted to make money, he wouldn't need to bring us along at all." Then he turned to Ning Bei, "Professor Ning." Professor Lee was overjoyed. "I agree." Seeing that he had no objections, he nodded and said to the other end of the phone, "Okay, Mu Shi, transfer 100 million in investment to Longqing University." Ning Bei hung up and turned to the crowd. "Oh, and I suggest we change our research direction a bit. Let's start with the most basic anti-gravity device." Professor Lee quickly agreed, "Okay." With the funding issue resolved, the group quickly got to work on their research. Ning Bei didn't sit idle. He participated in the research very seriously. Soon it was night, and the moon was high in the sky. The whole group, deep in concentration, suddenly heard a noise above their heads, and looked up curiously. In the sky, a helicopter was flying towards them. It slowed down. There was also a familiar logo on the fuselage. After circling for a while, the helicopter successfully landed. The research team gathered densely in the courtyard, looking at the helicopter in confusion. What are they doing? Why is a helicopter landing on the training ground? A person in security uniform walked over to stop the curious crowd. A one-level escort mission. Unauthorized personnel are prohibited from approaching. Hu Qiong exclaimed, "This helicopter is huge." Professor Lee explained, "Of course. This is the latest type of transport helicopter. It can even transport battle tanks to the battlefield." A woman saw Ning Bei walking forward and spoke up to stop him. "Professor Ning, don't go over there. They won't let anyone get close." They then saw the aggressive group from earlier suddenly form a straight line. Then one person stepped forward and saluted in a military fashion. "Lu Qing of Northern Liang Escort Team 6 greets the monarch." The rest of the group also chanted in unison, "Monarch." Professor Lee's jaw dropped in surprise. "I thought Ning Bei was just an academic genius." Hu Qiong was also stunned. "I thought he was just a rich kid." Another person was filled with admiration. I thought Professor Ning was just the youngest directing professor at Longqing University." Everyone seemed to have the same thought. Who exactly is he? The night was quiet, and a full moon hung in the sky above Ning Bei's house. He entered the door and was surprised. "Mom, Dad, why aren't you asleep yet?" The two were very worried when they saw Ning Bei return. Hui Lan stepped forward. "Bear, did you and Qin He quarrel?" Shan Lan also advised, "You're half a year older than Qin He. Give her a little leeway." He turned around after hearing this. "So it's about that." Ning Bei honestly recounted. "Qin He is determined to refuse this marriage. Mom and Dad, you don't need to persuade her anymore. Go to bed early." The two parents worried endlessly. "Bear." Outside, Ning Bei stood in the courtyard, deep in thought. Then he leaped high into the air. On the rooftop, someone was already waiting. Yuanshan respectfully bowed. "Xiao Yuanshan greets the Northern King." Ning Bei spoke. "Have you found that person yet?" "The third person I want to kill." Yuanshan hesitated slightly. "We haven't found him yet, but we know he's a subordinate of the Qingzhou Shadow Guard leader, Xie Zhongtang. The Shadow Guard has always been at odds with the Special Operations Team. I'm concerned for your safety. Do you need—" He waved his hand, interrupting him. "No need to worry about him for now. You may leave." Yuanshan respectfully. "Yes." After that, only Ning Bei remained on the rooftop, alone. In another place, it seemed someone else also couldn't sleep. Qin He hugged a pillow, standing in a daze by the window. A voice called out, "Qin He, are you asleep yet?" She immediately startled, quickly jumped into bed. "Asleep, yes." "Oh no, not yet." Qin He quickly opened the door and saw Grandma Su standing outside. She worriedly said, "It's so late. Why aren't you asleep, Grandma?" She sighed. "Your Aunt Qin contacted me and told me about you and Xiao Bei." Grandma Su seriously, "Let it go. This marriage, the Ning and Su families will not mention it again." Qin He immediately panicked. "Grandma, why?" She explained, "Initially, you said you didn't agree, and I just took it as you joking. But you refused Xiao Bei again and again. And he's not the type of person who clings on." Grandma Su regretfully, "Xiao Bei has a proud character. He has already been extremely lenient with you. If you really don't agree, then so be it." As she spoke, she turned and left. "Your Aunt Qin said that since our side, the female side, is breaking off the engagement, it will save your face. Consider it repaying the kindness from that year." The sound of the door closing echoed. Qin He also slumped to the ground. She sobbed, "Break off the engagement, then break off the engagement. I'm not without suitors." Grandma Su left Qin He's room and strolled outside for a while. She mumbled, "I hope you truly don't regret it." Behind her, a figure secretly observed Grandma Su. That person picked up their phone and happily announced, "It's a success." The Ning family broke off the engagement. The next morning, Qing Hui helped Grandma Su stand up. She happily greeted the newcomer, "Chairman Gu, it is an honor for our Su family to have you grace us with your presence." The neatly dressed person smiled, "Auntie, you're too polite. I'm nothing in front of you." The young boy behind him was also polite, "Hello, Grandma Su." The three sat down. Grandma Su beamed, "Oh my, what a handsome and bright young man." Chairman Gu humbly, "The Gu family also has many children and grandchildren. How can my boy compare to your Qin He? She's a rare talent in Longqing." Qin Hui bent down and whispered into her ear, "Grandma, Uncle Gu is here this time because he wants to form a marital alliance." Chairman Gu also confirmed, "Auntie, our two families have had relations for decades, and we know everything about each other." Kong Kong also admires Qin He very much. "What do you think about this matter?" Grandma Su immediately made an excuse, "I can't control young people these days. I also need to ask for Qin He's opinion first." The other party saw this and didn't stand on ceremony. Then there's no rush. "Everyone bring the gifts in." Then a long line of people carrying large boxes of betrothal gifts walked inside. Grandma Su looked at Chairman Gu seriously. "What are you doing?" He pointed to the boxes. "These are betrothal gifts." Her face immediately darkened. Qin Hui silently observed Grandma Su's expression. Seeing that she seemed displeased, he immediately spoke up to mediate. "Uncle Gu, Kong Kong, you two must be tired from traveling all day. Let me lead you to rest first." A servant ran in from outside in a panic. "Madam, we have distinguished guests outside." Grandma Su immediately changed the subject. "Who?" Rapid footsteps echoed. The newcomer shouted loudly, "I, Zhang Zhongyuan." Grandma Su quickly stood up. "So it's Commander Zhang. Quick, please sit, please sit." "Serve tea," he said. "No need for such trouble." Zhongyuan threw a token. "Please accept this Zhongyuan order, madam." The token flew straight towards her, then plunged into the tabletop. The entire room suddenly fell silent. Gu Kong curiously picked up the token. "What is this?" Chairman Gu, startled, slapped his hand. "Put it down." Gu Kong didn't understand what was happening. "It hurts, Dad." "What's wrong?" He angrily scolded. "This is not your business. Don't get involved." Qin Hui cried out, "Grandma." Grandma Su was trembling all over, thinking, "Zhongyuan Iron Order. If I accept this Iron Order, no one in the Su family will survive." She sighed. "Qin Hui, call Xiao Bei." While the atmosphere in the room was extremely tense, a figure walked in. Qin He spoke loudly, "Let me call." She looked at Zhongyuan angrily. "Did Ning Bei send you?" Qin He picked up her phone and dialed a number, muttering, "And he says he's generous. Isn't he still angry about the broken engagement, looking for the special operations team to bully my grandma? What a scoundrel." The call connected. She immediately spoke, "Hello, Ning Bei you." Ning Bei didn't let Qin He finish and interrupted, "I'm here." Zhongyuan saw him arrive and quickly bowed. "Northern King." Ning Bei walked in and picked up the token he had thrown. He glanced at Zhongyuan and coldly announced, "I, Ning Bei, accept this Zhongyuan Iron Order. All members of your 3 Zhongyuan provinces, those with Kiliadeo, can come and kill me." He was frightened and immediately knelt on the ground. "Your subordinate wouldn't dare." Grandma Su breathed a sigh of relief when she saw Ning Bei arrive. Qin He angrily, "Ning Bei, you're despicable and deceitful." She loudly questioned him, "Would someone like Zhang Zhongyuan do this without your orders?" Zhongyuan quickly wanted to explain, "No, it was my own." Ning Bei immediately ordered, "Silence." Qin He was still angry. She walked closer to him and chided, "King Ning Bei, you're so great, aren't you? The monarch of Beijing, high and mighty, carrying a token to intimidate old people, women, and children." Qin He raised her hand high. "I'm telling you, if anything happens to Grandma, then I will fight you to the end." Zhongyuan saw her about to act and quickly drew his sword. "You dare?" Grandma Su also quickly intervened. "Qin He, stop." However, Qin He didn't strike, and Zhongyuan didn't dare to move. She whispered, "Strike." Qin He was extremely angry. "Tell him to kill me. After all, we're just useless mortals." Tears began to stream down her face. She sobbed, "Although my Su family is weak, I, Su Qin He, will never beg you in this life." Ning Bei coldly ordered, "Zhongyuan, retreat." He was surprised that he didn't say much. His angry face glared at Zhongyuan, "Get out." Then he slowly walked forward. Ning Bei placed a card on the table. "The funds in this card can be used anytime. The Su family no longer needs to be controlled." Then he turned and left. As he passed Qin He, Ning Bei said to her, "I won't bother you anymore either." He put on his familiar cloak. Then he ordered his subordinates, "Anyone who dares to touch the Su family will have their 3 generations killed." His resolute attitude greatly surprised Qin Hui and Grandma Su. Chairman Gu saw this and immediately ordered his men to pack up and flee. "Quick, quick, quick. Let's go." The house quickly had only the 3 generations remaining. Qin He couldn't hold back her tears. She sobbed uncontrollably. Ning Bei left without hesitation. He thought to himself, I will repay everything I owe you today. He turned to warn Zhongyuan. The matter of breaking off the engagement was initiated by me. You people, don't touch the Su family again. Tell this to those 4 other guys as well. He quickly bowed his head yes. Returning to Ning Bei's house. A line of supercars parked impressively outside the door. Ning Bei was surprised to see this. Guigua happily ran over. Brother. He bent down and hugged the little girl, Guigua. Ning Bei picked up Guigua and asked Uncle C, why are there so many cars outside? He happily replied, they're all here to discuss marriage. He was puzzled. Marriage? Do we have a girl in our family who's getting married? Then he turned to the little girl. It can't be Guigua, she's still too young. Putting aside his doubts, Ning Bei carried Guigua into the house. Before he could even fully enter, someone called out, Professor Ning. He was surprised. You are Elder Lin? The other person happily, it's me. Ning Bei smiled and said, you always have to oversee the capital's shadow guard. Why do you have free time to come here today? Elder Lin honestly replied, I'm here to form a marital alliance. He immediately felt something was off when he heard this. Marital alliance? Elder Lin explained, isn't it because I heard you just broke off your engagement with the Su family? It just so happens that my granddaughter is around your age. So I shamelessly came here to propose. Uncle C chuckled as he looked at him. You're not the only one here to propose marriage today. Ning Bei opened the door and walked in. He was immediately stunned by the scene inside. A crowd of people stood packed inside, holding resumes in their hands, no different from a job fair. Seeing him approach, they respectfully bowed. Northern King. He muttered in annoyance. They're all here because they value my identity as the Northern King. Every single one of them is treating their daughters like commodities. Then he coldly stated, 1 minute. Everyone out of the Ning family. The crowd was shocked this. Ning Bei didn't give them much to say. Don't make me say it a second time. Hearing this, everyone hastily fled in a panic. Guigua looked at him worriedly. Brother. Ning Bei patted her head to reassure her. It's nothing. Shanlan walked over, holding a stack of documents in his hand. Bear, if you do this, who will dare to arrange a marriage for you later? He put Guigua down, calmly telling him, I don't need anyone to arrange a marriage for me. Shanlan still wanted to persuade him, but you've already broken off the engagement with the Su family. You should consider others, right? Look at these photos. Your mother and I feel. Ning Bei didn't take them. He waved his hand, scattering the papers. In an instant, the stack of papers turned into scraps. He turned and left. Shanlan worried. Bear. Back at Qin He's house, Grandma Su's voice rang out. The eldest daughter of the Zhou family in Jiangdong is Su Linglong. The Qin family in Nanzhou is Qin Yuyan. The only daughter of Qingzhou's wealthiest family is Lu Feng'er. The daughter of the Northern Yuan noble family is Lu Lu. Qin He was serving tea, her face slightly annoyed. These people all want to propose to him. Grandma Su nodded. That's right, but in the end, they were all chased out by him. She immediately became happy. He didn't choose anyone? Qin He murmured. I knew he would be like this. Annoying personality, unchanged for 1,000 years. Grandma Su calmly took a sip of tea. Daughter, do you really not like your Ning family's boy? Hearing this, she was sad. Grandma, don't mention it again. Today, he treated you. Grandma Su immediately chided. Silly girl. If Bayer really had a narrow mind and wanted to take revenge on our Su family, he wouldn't have even shown his face, understand? She tightly held Qin He's hand. Then she analyzed for her. Today, Zhang Zhongyuan came and threw down the Zhongyuan iron order. He must have hidden it from your Ning family's boy. Qin He panicked. Why didn't he explain? Grandma Su sighed. As soon as you appeared, you didn't bother to ask clearly first. You rushed to criticize him. He was disappointed. Her face was stunned. Her hands were tightly clasped, clearly showing her tension. Qin He grumbled. Even if this hadn't happened, he normally doesn't show any interest in me. Grandma Su explained. Ning Bei grew up in Beijing, forging himself through hardship. How can you expect him to say sweet, flowery words? Ning Bei's face was indeed as cold as a blizzard. Qin He's eyes welled up. Never mind. Her voice was full of helplessness. Anyway, whatever I say now is too late. The next morning, at Longqing University, the room door opened. Ning Bei walked in, his face puzzled as he looked inside the room. Yusin happily raised her hand and greeted. Ning, great genius, you're finally here. On the table, there was a steaming hot cup of tea. Ning Bei was surprised. Did you make this tea? Yusin waved her hand. That's tea for a master, made by Jingyan. He's been sitting here waiting for you for 2 hours. But he's impatient and saw you weren't coming, so he ran off to play. He couldn't understand. A master? What kind of trick is he playing now? Ning Bei walked over and sat down at his desk. Yusin immediately stood up. Let's not talk about my younger brother anymore. Let's talk about you, great genius Ning. Can my Tang group participate in this anti-gravity project? He didn't rush to refuse. Give me a reason to help you. Yusin crossed her arms and looked at Ning Bei seriously. To be frank, another strong person was born in the Tang family's 3rd generation last night, 2 years younger than Jingyan. He immediately understood, so Tang Jingyan's position in the family is being threatened. She continued to explain, our Tang family rules are strict. The heir is chosen through a survival of the fittest method. If Jingyun falls behind, he will be sent to work at the company. Ningbei was still puzzled. Isn't that good? Jingyun's personality doesn't like to be constrained. Choosing a path without restraint, giving up the chairman position of the Tang family also has its benefits for him. Yusin sadly, it's not that simple. Once Jingyun falls into a disadvantaged position, my two uncles will have no one to contend with. My family might. She turned her face away. I'm also sure that I'll be used by them as a tool for political marriage, and I don't know who I'll be married to. Ningbei was a little surprised. It wouldn't go that far, would it? Yusin frowned and looked at him. Don't you understand the bloodshed and turmoil within these great families? In Ningbei's mind, a scene appeared of his parents holding him and fleeing in the rain, all because of that so-called family. He remained silent. After a long while, he finally said to Yusin, "All right, I'll help you." She immediately jumped for joy. "That's great." Ningbei extinguished Yusin's hope, "But this matter is not as simple as you think." She quickly asked, "Why?" He showed his phone screen to Yusin. "The anti-gravity project you want to participate in, even I'm about to be kicked out of it." Her face changed color. "How can that be?" Scene changed to another location. Four people sat on the podium. Below them a group of people were asking questions. "Are you really researching anti-gravity products? How many people are in your research lab?" Hu Qiong stood up and briefly introduced, "The product has passed testing. As for the research lab, besides my professor, there are also 8 students from the same school, a total of 9 people." Seeing Professor Lee remain silent and let his students speak, everyone urged, "Professor Lee, please say a few words." After a moment of silence, he finally spoke, "Everyone, this is the world's first anti-gravity weapon. In a no-load state, its maximum flight altitude is 10 meters. It can withstand 100 kilograms, and its control energy source is electricity." The crowd below immediately applauded in admiration. "Excellent. As expected of an expert who has dedicated decades of effort to anti-gravity research." Suddenly, someone cleared their throat a few times, attracting everyone's attention. "Mu," she asked, "Professor Lee, was this anti-gravity device really researched by you?" Suddenly, Professor Lee's face turned pale. Hu Qiong angrily pointed at her and scolded, "Miss Mue, what do you mean by that? I've spent decades researching this anti-gravity device. There's nothing to doubt about this." The door suddenly burst open. A figure walked in, and before anyone could recognize them, they shouted loudly, "Hu Qiong!" Yusin, full of momentum, pointed directly at him. "Say that again." She and Ningbei entered. The crowd began to murmur, "What's going on? Who is that? What does she mean by that?" Hu Qiong pointed at the two and loudly scolded, "Tang Yusin, this is a scientific research product exhibition room. Who allowed you two in here? Where's security? Get them out." The security guards looked at each other awkwardly. No one dared to stop Yusin. Mu Shi, sitting below, continued to taunt Student Hu, "Why are you in such a hurry? Or are you afraid of others exposing the truth?" Hu Qiong put on a righteous face. "Miss Mue, don't harbor resentment just because our research lab rejected your investment last night. Don't deliberately fabricate rumors to defame my professor." She sneered upon hearing this. "Fabricating rumors? You people steal the fruits of others' labor and then boast about it. Is this your research achievement?" Someone curiously asked the person next to them, "Chief Inspector Su, are we still cooperating with them?" The other person chuckled, "Of course we're still cooperating." This person's name was Su Qingyi. He looked at the scene in front of him with interest, but the subject might not be them anymore. On the podium, Hu Qiong still vehemently denied Mu Shi's accusations. "Mue, you say we embezzled the fruits of others' labor. Then tell me, what evidence do you have?" Yusin quickly interjected, "No need for evidence, because the inventor of the anti-gravity machine is standing right here," she said, raising her hand towards Ningbei. Everyone was surprised. "What? Really?" A calm figure walked forward. Su Qingyi happily greeted Ningbei. "You must be Mr. Ning, right? The youngest dean-level professor since the establishment of Bian University." Yusin looked at him puzzled. "How do you know this?" He happily looked at the person in front of him, Su Qingyi. He also called his name, Ningbei. Skipping the pleasantries, Ningbei walked over to Hu Qiong. "Speaking of evidence, the components used to assemble this anti-gravity aircraft are all temporary. After 3 or 5 experiments, the entire machine will break down." He found the weak point and was delighted. "Nonsense. We experimented a total of 7 times last night." His face suddenly became dangerous. "Really?" Hu Qiong was frightened by his attitude. He hastily wanted to prove it. Then let me show you." Indeed, after Hu Qiong started the machine, the bulky machine operated smoothly. The crowd exclaimed, "Look!" Below, cheers and praise began to resound. Su Qingyi was extremely excited. "It truly is a scientific miracle. The breakthrough in the field of anti-gravity will take the aviation industry a big step forward." Hu Qiong became more and more confident. He pointed directly at Ningbei and provoked, "Ningbei, the anti-gravity machine is still normal. Too bad it disappointed you." Professor Lee, who hadn't spoken until now, saw this scene and his face turned pale. Ningbei didn't care about Hu Qiong's arrogant attitude. He just gently tilted his head up and looked, The key components inside have reached their limit. Haven't you noticed the machine's sound getting louder? As Ningbei said, the sound indeed grew louder and louder, making people feel afraid. Professor Lee quickly intervened. Quick! He panicked. Quickly turn off the machine. Ningbei calmly commented, too late. Then he turned and shouted loudly, everyone, step back. Everyone quickly dispersed. The machine then plunged down and shattered. Everyone was stunned by the unexpected situation. Someone broke the tense atmosphere. Professor Lee. Su Qingyi chuckled, if the machine was made by you, then you must know the cause of the breakdown, right? Professor Lee was scared that Hu Qiong was still very determined. What's there to be afraid of? Let me. He held a wrench and approached the machine. Then, under everyone's curious gaze, Hu Qiong began to dismantle it. However, after fiddling for a while, he still couldn't open it. He started sweating. It won't open. This won't open unless I use brute force. How was this thing assembled anyway? Is it an internal lock? Su Qingyi friendly asked. Student Hu, you made this machine, and you can't open it yourself? Professor Lee stammered. Actually. A student couldn't take it anymore and immediately trembled, spilling everything. Actually, the anti-gravity machine was designed by Professor Ning. Last night. We couldn't even distinguish all the components. The crowd was astonished. What? Unbelievable. This is outrageous. A person, representing Eastern Machinery, Gong Feng, pointed directly at Professor Lee's group and scolded, you people are the failure of the scientific research community. Everyone started to chime in. That's right. A bunch of failures. I can't believe they're so blatant. We were all fooled. Ningbei didn't care anymore. He turned and left. Gong Feng immediately noticed Ningbei's actions. He stepped forward to stop him from leaving. Professor Ning, wait. Gong Feng made a very attractive offer. Our Eastern Machinery is willing to invest in you and provide additional professors to help you develop the anti-gravity machine. Su Qingyi quickly interjected, Professor Gong's conditions are truly touching. He extended his hand, inviting, Professor Ning, our manufacturing Sanchi, just the R&D department, has over 300 people. They will all help Professor Ning together. Ningbei calmly called out, Mue. Mu. She quickly ran over, yes, young master. She confidently responded to the other two, Mr. Su, Professor Gong, you two don't need to waste your efforts pulling strings anymore. My young master doesn't lack money. Then she respectfully bowed to Ningbei. I manage 2.7 billion in liquid capital without needing to report it upstairs. All of it is for my young master's service. He nodded, that's how it is. The enormous sum of money that Mu she offered left the two men speechless in shock. Su Qingyi quickly spoke, Professor Ning, I know you don't lack money, but manufacturing Sanchi only hopes to become your first collaborating partner, Professor Ning. Ningbei turned to leave, and trusting everything to Mu Shi, you can discuss that matter with her. She will be in charge of this from now on. Su Qingyi didn't try to stop him anymore. Thank you, Professor Ning, for giving us this opportunity. Gong Feng also took the opportunity to interject, and us too. While walking, Ningbei suddenly stopped. Yusin happily walked over, that's great. So it seems my request to you has been granted, right? He also smiled and replied, of course. She hugged her phone and smiled brightly, then I'll go back and tell my family. However, when she held her phone, Yusin was slow to act, her face darkening. Ningbei was puzzled, what's wrong? Yusin then suddenly realized nothing. She let out a small sigh. Then, with a serious face, she made a call, Dad, I convinced Ningbei. The other end of the line immediately praised Yusin, well done. I'll arrange for someone to pick you up there. She thought sullenly, indeed, after all my worries and efforts, someone else still stole the credit. Ningbei silently observed Yusin's reaction. He suddenly snatched the phone from her hand. Ningbei spoke into the phone, the new head of the research department is Tang Yusin. I won't meet with anyone else who comes. The other end of the line was angry. Who are you? This is the Tang family's business, it's not your place to worry about it. He coldly replied, I am a friend of Yusin and Jingyun. My name is Ningbei. If your Tang family bullies her, I will expel the Tang family from Longqing. Then Ningbei bluntly hung up. Yusin looked at him, deeply moved. After solving the problem, Ningbei returned the phone to her, here. Yusin's eyes welled up, stupid Ningbei. He's going to exaggerate and brag about this, watch. Jingyun happily ran over from afar, sister. Seeing his sister's red eyes, he immediately asked, why are you crying? Jingyun saw only the two of them there and turned to ask, Brother Ning, did you bully my sister? Yusin awkwardly punched him, it's none of your business. Mu Shi, standing aside, happily explained, it was the chairman of the Tang family who bullied Yusin, not my young master who bullied her. Jingyun was angry, what? Are those bastards tired of living? Today I'll go kill those bastards. Yusin immediately stopped him, alright, always so impulsive. She pulled Jingyun's hand. Leading him in front of Ningbei, don't you want to take Ningbei as your master? He's right here, what are you waiting for? Jingyun then remembered, oh right. He cupped his hands and excitedly said, Brother Ning, I want you to teach me martial arts. Ningbei waved his hand, refusing, We're all around the same age. No need for a master. Jingyun looked at him worriedly. So, Brother Ning, do you agree to teach me? Ningbei agreed. Okay, if you have time, come to the Ning family house to find me. Jingyun was overjoyed to hear this. Thank you, Brother Ning. Yusin also happily patted his head. In another place, a long line of large trucks was driving towards them. Su Qingyi stood on one side, waving his hand, this way, this way. Yusin was extremely happy. Slow down a bit. After arranging the staff, he turned to lead her. Miss Tang, this will be the temporary research lab for now. Later, I will start forming teams to conduct research. Yusin nodded, okay. Suddenly, someone spoke. No need for such trouble. Ningbei walked over from behind. No need to find another place. Just set up the laboratory here. Su Qingyi quickly approached and advised, Professor Ning, establishing a research institute with good equipment and location would be better than here. It would be more suitable for research. Someone else interjected, no need. A middle-aged man happily walked over. I have already prepared all the talents for the research lab. Su Qingyi was immediately surprised. They're from the infantry. And their ranks are not low at all. Kong Ling walked over and introduced everyone. Now, let me introduce Mr. Pei Gang, from the Research Institute of the University of Aeronautical Engineering, and this is... Pei Gang happily extended his hand towards Ningbei. I know, the youngest dean-level professor ever, the creator of the world's first anti-gravity device. However, after waiting for a long time, he didn't see Ningbei make any move to extend his hand, which made him a little awkward. Pei Gang withdrew his hand and calmly introduced, Professor Ning, I brought a total of 89 top scientists. You and I will be co-team leaders. Of course, I'm just a name. He took out a gold card from his pocket. In addition, all research funds will be borne by the state, and any breakthroughs will be rewarded. Then he respectfully offered it to Ningbei. Pei Gang smiled and handed him the card. Professor Ning, there are 10 million in this card. Please use it as a reward for developing the anti-gravity device. Ningbei sighed. The people stay, the money goes. Pei Gang stared at him, stunned. Ningbei explained briefly. I don't need that money. He stammered. I know the Ning family doesn't lack money, but this money is a reward from above for Professor Ning. If I take it back. He seriously looked at Pei Gang. Tell your superior that Ningbei entered the Northern Liang Military Academy at the age of 7. Those tough men protected me as I grew up. Hearing this, he was extremely surprised. Ningbei continued, the 13 years of nurturing have given me more than the heavens. Now I return to serve my country, and I don't need any rewards. Then he turned and left. Pei Gang held the gold card in his hand, silently watching Ningbei's retreating back. Kong Ling spoke up to mediate this. Sir, please don't mind. That's just how he is. He said nothing, only silently looked at the card in his hand for a long time. Soon, it was night. A figure wandered the streets. Pei Gang called someone to inform them. Old Zhao, the matter is settled, but he won't accept the money. He hesitated slightly. To tell you the truth, perhaps this young man will be our comrade. The other end of the line seemed displeased. What? That person ordered, gather more information. Ask where he's taking up a position. Find out for me at any cost. Pei Gang also had no choice. Then you also need to provide me with more information. How can I start if I have no information at all? The other side angrily shouted, can't find it. Pei Gang was surprised, can't find it? Even you can't find it? The other end of the line was annoyed. Do you know what he shows in my internal system? The other side said, top secret 3S level file. Hearing this, his face completely changed color. The call was quickly hung up. Pei Gang stared at the screen, stunned, this young man. He looked into the distance with a bit of worry. What's his background? Scene changes to an office. The people inside were busy moving around. Suddenly, a phone rang. Yusin announced loudly, no phones allowed in the research lab. No one is allowed to call or take photos. These are the rules. Whose phone is it? Hand it over. Everyone immediately noticed the violator. Ningbei was puzzled as he suddenly became the center of attention. Seeing it was him, Yusin could only bite her tongue and concede defeat. Annoying. Only this guy I can't control. Ningbei calmly answered the phone. Yuan Shan, what is it? Yusin quickly urged the curious crowd. What are you standing there for? Get to work. The other end of the line quickly reported. Young Master Ning, the brothers below have discovered someone collecting information about you. The collector is Zhao Jingji. Ningbei turned to observe the man being mentioned. He chuckled, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Then Ningbei walked away. He walked over to Pei Gang, directly asking him, my personal information from 7 years ago, or not? Pei Gang immediately turned pale. He already knows. That fast? He could only argue, Professor Ning, please forgive me. Everyone can do this. Ningbei didn't care either. From now on, if you want to know anything about me, you can ask me directly instead of letting your friend Zhao Jingji collect information indiscriminately. He left this sentence and left directly. Pei Gang stammered, understood. He silently observed Ningbei, this person. Looking at his focused, harmless face, Pei Gang secretly sighed, yet he has such incredible tricks up his sleeve. In the laboratory, 3 people were focused on researching the machine. Ningbei spoke, started. He lightly touched the button. The machine in front of them immediately emitted a soft red light. Then it slowly lifted off the ground. When the machine flew high above their heads, everyone cheered loudly. It's a success. Pei Gang turned to Ningbei. I will ask everyone to mobilize 1 billion in research funds. He didn't hastily agree, but turned to Yusin and asked, the research funds for the lab are borne by the Tang group. Yusin, what do you think? She happily replied, no problem. Pei Gang was a little annoyed at being slighted. Professor Ning, my experiments here will provide more help. Ningbei coldly said, I don't need a single penny from the infantry's money, but I will share the lab's technology with you. He was flustered. Professor Ning, if you do that, it will make me very embarrassed. He suddenly chuckled, a kindness repaid with a greater kindness. This Tang wishing is someone I, Ningbei, must protect for life. I exert my efforts to help without expecting any reward. Pei Gang was too moved to speak. He suddenly stood at attention and saluted Ningbei formally in a military manner. Scene shifts outside the office. Yusin walked out with Ningbei. She said, Ning, great genius, let's go. I'll treat you to a meal. Jingyun ran over from afar, brother Ning. Ningbei looked at him puzzled. Jingyun, why are you here? Jingyun happily said, let's go. You must be hungry after a whole day, right? The scene quickly shifted to Jinzun Baicheng, Golden Zune never-ending city. Jingyun was excited, let's eat here. My treat. I've never been to this place before. A staff member approached and greeted, 3 distinguished guests, do you have a VIP card? He honestly replied, VIP card? No. The staff member immediately pointed in another direction, then I'm truly sorry, please go this way. Jingyun angrily gnashed his teeth, what? No VIP card means you can't enter through the main door? The staff member was also awkward, there's no other way, this is the rule. While they were arguing, a luxury car suddenly appeared behind them. A fat man led a beautiful woman towards them. Go, park my car well. The staff member immediately changed his attitude, ignoring Ningbei's group and turning to flatter the fat man. Yes, Boss Wu. He bowed respectfully. Please, sir, this way. Yusin was disheartened. Forget it, let's not eat here anymore. But Jingyun didn't want to give up. No. He's not getting away with this. The fat man from earlier noticed Ningbei's group. He pretended to advise them. Are you students? This isn't a place where you can spend money. Then he touched Yusin's face. The fat man laughed obscenely. But this girl doesn't look bad. Have a meal with me. There are plenty of good places for you. Jingyun stepped forward and pushed him away. You old pervert, get away from me. The fat man was furious. That guy dares to curse at me. He pulled out a stack of cash and threw it directly at him. Here's 3,000 yuan for you to go eat street food. Don't stand here blocking my good business. Jingyun was enraged by the fat man's attitude. The staff member from earlier jumped out to mediate. You people, hurry up and go. Boss Wu is a distinguished guest here. He's not like you people, and he's not someone you can offend. Ningbei suddenly spoke. Different statuses, indeed. Our statuses are truly different. He said blandly, keep this 3,000 yuan for medical expenses. The fat man was puzzled. What do you mean? Jingyun was happy to see Ningbei step up. Brother Ning. His face was cold. Jingyun, which arm of his touched Yusin? Cut off that arm. Jingyun looked at the fat man and smirked. Alright. The fat man, who had tried to cause trouble with Ningbei's group and was now threatened by Jingyun, was scared. What do you want to do? He suddenly raised his hand, looking sinisterly at the fat man. Then he tightly gripped his wrist. Jingyun raised his arm and brought it down quickly, striking hard. The fat man was in too much pain to speak. He immediately knelt down, clutching his arm and crying out in pain. My arm! My arm! He's killing me! Ningbei said to Yusin, let's go. A place like this should just close down. Someone walked out. What's wrong? A charming woman named Xiao Aishao walked out, along with a group of security guards led by Lu Xian, who's causing trouble at my place. The fat man saw someone arrive and quickly reported, these people broke my arm. Are you going to do something about it, Xiao Aishao? She immediately turned to the side and ordered, Xian, arrest them. Jingyun angrily pointed at the fat man. He touched my sister first. If you don't believe me, check the cameras. Lu Xian also hesitated upon hearing this. Big sis, how about we check the cameras? She sneered at him. Do you know why you, with all your kung fu, can only be a small security guard? It's because you're a blockhead. Xiao Aishao angrily shouted, Boss Wu is our distinguished guest at Jinzun. A distinguished guest was beaten, and you still want to check the cameras? What do I hire you for? Then he pointed forward and ordered, beat him up for me. Seeing that reasoning was impossible, Jingyun turned to Ningbei, Brother Ning, what should we do? Ningbei calmly replied, they're about to beat you up, and you're still asking what to do. He coldly said, just fight. Jingyun was just waiting for these words. His hands were already in position. He happily stepped forward. Alright. Lu Xian, seeing how young Jingyun was, advised, I don't want to hit children. Call out the adults. He didn't care and charged forward. Let's talk. He immediately turned pale. Oh no, this child is a martial artist. Jingyun's arm, enveloped in a blue aura, struck, and Lu Xian quickly raised his hand to block. He was knocked back a significant distance. He finally stopped with difficulty. The security guards, seeing Lu Xian at a disadvantage, shouted, "He dares to hit our brother Xian. Beat him." He painfully tried to stop them. "Don't come over here. You're not his match." Seeing this, the others didn't dare to advance. "Brother Xian," Xiao Axio angrily said, "why are you scared? It's because you're like this that you're still a discharged soldier." Lu Xian's face darkened. "He's a martial artist." The whole group gasped in surprise upon hearing this. Suddenly, a person walked out. Ning Bei approached Lu Xian. "I am an infantry officer. Looking like this is truly shameful." He was surprised. "What did you say?" "You are." Another person appeared. "Stand down." Xiao Axio was delighted. "It's Hanli from the Dragon City organization. With him here, there's no problem." However, the person she relied on suddenly knelt down. He loudly declared, "Hanli of Dragon City humbly greets King Bei." The crowd gasped in fear. What did he say? That person is... Xiao Axio was also terrified. He is... The fat man was furious. "Xiao Axio, no matter who he is, this matter cannot be let go like this." A voice echoed from behind, "It cannot be let go like this." The wolf of the eastern region, Xiao Dong, approached and looked at the fat man. "So what do you want?" He excitedly ran towards Ning Bei. "Big brother." He also nodded. "Long time no see, Xiao Dong." Hanli respectfully cupped his hands. "This is the wolf of the eastern region, Xiao Dong." Xiao Dong was also very friendly. "You're from the Dragon City organization. In charge of managing goods in Zhangzhongyuan, right?" "Yes." He glanced at Xiao Axio's group and sneered, "Clean up your own territory yourselves." Hanli bowed. "Yes." Then he stepped forward. Xiao Axio trembled in fear. "Han, Mr. Han." He was seen drawing his sword. The fat man was horrified upon seeing this. "Mercy." Ning Bei spoke up to stop Hanli. "Let it go, don't scare him anymore." He looked at the man coldly. "Chopping off one of his arms earlier settled our debt." Ning Bei led Xiao Dong away. "Let's go. I met your sister before." He chuckled, "Oh really? I haven't been home in years. I should go see them quickly." Xiao Axia stood behind Hanli, trembling as she apologized. "Brother Han, we were in the wrong this time. We didn't know he was Lord King Bei." He didn't bother arguing with her. "King Bei won't hold it against you. From now on, take care of yourselves." Axia quickly nodded. Yes. We'll cease operations to reorganize. We won't judge people by their appearance anymore." Suddenly, someone rushed over. The person was in a terrible state, limping as he ran over. "Brother Han." Hanli supported him. Fu Ba, you're injured." Fu Ba fearfully reported, "A wanted character appeared. I accidentally ran into him and was almost killed." Hanli helped him inside. "Come in first. Your wound needs to be treated." Xiao Axia was flustered. "What do we do?" "Oh my God!" Inside the hotel, Hanli heard a knock on the door and called out, "Who is it?" Xiao Axia nervously peeked her head in. "I told the Xian and the others to close the door. No one is allowed in." Fu Ba, now bandaged, finally reported, "It's Jing Bao." Hanli immediately grew serious. "Class C2 martial artist, Jing Bao." He anxiously picked up his phone. "The person who came is a warrior-level martial artist. Unless our Dragon City organization's team leader personally intervenes, no one can stop him." Loud knocking sounds echoed from outside the door. Hanli worriedly said, "He's here." Finally, the door creaked loudly. A large, powerful man broke through the door. Then he calmly walked inside. Hanli immediately looked worried. "Jing Bao." He sneered, "Not bad, you even know my name." He quickly threatened, "I haven't reported to the team leader yet. You can still escape." Jing Bao laughed loudly, "Telling me to run?" He charged forward. "It's not too late to run after I kill you all." Hanli had no choice but to draw his sword. "I can only stall him until the team leader arrives." He slashed towards Jing Bao, but the man easily dodged. Jing Bao raised his fist in retaliation. Triple resonance force. Hanli also quickly raised his sword to block. However, he was immediately sent flying. Fu Ba trembled as he stood up. "Brother Han, go. I'll hold him off." Hanli panted. The Dragon City organization has never abandoned its brothers and run away alone. Jing Bao mocked the two of them, boring. Then he punched Hanli once, and conveniently punched Fu Ba once. He laughed loudly, "Useless Dragon City organization, both of you are going to die today." Suddenly someone interrupted, "They cannot die." Hanli was surprised. "Why are you back?" A figure walked over. Ning Bei calmly observed, "I heard strange noises over here, so I came to check it out." Fu Ba trembled and spoke, "I don't know who you are, but run quickly. This person is a warrior-level killer ghost. You can't beat him." Jing Bao turned to face Ning Bei. "Do you think you can still leave?" He just looked at the man coldly. Jing Bao swung his arm, attacking Ning Bei. In a flash, He had moved past Jing Bao to the sword. He tightly gripped the hilt of the sword. Then he gently stroked it. During a major battle, if the blade leaves your hand, it's death. Don't make such a mistake a second time. Han Li's group was astonished. Jing Bao's face turned pale. Who exactly are you? Ning Bei held the sword, radiating an extremely terrifying killing intent. He silently looked at the man. Jing Bao angrily asked, "Who are you?" Ning Bei calmly replied, "A civilian from Beijiang." Then he drew his sword and, in a flash, slashed twice at the man. Ning Bei stopped and happily announced his name, Ning Bei. Fu Bao was shocked. What just happened? That warrior-level Jing Bao didn't even have time to react before he died. Ning Bei walked closer. He handed the sword to Fu Bao. "It's a good sword. Don't drop it again." He quickly replied, "Yes, yes." Jing Yun finally ran over. "Brother Ning." He suddenly covered his mouth in disgust. Yu Xian walked over curiously. "What's wrong in the room?" Jing Yun quickly stopped her. "Don't look." However, he couldn't stop the nausea. Yu Xian looked at him worriedly. "Jing Yun, why are you throwing up?" Ning Bei walked out. "Let's go." She was puzzled. "Did something happen?" He calmly explained, "Nothing. Just dealt with a C2 level criminal for them." Yu Xian turned her head to look. "Criminal?" Jing Yun suddenly blurted out a nonsensical sentence, all over the place. Everyone quickly moved away. Yu Xian happily brought out the food. "Dinner's ready." She placed the food on the table. "Come on, eat." Although there were few dishes on the table, each one looked incredibly appetizing. Jing Yun covered his mouth. "I'm not eating." He looked at Ning Bei in surprise. "But you can still eat?" He calmly picked up food. "I'm used to it." Ning Bei suddenly remembered. "I once heard Xiao Yuanshan mention that you want to join the Dragon City organization?" Jing Yun nodded. Ning Bei explained, "The Dragon City organization doesn't accept martial artists from influential families, fearing that martial artists who like influential families will use that to benefit their families." He sighed. "Furthermore, the scene you witnessed today is a daily occurrence for the Dragon City organization." Jing Yun immediately waved his hand. "I know, Brother Ning. I don't want to join anymore." A noblewoman walked over. "Yu Xian, do we have guests?" Yu Xian happily ran over. "Mom, let me introduce you. This is Ning Bei." Ning Bei immediately grew serious. "A member of the Ning family." The lady suddenly said, "I know the Ning family has Ning Wu, the first person to become a martial artist in the third generation of the 7 great families." Yu Xian was startled. "Mom, why are you mentioning him?" Ning Bei then stood up. "Thank you for your hospitality. It's getting late. It's time for me to go." Yu Xian worriedly said, "You've only eaten for a while. Is the food not to your taste?" "I'll tell the chef to change the dishes." A man walked in. "Tell the chef to prepare a new table." She immediately looked surprised. "Dad, why are you here too?" He happily said, "It's rare for you to bring a boy home. Can't Dad come and see?" Yu Xian quickly waved her hand. "Dad, you've misunderstood." Jing Yun disagreed. "Misunderstanding or not, Brother Ning is perfectly matched with my sister anyway." Yu Xian angrily punched him. "This is for talking nonsense. Ning Bei is Qin He's fiancé." Jing Yun still refused to give up. "So what?" "Anyway, the Su family has already broken off the engagement." The man was surprised. "The Su family broke off the engagement? You are Ning Bei?" He looked at Ning Bei sternly. "This afternoon, you were the one who threatened me on the phone." He calmly corrected, "It wasn't a threat, it was a notification." The man angrily said, "You told me that the Tang family would be removed from Dragon City. Is that a notification?" Ning Bei explained, "As long as you don't seize the results from Tang Yu Xian, this wouldn't have happened." The man waved his hand. "Our Tang family's affairs don't need you to meddle in." Yu Xian worriedly intervened. "Dad, Ning Bei was just joking. Don't take it to heart." Jing Yun added fuel to the fire. "Brother Ning is right. Who told you to always bully my sister?" She angrily scolded, "Jing Yun, don't add more trouble." The lady scoffed. "Xiao Bei, do you know Yu Xian's identity? If you're approaching her because you want to be her boyfriend, you're far from good enough." Yu Xian was helpless. "Mom." Ning Bei murmured identity. He calmly sat down in a chair. Then he casually asked, "Then do you know my identity?" The man sneered, "You're just an abandoned child of the Ning family. Do you think we don't know?" Jing Yun immediately retorted, "Dad, that's all in the past. Brother Ning has already returned to the Ning family." He shouted, "Shut up. What do children understand?" Ning Bei didn't argue. He simply pulled out a handkerchief from his pocket. He held it out. "If even your son doesn't believe it, then go investigate it yourself." The man was puzzled. "Investigate what?" "Investigate this handkerchief of yours?" Ning Bei nodded. "Your Tang family's connections are vast. You should be able to find out what this is." He smirked. "Remember to take a good picture." The man's spine immediately chilled. "This aura." He paused for a moment. Then he snatched the handkerchief from Ning Bei's hand. "A handkerchief. The man took out his phone and photographed the pattern on it. The phone rang. The man and the lady went to a corner to answer the phone. Uncle Yun, you even called personally. I just casually asked where this handkerchief came from. It's just a junior who doesn't know the rules. The other end of the line angrily cursed, you idiot. I think you're tired of living, daring to provoke even him. He was scared. Uncle Yun, aren't you being a bit exaggerated? What is the origin of this handkerchief? The other end was annoyed. The owner of this handkerchief. Don't even talk about you being unable to provoke him. I would have to kneel when I meet him. The man worriedly asked, he is ultimately. The other end of the line explained, let me tell you this, the 5 great commanders of the world are all his subordinates. Ning Bei calmly waited for him to inquire. Suddenly, the phone dropped to the ground. The man trembled with fear. Ning Bei conveniently asked, how's my identity now? He leaned on the table and stood up. You Xian and I are friends. Today I just accepted an invitation to be a guest. I have no intention of clinging. Ning Bei walked away, tossing Yu Xian a card. I'm leaving. This is for you. She was curious. What is this? Ning Bei didn't explain much. Keep it. With it to protect you, no one will dare to bully you. Then he decisively left. The man quickly urged, quick, let me take a picture. I'll ask Uncle Yun what this is. Jing Yun mocked him, Dad, you're just bored. Why provoke Brother Ning when there's nothing to do? He's a general level character. The man worriedly asked, you think he's just a general level? Jing Yun looked at Yu Xian in confusion. Not just a general. He didn't explain much and spoke into the phone, Uncle Yun, have you seen the picture I just sent? The other person was delighted. Your Tang family is blessed. You can actually receive the protection of this great lord. From now on, no one in the 3 provinces of Central Plains will dare to touch you. Jing Yun was curious. Grandpa Yun, can you explain a bit more clearly? Who exactly is Brother Ning? The other end of the line explained, Yu Xian, let me tell you, the military orders of Beiliang are divided into 2 types. The man held up the phone for everyone to hear. One type is for killing, and one type is for protection. The other side exclaimed, if you hold this command token, it means you have Beijiang as your backing. No one in the world will dare to bully you. Jing Yun exclaimed, that powerful? The man could only sigh now. Then he gently wiped the sweat from his face. Tomorrow, I will bring generous gifts to the Ning family to apologize. The sky quickly darkened. At the Ning family estate, Hui Lan apologetically said, Qin He, wait a little longer. Xiao Bei is about to come back. Qin He calmly replied, no need. I think he must be very busy. She lowered her head. I'll head back first then. Then she turned and left. Ning Bei stood silently to the side, watching Qin He disappear from sight. Sanglan sighed. It was then that Ning Bei finally walked out. Mom. She was startled and looked at him. Sanglan reproached, why are you only coming back now? Qin He just left. Hurry and chase after her, you can still catch her. Ning Bei calmly replied, Mom, there's no need. He led her inside. It's too late. Mom, go to bed early. Sanglan was helpless. This child. Ning Bei stood silently in the courtyard. Han Li suddenly appeared. Ning Bei asked, what is it? He reported in a panic, something happened to the Chiao family. He wondered, Xiao Dong, didn't you just get back? What happened? Ning Bei quickly ordered, go, let's go see. The 2 arrived at a place littered with people lying on the ground. Ning Bei called out, Xiao Yuanshan, what's wrong? And where's Xiao Dong? Yuanshan bowed his head. Young Master Ning. He fearfully reported, I originally intended to stop this eastern capital wolf, telling him not to do anything foolish, but I couldn't stop him. He reassured, let's go inside and talk. Inside, a girl wrapped in a blanket sobbed. A woman comforted her, don't cry anymore. The man angrily said, those beasts, all of them are beasts. Footsteps echoed. Ning Bei worriedly called out, Yiren. She sobbed, Brother Ning Bei. He quickly went over to check. Yiren, tell me, what happened to you? Yiren covered her face and choked back sobs. Brother Ning Bei, I was bullied by someone. Ning Bei immediately grew angry. Bullied by whom? Yuanshan reported, it's been investigated. It's the Grand Protector of the Western District. Ning Bei stood up. Issue my King Bei's order, blockade Long City tonight. His face was filled with anger. The person who dared to bully her will have their entire clan exterminated. On the street, a figure walked quickly forward. Xiao Dong's face was filled with extreme anger. Suddenly, he saw Ning Bei standing in front. Xiao Dong spoke directly, brother, don't stop me. He calmly replied, I won't stop you. Ning Bei's face was serious. Your sister is also my Ning Bei King's sister. The person who bullied her must die. At the Grand Protector bar, 2 security guards stood watch seriously. A figure walked over. One of them spoke up to stop him. Hey brother, here for a drink? Xiao Dong coldly replied, I'm here to find someone. The security guard from before shouted loudly, looking at this fierce aura, are you here to cause trouble? Ning Bei didn't say much. He suddenly rushed forward. Ning Bei's hand was enveloped in a blue aura. He grabbed the security guard's face and squeezed tightly. Then he calmly threw him backward. The crowd was scared. Who is that? What just happened? How did he just wave his hand and that person flew? Yuan Shan ran over. King Bei. He cupped his hands. Leave the finding of the person to me. Ning Bei nodded. The bar door swung open. 3 people walked in, and the inside immediately became noisy. Ning Bei was suddenly surprised. In a corner, Qin He was sadly drinking. Seeing Ning Bei's group approach, she sneered, still like to put on a show. Ning Bei asked, "Why are you here?" Qin He scolded, "None of your business." He raised his hand to block her glass of wine. Then he spoke, "Once I've dealt with this matter, I'll take you back to the Su family." Qin He angrily swatted his hand away. "I told you it's none of your business. You and I have no relation, so what right do you have to control me?" Qin He's face showed a hint of expectation. Ning Bei sighed and pulled out his phone. "I've already sent a message to your family. Someone will come pick you up later." She angrily hit him. "You don't even want to see me, so why do you still care about me?" Ning Bei grabbed Qin He's hand. He said seriously, "It's very dangerous for a girl to be alone here. Do you know what happened to Qiao Dong's sister?" Qin He immediately blushed. Are you worried about me?" A scream broke the awkward atmosphere. "Let go of me." Yuan Shan came over, grabbing a man by the collar. "I've found the Grand Protector's subordinate. This guy is still very stubborn. I'm from the Bao family, do you dare to touch me?" A person walked over. Qiao Dong angrily drew his sword. "Speak. Where is that Grand Protector now?" Ning Bei stopped him. "Xiao Dong, Bei Liang's sword does not shed innocent blood." He couldn't calm down. "They are not innocent at all." A bald man appeared and shouted loudly, "You dare to cause trouble here? Get out!" Ning Bei glared at him. Then he gently drew Qiao Dong's sword and directly slashed the bald man. He didn't even have time to understand what was happening. The bald man fell. The crowd murmured in alarm, "He killed someone." Ning Bei used his hand to cover Qin He's eyes. "He has 4 lives on his back. This is the one who deserves to be killed." Yuan Shan thought in surprise, does King Bei have records of all criminals, or does he differentiate them based on the killing aura on their bodies? Qin He was curious. "What are you doing? Why is everyone screaming?" Ning Bei stopped her. "Turn your head, don't look." A voice rang out, "I heard someone was looking for me." A gangster sneered, "And you even dare to lay hands in my bar? You're really bold." Yuan Shan was surprised. "That tattoo?" Qiao Dong was also stunned. "It's the Black Sword Society." The 3 of them looked at the newcomer warily. Ning Bei silently observed him. Anyone with this tattoo is an enemy of Bei Liang. Qin He was asleep by now. Ning Bei placed her on a chair and carefully covered her with a blanket. Qiao Dong confronted the thug. He blurted out, "Black Blade Society." The thug was pleased by this. The crowd sneered, "Scared now, aren't you? Too late. With the Bao family here, none of you will survive." Ning Bei remained extremely calm. The Black Blade Society, an irreconcilable enemy of the Northern Border Army, a very powerful external force that we haven't been able to eliminate yet. But this person, he glanced at the thug, is just a small rat among them. The thug was still desperately threatening Qiao Dong. "What, scared now are you? Too late. Today, we'll have a life or death martial artist battle." He frowned. "Based on you? You're not worthy." The thug sneered, "I'm not worthy? Tell me your name, let me see who you are." Qiao Dong clutched his sword tightly. He held it out. "A Black Blade Society minion like you should recognize this blade, right?" The few hangers-on behind him laughed loudly. "Black Blade Society, White Blade Society, what are you talking about? Who are you trying to scare with that blade? Why would the Bao family be afraid of you?" However, the thug broke out in a cold sweat. He recognized that I'm from the Black Blade Society. Moreover, that blade is the Bei Liang blade. Yuan Shan looked over there. "Young Master Ning, he might be a spy for the Black Blade Society. Should we keep him alive?" Ning Bei coldly replied, "No need to keep him." He picked up a glass of water. "Such a minor character won't reveal anything valuable through interrogation." Yuan Shan obeyed. "Yes." The thug suddenly felt an immense pressure. He was surprised. Oppressive chi, suppressing thousands. War god level. The thug thought to himself, looks like there's no escaping today. Might as well make a stand. Qiao Dong stepped forward. "Right, this is the gaze a Black Blade Society member should have. I hope you don't bore me too much." He cried out in fear. Who exactly are you?" Ning Bei calmly answered for him. "His name is Qiao Dong. Do you know him?" The thug was startled upon hearing this. "You are the Eastern Wolf." He looked at Ning Bei, who was sitting to the side. Then you are." Qiao Dong drew his sword and charged. "You don't need to know who he is." Suddenly, someone raised the phone. That person ran to stop the fight. "Wait." He stood in front of Qiao Dong. "I have to take this person away." he angrily said. Are all members of the secret department so ill-mannered now? The other person was silent. He bowed respectfully. Qingzhou leaders was Zhongtang greets Lord Bei Wang, General Qiao. The thug cried out in fear, Bei Wang. His face was pale, and he was covered in cold sweat. Is that the Bei Wang who became a war god at 9 years old? The thug's eyes suddenly glazed over. He became a war god tonight. A king-level figure transcending realms to attack. Is the powerful force that initiated the king's war coming for Ningbei? How could I? Then he spat out a mouthful of blood and fell to the ground. Run into him? The two people who were tense were left speechless by this scene. Xiao Dong was terrified. What happened to him? I haven't even made a move yet. Yuan Shan stepped forward to check. He announced, scared to death. The three of them remained silent, not knowing what to say. Zhongtang cupped his hands. Since he's dead, I won't bother Lord Bei Wan anymore. Ningbei calmly replied, since you're here, there's no need to leave in such a hurry. He slammed the glass of water on the table, immediately making the opponent break out in a sweat. Zhongtang was so intimidated by Ningbei's killing intent that he slumped to the ground. He coldly glanced at him. Want some tea? He was so scared that his hair changed color, and his whole body trembled. Your subordinate wouldn't dare. Xiao Dong stomped on Zhongtang and cursed, behave yourself from now on. It's not up to your officials to meddle in the affairs of Beilong people. My brother said to kill him. And you said you wanted to take him away? Who gave you such confidence? He hastily explained, I just wanted to resolve a few minor troubles for Lord Bei Wang. Xiao Dong glared at Zhongtang. Did you come to Longqing to monitor my brother? He panicked. I wouldn't dare monitor Lord Bei Wang. Absolutely not. He kicked Zhongtang. Better not be. Get lost. Then he said to Ningbei, brother, the leader of the secret department in Qingzhou appearing here must be for you. He replied, of course. What else? A position equivalent to the deputy general leader of the Central China General Organization wouldn't appear in Longqing without reason. Ningbei played with his teacup. This time I've returned, ostensibly to visit relatives, but in reality, to recover from injuries. Outsiders don't know how serious my injuries are. Which is why they sent someone to probe. He thought coldly to himself, someone doesn't want me to return to the northern border alive. Xiao Dong worriedly stepped forward. Brother, tell old Su to come here. Your safety is important. Ningbei disagreed. The safety of the northern border's front line is paramount. No one can be dispatched arbitrarily. But, footsteps echoed. Qing Hui pushed the door open and walked in. Ningbei. Seeing Qing He lying drunk on the chair, he turned and questioned, Ningbei, did you bring my sister to this place to fool around? He calmly stood up. You're overthinking it. Then he turned and left. Just a chance encounter. Qing Hui angrily said, hey. At Ningbei's house at night. Ningbei entered the room. Dad, you're still not asleep? Sung Lan spoke up. Bayer, you've come at a good time. Your dad has something to talk to you about. He handed him a stack of documents. Currently, the Ning group has something that needs to be dealt with, which is that the people on Ning Tsunghai's side need to be eliminated. Bayer, I want you to take up a position at the Ning group and join the board of directors. Ning Bei accepted the documents. He opened them and looked. Are these the people? I'll go deal with this tomorrow. Sung Lan rubbed his forehead. Don't be too extreme in your handling. After all, they have contributed to the development of the Ning group. Ning Bei happily said, I understand. Then he turned and left. Sung Lan sadly looked at his son's retreating figure. The next day, an announcement blared on the news. Due to the ecological recovery of Mount Bianshan, wildlife has increased. The Longqing government reminds you to limit entry into Bianshan to prevent injuries from wild animals. Ning Bei held the remote control and thought to himself, reminding the public through the news that Bianshan is dangerous is a common method used by the special operations team. After all, they can't directly say that martial artists frequent that place. Huilan came over with a bowl of porridge. Bayer, you haven't eaten, right? Try this red bean porridge. Mom. He scooped a spoonful and blew on it. She happily asked, is it good? Ningbei smiled, it's delicious, Mom. You must have cooked it for a long time. Huilan was delighted. Mom didn't cook it today. Qing He specially cooked it for you. She said she wanted to apologize for what happened last time. Ningbei's face suddenly turned pale. She immediately worried. Bayer, what's wrong? Qing He walked in at the right time, saw what was happening, and became angry. Ningbei, you're going too far. Her face was full of disappointment. Just now you said it was delicious, but as soon as you heard I cooked it, you threw it all up. Do I make you that nauseous? Qing He was extremely sad. I even wanted to apologize to you, to make peace with you. She turned and ran away. I'm such a fool. Huilan panicked. Qing He. It wasn't that Ning Bei didn't want to talk, but that he couldn't. He clutched his chest, and a stream of dark purple blood flowed from his mouth. This porridge is poisoned. Outside the Ning family residence, the sky was still beautifully sunny. Qing He ran out with her head bowed. Qing Hui was surprised. He quickly asked Qing He, "What's wrong?" She sobbed, "Brother, I won't look for him anymore. Ning Bei is really a scoundrel." Qing Hui's blood rushed to his head when he saw his sister crying. He angrily stormed in. "Dare to bully my sister? Today, even if I have to sever ties with the Ning family, I must get justice for you." Qing Hui opened the Ning family gate. Fury shot straight to his head. "Ning Bei, get out here!" As soon as he stepped inside, he was astonished by the scene. "Ning Bei, you!" Ning Bei coldly glared at him. "Get out!" Qing Hui was scared. "You, what's wrong with you?" Huilan explained. Bei ate the red bean porridge that Qing He brought, and then he became like this. "What's wrong? Let's quickly go to the hospital." Ning Bei held her hand. He softly comforted her. "Mom, don't be scared." Then he barked at Qing Hui, "Brother, close the door." After closing the door, he hurriedly came over to explain, "Is there a problem with the porridge?" "How can that be? My sister worked hard on it all morning." Ning Bei gritted his teeth and said, "Listen, the fact that I'm poisoned must not be leaked outside. As long as the poisoner doesn't know the situation, no one will dare to break into the Ning family." He placed his hand on Qing Hui's shoulder. Then he seriously told him, "Qing Hui, leave the Ning family now. Curse as you did when you came in. Don't let anyone notice anything unusual." Qing Hui turned pale. "How could this be? Qing He wouldn't harm you. How could this porridge?" Ning Bei shouted loudly, "Don't let Qing He know. This has nothing to do with her." He coughed up another mouthful of poisonous blood. Ning Bei coldly spoke, "Put away your apologetic expression. Don't let Qing He know, and don't let anyone else know. Otherwise it will harm you all, understand?" Qing Hui trembled. I understand." Ning Bei instructed him, "Remember this number." Then he pushed Qing Hui. "Hurry. If anyone asks, just say I poured out all the porridge and didn't drink a single drop." He gritted his teeth. Then he loudly cursed, "Ning Bei, today you humiliated my sister. From now on, the Ning and Su families will be sworn enemies." Qing Hui, his body stiff, walked out of the Ning family residence. Inside the house, Ning Bei was concentrating on cultivating. This is king-level poison. Ordinary people absolutely cannot obtain it. Someone must have secretly infiltrated the Su family. He worriedly thought, the Su family is in danger, Qing He is in danger. I must quickly expel all the poison. On the way out, Qing Hui drove Qing He back. She worriedly asked him, "Brother, did he say anything?" Qing Hui was silent for a moment. Then he said to Qing He, out of the blue, "Qing He, remember this, you didn't see Ning Bei drink the porridge you brought. If anyone asks, just say he poured it all out, understand?" She was puzzled. "Brother, why?" Qing Hui's face was stern. "If you don't want Ning Bei to die, if you don't want me to die, then you must remember my words." Qing He's face turned pale upon hearing this. She was scared. "I know." A car suddenly sped up and drove parallel to their car. The people inside the car seemed to want to say something. Qing Hui suddenly realized. His face instantly turned ashen. Qing Hui fearfully thought, "When did someone get on top of my car?" I didn't sense anything. On the roof was a strange man. The car continued to move. The man standing on top was completely calm. Qing Hui worriedly thought, "When did the person on the roof appear?" I didn't detect him at all. What he feared most at this moment was the story of Ning Bei being poisoned. My words just now must have been heard by him. What should I do? Qing Hui suddenly remembered Ning Bei telling him to remember a number. Qing Hui quickly dialed. The other side quickly picked up. "Hello, who is this?" Qing Hui hastily said. Ning Bei said if I was in danger then. But before he could finish his sentence, the person on the roof jumped inside. Qing Hui was caught by surprise and quickly swerved. The car swerved for a while. Then it stopped abruptly. Qing Hui fearfully asked the person, "Who are you?" He sneered, as expected of the prodigy, King Ning Bei. Even poisoned, he can still set up such a maze. Almost fooling me. Qing Hui angrily cursed, "If you're interested in Ning Bei, then go find him. Why bother us brothers?" The other person chuckled, "You don't understand how terrifying Lord Bei Wang is." He fearfully waved his hand. "Even with this kind of king-level venomous insect poison, if I missed the first minute of its onset, I'd be handing over my life." Qing He was startled and quickly asked, "Poisoned? What do you mean? What happened to Ning Bei?" The other person immediately noticed her. "You, Su Qing He, are the fiancé of Bei Wang, correct?" Qing Hui unbuckled his seatbelt. Qing He has already broken off her engagement with Ning Bei. Don't you dare touch her. He raised his hand, wanting to attack the stranger. However, the other person simply and easily knocked Qing Hui down. Qing He worriedly cried out, "Brother." The opponent turned around and said to Qing He, "It's a deal." His face was full of danger. "You obediently come with me, and I won't kill your brother." Qing He had no choice but to comply. All right. Back at Ning Bei's house, a frantic figure stood on the roof. "Brother Ning Bei." Xiao Dong jumped down. Immediately, there were footsteps. Sang Tsung led the guards over. "Who are you?" Xiao Dong explained, "I'm looking for my big brother, Ning Bei." He suddenly turned pale. It's big brother Ning Bei's aura. Why is it so weak? Then, ignoring Sang Tsang, Xiao Dong dashed away. He pushed the door wide open. Then he worriedly shouted, "Brother Ning Bei." Inside the room, Ning Bei was concentrating on cultivating. Sang Tsang worriedly asked, "Sister-in-law, what's wrong with Xiao Bei?" Hui Lan hesitated to explain. He drank a mouthful of porridge, and then Xiao Dong gently touched the marks on the floor. He analyzed with a grim expression, "This is venom. It's Tian Gang's venom." Xiao Dong gritted his teeth. Anger flared. "They want to die." Someone suddenly ran over. Qin Hui frantically shouted, "Ning Bei! Qin He!" He couldn't wait and yelled loudly, "Qin He has been taken away." Xiao Dong stood at the door, blocking Qin Hui. "Get out! We're not dealing with your family's matters right now." He worried, but, however, the door suddenly stirred. The door swung open, making the two stop and look. Ning Bei weakly walked out. "What happened to Qin He?" Xiao Dong quickly ran over. "Brother." Ning Bei ignored him, only looking at Qin Hui. "I asked you, what happened to Qin He?" Qin Hui bowed his head and recounted, "I was driving Qin He home. On the way, I also told Qin He what you told me to, but I didn't expect someone to be in the car." He covered his head, blaming himself. He heard everything, and then he took Qin He away. Ning Bei wiped the blood from his mouth. "You stay here for me. You cannot leave." Then he left. Qin Hui shouted loudly, "Please, you must save my sister." Ning Bei raised his hand for Xiao Dong to put a coat on him. "I said I would protect my family, so I naturally won't go back on my word." He took the sword from him. "I said I would protect Qin He for life. I won't break my promise." Then he sternly ordered, 7th Legion Commander of the Northern Border Army. Immediately, there was a response, "Understood." Subordinate present. Ning Bei commanded, "Take my Bei Wang token, seal off Longchen, find Qin He, and bring her back to me." Xiao Dong immediately obeyed. "Yes." A group of people rushed over. Zhong Yuan led the group. "Bei Wang, we received the order." He bowed his head curiously. "Where are you going?" Ning Bei didn't explain much. "Receive the order and carry it out immediately." Zhong Yuan worried, "I must protect you." He coldly looked at him. "No need. Don't let anyone follow me." Zhong Yuan had no choice but to comply. "Yes." The scene shifted to a secluded forest. Ning Bei stopped when he arrived here. He coldly spoke, "Following me all the way here is enough, isn't it?" Immediately, people rushed out from within the thicket. They quickly surrounded Ning Bei. On a tree, a person was standing. It was the person who kidnapped Qin He. She was still being held by him. "Jie greets His Highness, Bei Wang." Ning Bei said directly, "It's the Black Blade Society, specializing in assassinations. Your target is me. Release Su Qin He." Jie sneered, "Bei Wang is so imposing, I wouldn't dare release her." He coldly looked at the man. "Do you think I'm negotiating with you?" Jie was surprised. "The poison of the sevenfold immortal grass is extremely terrifying. Just one drop can kill thousands of people, yet you can still stand here so peacefully. If I'm not mistaken." He observed Ning Bei's complexion. "You've used silver needles to seal the poison within your body." He remained silent, not answering. Jie immediately brought Qin He forward. "This girl is really important to you, isn't she, to be able to force out the silver needles?" He sneered, "I want to see you die from the poison taking effect." Qin He screamed in fear, "No! Ning Bei, don't listen to him." Ning Bei worriedly said, "Qin He,